blood problem and is suffering from a lack of descendants. He is in urgent need of a doctor who is good at treating infertility to establish long-term cooperation. Marriage was the best option he could think of. Although he only has a son and no daughter, it does not prevent him from finding a qualified woman from within the family. Yifan stayed in King Long Immortal City for several days. Dealing with some matters in Yu Yangshuan, he also obtained resources from the ruins, separated some of the unused ones and sold them in batches on the black market, and handed over some of the usable ones to Manager Fan to deal with. For example, materials for monsters, or materials for making talismans, etc. These all require preliminary processing. If he does them himself, it would be a waste of his time, so he directly outsources them to other people to do them. At that time, he only needs to use the finished materials, which greatly increases his efficiency in refining equipment, drawing talismans, making formations, and refining pills. That day, GZE came to Ynuju to find Yifan. Tell Yifan how powerful his cousin Wang Fuguai is in the ruins and so on. Fellow Taoist Yi, I never thought your cousin was so outstanding. He was able to kill the Jin and disciples of the upper three sects in the middle stage of foundation building. His fighting power is too terrifying. GZE was shocked. Yifan, he is indeed excellent. GZE no longer mentioned the matter of inviting Wang Fuguai to join King Long Immortal City, because Wang Fuguai was so outstanding during this trip to the ruins, and he had the elders of Lan, his sect behind him. The three major sects probably had their eyes on Wang Fuguai a long time ago and wanted to invite him to join their sect. Naturally, Wang Fuguai would not be interested in the position of a guest official in their small King Long Immortal City. However, it did not prevent him from establishing a good relationship with Wang Fuguai. He didn't have Wang Fuguai's contact information, but knowing Yifan, it was the same thing to have a good relationship with Yifan, because Yifan was Wang Fuguai's cousin. He immediately took out some of the resources he obtained from the ruins and told Yifan that Yu Yangshuan had a material purchasing shop and he was just about to sell a batch of monster materials and spiritual medicines. In the end, GZ sold the materials to Yifan at 80 off the market price. Both parties were very happy. Finally, GZ told Yifan that he was welcome to visit his cave. GZ had never said this to Yifan before. After all, Foundation establishment cultivators were all juniors in front of Golden Core cultivators. This time, because Wang Fuguai became famous and Yifan was Wang Fuguai's cousin, Yifan's status in GZ's mind was greatly improved. After GZ left, Zhong Nenyang came to see Yifan. Because Yifan returned to the Immortal City on Tanghong Yui's arc, he was a little earlier than Zhong Nanyang and the others. And Zhong Nanyang stayed outside the ruins for 2 more days to purchase materials, so he only returned to King Long Immortal City today. As soon as he came back, he reported to Yifan about his trip to the ruins. He took out an account book and handed it to Yifan. It recorded the trip to the ruins, the materials sold, and the materials purchased. It was written in great detail. The selling prices were fair, and the prices of the purchased materials were slightly lower than the market price. Zhong Nanyang explained to Yifan that it was all thanks to Fatty Wang who brought people here. He said that many chambers of commerce were scrambling to purchase materials outside the ruins this time, because their Yu Yangshuan was not well known and had a small brand. No one sold materials to them at the beginning. It was Fatty Wang who arrived and brought a group of cultivators to sell materials. Moreover, the selling price was proactively said to be lower than the market price, which was 90 off the market price. Afterwards, Zhong Nanyang told Yifan that Fatty Wang told him about a major event that happened in the ruins. Chapter 231 Shock. Yifan, you are so hidden. This major event was that Wang Fuguai killed the Jindans and Ren of Qianji sect in the ruins. Boss, I never thought that Brother Wang's fighting power would be so terrifying. During the previous Beast Tide, I saw that he rarely took action, so I always thought that he was not a warrior. I didn't expect that when he really fought, he would be much more terrifying than warriors of the same level. It's so scary. When he said this, he looked at Yifan with awe. Because such an outstanding person like Wang Fuguai is actually working for Yifan. What does this mean? It means that his boss Yifan is even more hidden. Moreover, he also heard that Wang Fuguai used the quota of Lanyu sect to enter the ruins. And this quota was given by Yifan. In other words, his boss Yifan has strong connections in Lanyu sect. Not only does his boss have a master who is in the late Jindan stage, but he also has connections in the Lanyu sect, one of the top 3 sects, and even has the super genius Wang Fuguai as a guest. Yu Yangshuan's background strength is becoming more and more powerful. He was extremely grateful that he had become Yifan's neighbor, and that they subsequently developed one bond after another. Yifan smiled without saying anything. His eyes fell on Zhong Nanyang's broken left arm, and said, "Let me take a look at your arm." As he raised his arm, the joy in Zhong Nanyang's eyes immediately cooled. "Boss, even though I have a broken arm and cannot recover, I will do my job conscientiously and also find more capable assistants for you." After Yifan looked at Zhong Nanyang's arm, he said, "Your arm can still be cured." Zhang Nanyang was stunned for a moment, then looked at Yi Fan in shock. Stammering with excitement, "My Dong Jia, can this be cured?" "Hey, I said my arm can be cured." "Really?" Yi Fan nodded 2 hours later. Zhang Nanyang was extremely surprised, and even couldn't believe it as he looked at his restored left arm. He felt like he was dreaming, and even lowered his head and bit his left arm hard. He grimaced in pain. But instead of crying out in pain, he burst into laughter. "Really, my left arm is really back to normal. There is hope for my future. I can continue to practice and break through." After the excitement, he knelt directly in front of Yi Fan. "Boss, thank you for your kindness in giving me a new life. I want to be your follower like Manager Fan, is that okay?" After saying this, he immediately swore an oath in front of Yi Fan, saying that he would never betray Yi Fan in this life. If he did, he would be struck by lightning, his future would be hopeless, etc. The inner demon oath is very effective for those who want to improve on the path, but it is just empty words for those who have no hope on the path. Yi Fan has been working with Song Nanyang for more than a year and has already gotten to know him. Well, when he lived on Wian Xen Island before, he needed Song Nanyang to transport materials and supplies back and forth between the two places. But Song Nanyang did not embezzle a single cent, which shows that he is indeed a very good person. In addition, Song Nanyang has a top-grade spiritual root. And now that his left arm has recovered, there is hope that he will be able to form a pill in the future. Even if it is a fake pill, Yu Yangshuan's combat power will be further enhanced. Yi Fan agreed to Zhang Nanyang's following. Zhang Nanyang left happily. Not long after he left, Manager Fan came over with two people. The person who came was Yi Dayu's son Yi Xiaohu, Yi Fan's cousin in this world. In Zongshu, he joined the Taichu sect, a large sect headed by the patriarch Hua Shen, and became a foundation building cultivator. Now Yi Xiaohu has reached the middle stage of foundation building. He is very tall and looks somewhat similar to Yi Fan, but not as handsome as Yi Fan. He was wearing an elegant green robe and holding the hand of a delicate little girl about 3 years old. The little girl looked left and right, her little face full of curiosity. When the little girl saw Yi Fan, her eyes lit up and she called out sweetly, "Hello, cousin." Yi Fan smiled. "How come you know I'm your cousin right away?" The little girl said sweetly, "Because my cousin looks a lot like my dad. But he is more handsome than my dad. My cousin is so handsome." Yi Fan was amused again, while Yi Xiaohu, who was holding the little girl's hand, had a flash of displeasure on his face. Yi Fan called Wu Bao, who was playing upstairs, introduced to Yi Xiaohu. "This is my daughter, Yi Yanran, 2 years and 3 months old." Yi Xiaohu has changed a lot from the childhood Xiaohu in our memory. When he was a child, Yi Xiaohu looked very thin, but now Yi Xiaohu is tall, big and strong. "Yi Xiaohu, Yi Fan, I didn't expect you have a daughter. My father didn't mention this to me. Otherwise I would definitely bring more gifts that children like." Then he introduced his daughter to Yi Fan. "This is my daughter, Zhang Wanling. She is 3 years old in age, and 2 years and 8 months old in actual age." "Yi Fan Zhang?" Yi Xiaohu married into the family? He didn't ask any more questions, just greeted Zhang Qingran with a smile, and then introduced Yi Xiaohu and Zhang Wanling to Wu Bao. "Of course, call me uncle or sister." Wu Bao called out sweetly, "Hello, uncle." "Hello, sister." Yi Xiaohu smiled and took out an 80-year-old red fruit and gave it to Wu Bao. "Uncle didn't bring you a gift. This red fruit is a little token of my appreciation. Take it and eat it." Wu Bao. "Thank you, uncle." Yi Fan touched Wu Bao's little head lovingly, and asked her to take Zhang Wanling to the backyard to play. Zhang Wanling seemed to want to play with Wu Bao as well. So the two little girls held hands and ran to the backyard. After the two little girls left, Yi Xiaohu and Yi Fan sat down at first. Neither of them spoke. Yi Fan noticed Yi Xiaohu's movements and facial expressions. After he came in, he could see that Yi Xiaohu had a sense of superiority. He also saw the displeasure on Xiao Wanling's face when she said that he was more handsome than Yi Xiaohu. After taking a sip of tea, Yi Fan asked, "How is uncle's health?" Yi Xiaohu: "That's great. I didn't expect my father to have a talent for drawing talismans. My father said it was all thanks to the first-level talisman drawing inheritance you gave him. Actually, I have one too, but I didn't expect that my father, who came from a small mortal village, would have a talent for drawing talismans. So I didn't pass on the first-level talisman to him." Yi Fan took a sip of tea and didn't respond. Yi Xiaohu took out the gift and said, "I don't like to owe favors to others. This is a Shiasi pill as a thank you gift for helping my father become a first-level talisman master. Shiasi Dan is a breakthrough elixir that helps one break through from the early stage of foundation building to the middle stage of foundation building." Yi Fan is already in the middle stage of foundation building, but the cultivation level he displayed is only at the initial stage of foundation building. Yi Fan knew what Yi Xiaohu mean that didn't want Yi Xiaohu to come back to him to repay him for helping Yu embark on the path of a talisman master. I might as well use the precious Shiasi Dan to buy out this favor. After all, For ordinary cultivators, the Shiasi pill is indeed very precious. However, for Yifan, who had just conquered Treasure House No. 1 in the ruins and was extremely rich, this was just a small sesame seed. Not even sesame seeds. Because he couldn't use them at all. Chapter 232. Cousin was shocked. Yifan, you are so outstanding. Yifan took the Shiasi pill, and then a hole appeared in the yard and a thick white jade centipede rose out from the ground. When Yi Xiaohu saw the centipede, his expression changed slightly. This is actually a second-level monster. The following scene made him open his eyes wide in shock. Yifan threw the Shiasi pill he had given to the white jade centipede, and the white jade centipede swallowed the pill as soon as it opened its mouth. Yifan actually gave the precious rank-breaking elixir that he had given to a ranked to spiritual pet to eat. After Xiao Bie took the pill, he went back underground. Yi Xiaohu, Yifan, is that your pet? Yifan, yeah. Yi Xiaoshu, this Shiasi pill is for us cultivators to use. It should be useless against monsters. The words, what a waste, came to his lips, but he didn't say them out loud. As soon as he said them, his dignity fell to the ground. Yifan, it would be good for the monsters to eat it, but I won't eat this kind of medicine. Yi Xiaohu. Yifan actually said that he would not take this Shiasi Dan. Yifan only has a mid-level spiritual root. The fact that he could break through to the foundation building stage was already a great achievement for his ancestors. In this life, he will remain at the initial stage of foundation building and cannot progress any further. But with the elixir that can break through the levels, Yifan can make a breakthrough to the middle stage of foundation building. But Yifan actually said he didn't want to eat this thing. But it be that Yifan looked down upon the mid-stage of foundation building? He wanted to attack the fake pill? If a cultivator consumes too many elixirs that can break through levels, it will be detrimental to his cultivation and will affect his ability to reach a higher level. Therefore, generally speaking, confident cultivators will not take elixirs that can break through their levels, but will practice and break through on their own. He had a new understanding of Yifan. It seems that my cousin is not that poor. Not only did he open a store, he also had a second stage early spiritual beast, and he also had the ambition to attack fake elixirs. At this moment, in the pond on the right, water suddenly splashed into the sky, and a huge seahorse jumped out of the pond and made a sound towards Yifan, as if expressing dissatisfaction. Yi Xiaoshu was shocked again when he saw the early second stage spirit beast that appeared. Yifan threw a golden pill and said, "Daha, I stop making trouble." Aha is the name Yifan gave to the seahorse. After eating the elixir, the seahorse immediately dived back into the pond happily. Yi Xiaohu watched all this in shock and looked at Yifan in disbelief. If he saw it right, the pill Yifan threw to the seahorse was nothing else but the foundation building pill. Moreover, he had good eyesight and saw for Dao patterns on the foundation building pill that was emitting golden light. It was a top-grade foundation building pill. Yifan actually threw a high-quality foundation building pill to a second-level monster. Isn't this a pure waste of foundation establishment pills? The most important thing is, isn't Yifan too generous? He actually threw the exquisite foundation building pills that key training cultivators and foundation building cultivators dreamed of to a spirit beast as a snack. Even though he was a disciple of the Taichu sect and had seen some senior brothers and junior brothers with backgrounds act very arrogantly, Yifan was just a poor cultivator from Shi village. He had no background. But he was so extravagant. Could it be that? Yi Xiaohu, brother Fan, are you a second-level alchemist? Yifan heard that Yi Xiaohu's way of addressing him had changed. He had always called him by his name before, but now he called him brother Fan. He nodded, yeah. Yi Xiaohu's eyes changed instantly when he looked at Yifan, and a friendly and sincere smile appeared in the corner of his eyes. Although he had a smile on his face before, it was very distant, and he had a strong sense of superiority now that he knew that Yifan not only had to early stage second-level spirit pets, but was also a second-level alchemist. His sense of superiority instantly subsided a lot. Yi Xiaohu, brother Fan, you are a very capable person. By the way, does the Yuliang Xuan you opened specialize in selling elixirs? He found Yuliang Xuan with the address of Yuliang Xuan given to him by Yidayu, but did not go in. He just told the guard at the door that he was looking for their owner, saying that an old friend was visiting. Then he met manager Fan, who looked at the token and brought him here. As for what Yuliang Xuan sells, he didn't go to see. Now I'm going to find a topic to talk to Yifan about. Yifan, medicine is just one of them. We mainly sell magic tools, spiritual tools, robes, etc. We also sell talismans, formation plates, and puppets. Yi Xiaohu was surprised, so many. At that time, he did see that the Yuliang Xuan shop was very large. The story's high, but from the outside, the decoration was not very luxurious or high-end, and the location was not very prosperous. He thought it was just a small shop. I didn't expect there were so many things for sale, including spiritual weapons and puppets. Then Xuanzang walked out of the room and made tea for Yifan and Yi Xiaohu. Di Xiaohu looked at the humanoid puppet and was surprised. Is this a second-level puppet? Di Fan, well, it's just a puppet in daily life, it's quite simple. Di Xiaohu, does your Yu Yangchuan sell these? Di Fan, I will sell them occasionally, depending on my time if I have enough time. I will make some puppets. Di Xiaohu looked at Yi Fan in shock again, feeling his tongue getting tied. You made these puppeteers? Brother Fan, are you a second-level puppeteer? Yi Fan, yeah. Yi Xiaohu couldn't sit still anymore, so he moved his butt on the stool, lifted the chair, leaned towards Yi Fan, then sat down again, shortening the distance between them. The restrained sense of superiority on his face was restrained again, and the whole person was not as rigid as before, but more casual. He put his hands on his knees and said to Yi Fan with a smile, Brother Fan, I didn't expect that you are so talented in cultivating immortals. No wonder, even though your spiritual root aptitude is not that good, you have already established your foundation. Brother Fan, do you still have any premium foundation building pills for sale? I want to buy one. Although I am in the middle stage of foundation building, as an ordinary person, if I want to get along well in Taichu sect, I have to do favors. Do you still have this second-level puppet? I want to buy one, so I can play with my linger. Yi Fan, okay. Yi Fan sold a high-quality foundation building pill and a second-level inferior living puppet to Yi Xiaohu at the market price. Yi Xiaohu was very happy and said that he would go to Yu Yangchuan when he had time and have a good look around. Yi Xiaohu originally planned to chat with Yi Fan for a few words and then leave, but after learning that Yi Fan was so outstanding, he not only did not leave immediately, but stayed for dinner, and then took his daughter, who was reluctant to leave, away. The next day, when he arrived at Yu Yangchuan and saw the things being sold there, he was completely unable to move and was extremely shocked. Oh my god, the robe is so beautiful. Moreover, it is of the lower grade of the second rank, and there are inscriptions engraved on it. There are actually inscriptions on the spiritual weapon. The dishes from Yu Yangchuan are also very beautiful. Women will definitely like them. King, or will definitely be very happy if I buy them back. Chapter 233, Homecoming, Wife and Children. In the end, Yi Xiaohu found that the spirit stones he brought with him were totally insufficient. The image of Yi Fan in his mind became different again. From originally thinking that he was a poor relative, to now feeling that Yi Fan's entire body was emitting the golden light of a spirit stone. When having dinner with Yi Dayu, he said that Yi Fan was doing very well in King Long Immortal City, and asked Yi Dayu to contact Yi Fan more often in the future to enhance their relationship, etc. Yi Dayu was a little surprised. Before, his son was not very happy when he suggested that he go to meet Yi Fan. Why did he start praising Yi Fan in front of him now? However, seeing this phenomenon, he, as an old father, was also very pleased. It seems that his son is not as heartless to other relatives as he imagined. When Yi Xiaohu left Yi Dayu's house, he took away all the spirit stones and talismans that Yi Dayu had accumulated. Yi Dayu told him to practice well in the sect and not to work too hard, and he would try his best to help him save spirit stones. Yi Fan stayed in King Long Fairy City for a few days, and then returned to Wianxin Island with the 5 treasures. As soon as I returned to Wianxinju, I saw the 11th baby chasing the 3rd baby happily, speaking all kinds of baby language. Sanbao was tired from being chased and sat down on the grounds. Haibao pounced on Sanbao energetically and started to snatch the toy from Sanbao's hand. I won't tease you anymore here, even after being beaten. Sanbao still smiled and gave the toy in his hand to Shiyibao. Sibao ran out and saw this scene. He immediately shouted, Brother, the 11th sister is bullying the 3rd brother again. Bao ran out, quickly pulled Shiyibao up from Sanbao, and began to educate Shiyibao with words. The 11th baby is no longer lying down like before and listens to the eldest baby. Now that he can walk happily, he will talk back to the eldest baby from time to time. Although what he says is incomprehensible baby language, he looks like he is quarreling. This time was the same. Shiyibao spoke in a fierce and baby-like voice. Sanbao said, Brother, don't be mean to 11th sister, I was just joking with 11th sister. She didn't bully me. Now Dabao is 2 years and 5 months old, almost 2.5 years old, and can speak fluently. After hearing this, Shiyibao immediately looked as if he was being wronged and was right. Dabao felt that this deserved a beating. I still gave Shiyibao a few verbal warnings, and I missed Wu Bao a little. I don't know when Wu Bao and Daddy will come back. 11th sister is becoming more and more disobedient. If 5th sister comes back, she should be able to control 11th sister. Suddenly Erbio shouted in surprise, Daddy! 5th sister. As Erbio said this, Dabao, Sanbao, and Shiyibao all turned their heads to look in the direction Erbio was looking at, and immediately they shouted in surprise, Daddy and 5th sister are back. Daddy, Mother, Father and 5th sister are back. Afterwards, Sibao, Liubao, Tabiao, Jiubao, and Shibao in the room all heard it. Sibao ran outside excitedly. Li Bao, Qibao, Jiubai and Shibao walked outside excitedly. But Babio couldn't walk yet, and he looked very anxious. He shouted "Daddy," and crawled towards the door. The speed of climbing was not slower than Sibao and the others' walking speed. Su Longyu knew that Yifan was back and was about to leave immediately, but was stopped by Chen Chuaner. Chen Chuaner insisted on giving her a spruce up and dressing her up beautifully. Just when Chen Chuaner turned around to get the hairpin and turned back, Su Longyu was gone. She called out, You, the hairpin hasn't been put on yet. They're so anxious to see Yifan." Yifan was surrounded by glutinous rice balls at this moment. There are 11 babies in total, and they have all grown up. I haven't seen them for 4 months and they have changed a lot. Yifan couldn't hold them all in his arms. "Daddy, I want a hug. Daddy, I want a kiss. Daddy, I want to eat. I want to eat delicious food. Daddy." The voices are so sweet and childish. More children. More blessings. Yifan smiled from ear to ear and responded to the baby's words one by one, giving them enough love and respect. Just because Babio heard her brothers and sisters talking loudly and whispered "Daddy, I want a hug," they did not ignore Babio. Instead, they picked her up and held her high. This made Babiola laugh out loud. Suddenly, Yifan sensed something, put down the 8 treasures, and saw Su Longyu walking out of the house. After not seeing each other for 4 months, when Yifan saw Su Longyu again, there was a flash of surprise in his eyes. "My wife is so beautiful." "Wife," Yifan shouted. "It's been 4 months since we last met. And it feels like for years." Although the two usually communicate through video calls, hormones and dopamine are secreted rapidly when they meet in person. My brain suddenly started to work. The babies seemed to know that their daddy and mommy had not seen each other for a long time. Led by Dabao, they all behaved well and stopped sticking to Yifan. Yifan touched the babies' little heads, then walked towards Su Longyu step by step. Knowing Su Longyu's personality, he took the initiative to hold the tense Su Longyu in his arms. "Wife, I miss you so much." Love is expressed. A blush appeared on Su Longyu's beautiful face. She bit her red lips lightly without saying a word. She shyly pushed Yifan away, but found that instead of pushing Yifan away, Yifan hugged her tighter. "Su Longyu, let me go, the children are watching us." "Yifan, it looks good. Let them see how good the relationship between their father and mother is." "Dabao, Daddy, Mommy, let's go play first." Dabao was very sensible and immediately left with a group of little kids. Babao couldn't walk yet, so he was picked up by Wu Bao and carried away, followed by Erbio and the others' exclamations. The children's noisy voices faded away, and only Yifan and Su Longyu were left in the yard. Yifan let go of Su Longyu slightly, and his pair of black eyes fell on Su Longyu's face with a sharp gaze, and then on her lips. Su Longyu sensed something, and she covered Yifan's eyes with her delicate hands, her face blushing. During the day, as an old couple, she could naturally understand the meaning in Yifan's eyes when he looked at her. "Yifan, it's just right during the day." As he spoke, Yifan laughed softly and picked up Su Longyu by the waist. Su Longyu immediately used her spiritual sense to send a message to Chen Chuaner, asking her to get out of Wei and Xinju immediately and as far away as possible. Chen Chuaner's mouth twitched. "I'm not allowed to watch the live version for free. Bad review." Then Chen Chuaner turned into a beam of light and escaped reluctantly. In the room, Yifan and Su Longyu were warm and thoughtful after not seeing each other for more than 4 months outside the yard. Dabao and his friends surrounded Wu Bao and asked him where he had gone to play with his father this time. Wu Bao first took out a pile of spiritual fruits, one for each person, and then began to tell with a smile what had happened in the 4 months since she and Yifan left Wienexin Island. Chapter 230 For the baby's little actions. Erbio and his friends brought small stools and sat in front of Wu Bao. Liu Bao and the others sat on the ground. The Babao is standing. When Wu Bao mentioned entering the ruins, Erbio asked in a daze, "Fifth sister, what do ruins mean?" "Wu Bao, the ruins contain a lot of treasures, such as the spiritual fruits we eat, which contain a lot of treasures." Sibao ruled, "Wow, so many good things. I want to go too." "Wu Bao, the ruins are closed now. When we have a chance, we can ask Daddy to take us there." Sibao nodded his little head vigorously, then looked at Wu Bao. "Wu Mei, do you have any more fruit? This is delicious." Chi, a little foodie, has already finished a spiritual fruit. "Wu Bao, fourth sister, you can only eat one a day." "Erbio, fifth sister, why do I feel like you've become stronger since you came back? Big brother can't even carry Babio, but you can actually carry him and walk." Dabao is the strongest among his brothers and sisters, but he was too young to pick up Baba, who was over 1 year old. "Wu Bao, because of me, I entered the martial arts world." Erbio was full of doubt. "Martial arts? Wu Bao, that's it." As he spoke, Wu Bao stood up and punched the stone next to him. In an instant, the whole big stone collapsed. Dabao and the others were stunned by what they saw, especially Dabao. His mouth was wide open in shock. 11th treasure looked at 5th treasure with fear, then shrank his body, and his arrogance finally subsided a lot. Sanbao, fifth sister, you are so awesome. Is this martial arts? Is it different from the magic that my parents know? Wu Bao, it's very different. I haven't officially become a key training cultivator yet. So I can't use immortal arts, yet once I officially break through to the key training realm, I can use immortal arts. I think it won't be long. In the future, I can also fly with a sword like my father and mother. Sanbao's face was full of longing. How amazing. I also want to be as awesome as my fifth sister. I want to go to the ruins with daddy next time. Liu Bao and his friends' brains were not as fast developed as Sanbao and his friends, so apart from being shocked, they did not have any other extra thoughts. Dabao and Erbio's faces seemed to have the same passion as Sanbao's. Sibao quietly stole the spiritual fruit from Shibio's hand and ate it quietly. Shi Yibao's eyes were sparkling. Wu Bao continued to talk about the things in the ruins. Wu Bao has a talent for storytelling. Erbio and the others, and they were worried at one moment. And then they exclaimed in shock. They kept listening to stories until sunset, and even when Song Qiao Ziachai came over and called them to eat, they were still not satisfied. Wu Bao, let's eat first. After we finish eating, I will tell you the story. Everyone stood up and went to the dining room. Chi Bao fell behind a little and walked to Wu Bao, with a rare friendly smile on his face. Sister, OSKHAHD. Chi Bao couldn't speak fluently yet, but after calling out sister into baby voices, he started to speak baby talk, and he was very excited. Wu Bao smiled and touched her little head's Hai Yi Bao, who never let anyone touch her head, was stunned for a moment, then smiled again and did not slap Wu Bao's hand away from her head. Wu Bao, you are still young now, so be good when you grow up. Let daddy take us to the ruins. Chi Bao nodded vigorously with his little head. When they entered the cafeteria, Erbio and his friends found that their father and mother were not here when Song Qiao Ziachai was about to serve them food. Erbio said, Aunt Song, my father and mother are not here yet. We will have dinner after they come. Sibao, first come, first served. Sanbao, fourth sister, you just ate the spiritual fruits. Don't be in a hurry to eat. Daddy finally came back. Let's wait for daddy and mom to come before we start eating. Dabao looked towards the direction of the house where Yifan and the others lived, and then looked at Song Qiao Ziachai. Song Qiao Ziachai. The young master and his wife said that they will not have dinner tonight, so you can eat first. Erbio, why? Mom and dad always ate with us before. Sibao, I'll go call daddy and mommy. As she said that, Sibao was about to stand up, but Dabao reached out to stop her. Sibao looked at Dabao in confusion. Brother. Abao, daddy and mommy said they can't come to dinner, they must have things to do. Let us eat first. Sibao looked confused. Wu Bao, fourth sister, let's eat first. After dinner, I will continue to tell you about what happened in the ruins. There are many interesting things. By the way, daddy also got a pet rat in the ruins. I'll let the rat come out and play with us later. It's really good at finding treasures when the time comes. Well, let Shushu lead us to find the treasures. After hearing this, Sibao's attention was immediately drawn to it. A rat that can find treasures. Okay, then can it find delicious spiritual fruits? Wu Bao, yes. Sibao immediately raised his hands and cheered. Oh yeah, that's great, then let's eat quickly and then go treasure hunting. The other little ones are also looking forward to treasure hunting. Start eating. Liu Bao and his friends were confused, but that didn't stop them from seeing their older brothers and sisters happy. They immediately became happy too. After all, being happy was the right thing to do. Shi Yibao's eyes rolled around. Babiao, who was sitting on a special dining chair, was eating very hard today because she was eager to learn how to walk. Her mother said that if she ate more, she would be able to walk. She wants to eat a lot. Learn to walk earlier and go out to play with your brothers and sisters earlier. Late at night, Yifan got out of bed with his hands on his waist, poured 2 glasses of water, took one for himself, and handed the other to Su Longyu, who was half leaning on the bed, with messy hair but exceptionally beautiful and charming. Su Longyu took the cup of water and glared at Yifan Kokathislai. The two hadn't seen each other for more than 4 months, and they released all their pent-up passion. After drinking the water, Su Longyu was about to get up, but Yifan held her down and said, Take a rest. Su Longyu, let's go see the children. You just came back and haven't been with them for long. They must want to see you. Yifan, tonight I belong to you, my wife. The children are asleep now. We will go and see it tomorrow. Su Longyu gently tapped Yifan's shoulder with her small hand and said, Let's go and have a look. They are too quiet tonight and didn't bother us. This is a bit abnormal. More than 2 years of experience in raising children has taught her that if children are too quiet and abnormal, there must be something wrong. Yifan, okay. The two of them changed into new clothes, left the room, and used their spiritual sense to sense the place. Yifan was slightly surprised that he didn't find the babies in the room where they were sleeping. Su Longyu. Sure enough, they went out. Yifan, Babayo is not here either. Su Longyu, Go and see what they are doing. Chapter 235, Digging in the Back Mountain. Digging treasure. When the two came to a forest above Wenxinju, they saw 11 little guys gathered together. The Bao was shoveling with his small shovel. Erbio lowered his voice and said, "Brother, come on. Sanbao, brother, let me help you. Sibao, I'm so hungry. Wu Mei, is there anything to eat? Wu Bao, fourth sister, don't eat too much. Eat tomorrow. Liu Bao, Aiyaya, Ki Bao, giggled. Baba O rubbed his eyes, looking sleepy. Jiu Bao. Wow. Shi Bio, wow. Two little kids were digging mud with their hands beside him. Shi Bao didn't say anything. His eyes sparkled brightly under the light of the night pearl. He reached out his little hand towards the rock rat that was crawling on the ground beside him. Just as he was about to touch the rock rat's head, a rock rat immediately turned around and looked at Shi Bao, baring its teeth at him fiercely, warning Shi Bao not to touch its head. Shi Bao immediately bared his teeth and rushed over fiercely, then pointed at Wu Bao in a very arrogant manner, and then touched the rock rat's head in a very forceful manner. The rock rat let out a howl and simply burrowed underground. 11 treasures. In the dark woods, Sulongyu asked Yifan, "What are they digging? People come here to dig in the middle of the night. A rock rat that just burrowed into the ground, is it your spiritual pet?" Yifan, "Well, I'll call it over and ask it and then I'll know." As he spoke, after a while, the rock rat crawled out from the ground and looked at Yifan with a flattering face. The second level Great Perfection ground rock rat, although it cannot speak yet, has already understood human nature. Some monsters with well-developed language skills can speak human language even at the second level. The rock rat guessed the purpose of Yifan calling it out, and immediately communicated with Yifan using his spiritual sense. Yifan was slightly surprised. "Is there really a treasure?" The rock rat nodded its little head vigorously. Yifan asked the rock rat to go down, and then told Sulongyu that the rock rat said there were treasures where the babies were digging, and it couldn't dig them. "Sulongyu, even the rock rats can't dig it, how can the babies dig it?" Wu Bao. "When you came back this time, I saw that Wu Bao had already reached the Xiantian realm, and the bronze fragment on her body had also changed." Yifan immediately told Sulongyu roughly what happened in the ruins. After Sulongyu learned that Wu Bao was in the ruins, she was slightly surprised. Then the two looked at each other. Yifan saw something in Sulongyu's eyes and said, "Wu Bao is still Wu Bao." Sulongyu nodded. "When you came back, I also observed her soul. And it hasn't changed. No matter what Wu Bao is, she is our daughter." Yifan nodded. The couple did not come out to disturb the little ones, letting them play and dig by themselves. They found a position with the best view, sat down, and watched the children, secretly digging for treasure, while eating melon seeds. It was quite interesting. With the help of Sanbao, Dabao dug the hole faster. Wu Bao said, "Big brother, third brother, you come up. I'll do it." Dabao, fifth sister, "Leave this kind of physical work to me and the third brother." Sambo, "Yes." Erbio, "Let fifth sister try." "Big brother, third brother, you are too slow if you keep digging like this. How long will it take to find the treasure?" Sibao, second sister, is right, hurry up and finish digging. Then we can go back for a midnight snack. Dabao thought about it, then gave the iron kettle to Wu Bao and let Wu Bao try it first. After Wu Bao got the iron hoe, he started digging with a loud noise. Their speed is more than twice as fast as Dabao and his team. Erbio was shocked and said, "Fifth sister, you have a talent for digging holes." Dabao clenched his fists with only one sentence in his mind: "Enter the ruins. Enter the ruins." He also wants to become as strong as the fifth sister. After Wu Bao had been digging for about an hour, Babio had fallen asleep beside him. But the other babies are all very energetic. Sibao found a leaf and chewed it. Suddenly, a golden light emerged from the pit that Wu Bao had dug, which was as deep as an adult. Dabao and the others immediately poked their little heads into the pit, their big eyes filled with curiosity and anticipation. Erbio exclaimed, "Fifth sister, we found a treasure. What is it?" Wu Bao picked up the treasure, and the golden light gradually dissipated, revealing the shape of the treasure in Wu Bao's hand. Sibao was immediately disappointed. "It's not edible. Bad review." Sanbao, "What is this? It looks like it's worth a lot of money." Erbio, "Do tree branches also emit golden light?" Dabao, "It's a treasure. Only treasures can emit golden light." Fifth sister, "How did you get up here?" Liu Bao, Bao and the others all shouted excitedly, "Bao! Bao!" Wu Bao took the golden branch and the iron kettle, jumped out of the deep pit, and landed on the ground. Erbio was amazed. "Fifth sister, you are so awesome, I want to learn this trick too." "Ooh, Bao, let's go find daddy and mommy. This thing looks very valuable. Let daddy see what this is." Yifan laughed. "Daddy." As Yifan and Sulongyu came over, the little babies excitedly rushed towards them. "Daddy, mommy, Su Longyu said with a straight face. You came out to dig for treasures in the middle of the night. Did you report it to mother? The little babies immediately admitted their mistakes and lowered their heads. Qi Yibao pointed at Wu Bao and said, Sister. Then he made gestures and spoke in incomprehensible baby language, complaining to Su Longyu, saying that it was Wu Bao who brought them here to dig. Da Bao took a step forward and said, Mother, this has nothing to do with fifth sister. I asked fifth sister to bring us here to dig for treasure. RBO immediately stood behind Da Bao and lowered his little head even lower. Sanbao took a step forward. Mother, there's me too. Sibao lowered his head and said nothing. Liu Bao and the others were all in a daze, and their brains hadn't figured out what was going on yet. Bubio is still sleeping. Yifan smiled and patted Su Longyu's shoulder, saying, Ma, don't be angry. Wu Bao and I just came back today, and the little ones are all very excited. They were so excited that they couldn't sleep and came out to dig for treasure. Now they have dug up treasures, so we should praise them. At this point, Yifan said to the neatly lined up little kids, although you found treasures this time, you didn't inform your mother and father and ran out to play in the middle of the night. This is raw. You should apologize to your mother. Say you won't do this again, and ask your mother to forgive you. The little ones immediately began to apologize to Su Longyu and admit their mistakes. He also said that in the future, he would definitely ask his mother and father for permission before doing anything at night and would not go out alone. With Yifan coaxing Su Longyu's expression finally eased. Wu Bao handed the dug branches to Yifan. Yifan, this is a withered peach branch. Hey, there's still some life. As he spoke, Yifan input the power of Qingyu and Qing Shinggong into the peach wood branch. Chapter 236. Everyone likes. Wu Bao pointed at the withered peach branch in amazement and said, the peach branch is alive. I saw that at this moment, the originally withered peachwood branch in Yifan's hand was gradually turning green, and a small bud grew on the top branch. Su Longyu raised her eyebrows in surprise. This peachwood branch is a little strange. Take it back first. Yifan nodded. The couple brought 11 little kids with them. Herbio had also woken up at this time after being held in Yifan's arms. He twisted his body and indicated that he wanted to get down and walk. After the previous conditioning, Babio's weak constitution since the womb has been well cured. However, in terms of turning over, sitting alone, crawling and walking, he is still weaker than the other babies in the sextuplets. This is different from Wabo. Wabo didn't want to walk before. But Babio wanted to walk and practiced very hard every day, but he still couldn't walk. Yifan met his little daughter's request, put her down, stabilized her body, and then held her little hand. Bao and the others were very sensible. They waited for their younger sister and did not run ahead in advance. As Shi Yibao was walking, he felt that he was walking too slowly, so he started walking forward at his own pace. Herbio shouted, 11th sister, slow down. Daddy and mommy are still behind us. 11th treasure. This is in the mountain behind their home. Yifan and Su Longyu's spiritual sense covers the surroundings, so there is no need to worry about the safety of Shi Yibao, who walked to the front. When Sibao saw Shi Yibao walking so fast, she was a little nervous, but as she looked ahead at the darkness, she timidly held Herbio's hand tightly and walked slowly. After returning home, the babies surrounded Yifan again and asked him where to plant the peachwood branch. Su Longyu found a place and flew everyone there in a flying boat. This place is some distance away from Wienx-Inju, in a valley with abundant spiritual energy and fertile soil. When Yifan took out the peachwood branches to dig the hole, Su Longyu took out a storage bag filled with a lot of soil. Herbio. Mom, what kind of soil is this? It looks like the colors are different. There are so many colors. So beautiful. Su Longyu, this is the 5 elements earth. It has 5 colors. Herbio, 5 elements earth. Bao and the others were also listening. Yifan, 5 elements earth? Su Longyu, well, it's suitable for growing high-level spiritual plants. I can't tell what level of spiritual plant this peach branch is, but it must be quite good at, as very likely that it won't survive with ordinary soil and spiritual energy, but this 5-element soil can. Yifan, is it too expensive? Although he had never seen this 5-element soil, he had heard of it in the original book. This soil was extremely good. Not only could it help grow high-level spiritual plants with just one seed, but it was also extremely helpful for earthic-radiated monsters to break through to a higher realm. Sure enough, the rock rat immediately crawled out from the ground, and its pair of bright eyes stared at the pile of 5-element soil on the ground in the dark. Then he spoke to Yifan. Yifan, you want it? The rock rat immediately nodded excitedly, then rolled its eyes and burrowed back into the ground. Su Longyu told Yifan that this amount of 5-element soil was nothing, and she still had a lot in her storage bag. She dug it out from a secret place and let Yifan use it at will. Sibao, Mom, you are so kind to Dad. Can we eat this soil? Can you give some to Yi? I think Shushu wants to eat it too. Herbio was shocked. 4th sister, what's so delicious about dirt? Don't eat dirt? Su Longyu raised her hand to support her forehead. touched her fourth daughter's head, and said, you can't eat dirt. Shushu wants to eat it because there is dirt in Shushu's food. We don't eat the same food as rat mouse. Sibao, oh. The little guy said this with his eyes shining. After a while, after Yifan dug the pit, planted the peach wood branches, and covered it with the 5-element soil, the rock rat came up this time. It had a storage bag in its mouth, and it placed the storage bag in front of Yifan in a very flattering manner. Yifan opened it. Good fellow, you're still keeping it to yourself. As he spoke, Yifan poured out the contents of his storage bag, which contained quite a few 100-year-old spiritual fruits, as well as some precious spiritual medicines, all of which were found in the Shaozhou mountain ruins. The mouse touched the little head with his anthropomorphic hand. Yifan put the things back into the storage bag, then took out a fingernail-sized piece of 5-element soil and handed it to the rock rat, who immediately widened his eyes. You think it's too little? Then a little less. As he spoke, Yifan moved away another fifth of the 5-element soil that was the size of a fingernail. A rock rat immediately grabbed the 5 elements of soil that was not even as big as a fingertip, squeaked twice at Yifan in a flattering manner, then ran to the peach wood branch and squatted there. It means to build a nest there. Live here from now on. Yifan touched his chin. It seemed that the 5-element earth was really attractive to earth-attributed monsters. Su Longyu set up a third-order barrier around the peach wood branches. Even if rock rats lived nearby, they could only see the 5 elements of soil inside but could not dig out the 5 elements of soil inside. When Yifan and the others were about to leave, the starry sky vine emerged from Yifan's sleeves, and it rubbed its way around the peach wood branch, looked at it jumping excitedly on the ground, and then turned around to express its thoughts to Yifan, because this is Yifan's natal spiritual plant that he contracted with. Yifan can capture its meaning very accurately. Yifan, Xing, do you like peach wood branches? Star Ivy nodded with its vine. Yifan, okay, you can play here while I'm on the island. And you can come with me when I leave the island. Because this is Yifan's natal spiritual plant for cultivating the Kingwu spirit body, and it cannot be too far away from him. Qing Kong Vine nodded happily. Then he expressed some ideas to Yifan. Yifan, are you watering the peach wood branches? Okay. I'll leave the watering and soil loosening to you, but the 5-element soil cannot be moved. The starry sky vine immediately nodded its head excitedly, and then performed some watering techniques for Yifan to see. And it patted its chest with the vine, as if to assure Yifan that it would take good care of the peach wood branches. Yifan nodded. On the way back to Wienx Sinju with the babies, Yifan and Sulongyu told Yifan that top-level demon plants like starry sky vine all like peach wood branches, and she also took the initiative to take on the task of watering and loosening the soil for the peach wood branches. It seems that this peach wood branch is extraordinary. Yifan nodded. Indeed. Then he praised the babies, saying that these were gifts from the babies to their parents. Really good at treasure hunting. Sulongyu didn't expect that there were such treasures that she had not discovered on this warm island. After she bought Wienxin Island, she let Demon Star Vine move, and it can be said that there is nothing on Wienxin Island that she doesn't know. However, I didn't expect to overlook this small withered peach branch. Chapter 237. The mother-in-law is angry, the kind that is hard to appease. A month later, Yifan met Tang Hong or Yui in a restaurant in King Long Immortal City. This was Tang Hong or Yui who took the initiative to find him. He didn't find him in Yuliangshuan, so manager Fan sent him a communication talisman, informing Tang Hong or Yui that he had something important to discuss with him. Mr. Tang, what's the matter? Yifan asked straight to the point. Tang Hong or Yui smiled and said, Friend Yi, have some tea first and then we can chat slowly. Then, the door of the box was pushed open, and a young girl walked in. The girl had an outstanding appearance, like a lotus emerging from the water, a tall figure, and was wearing a light blue silk dress. The style of the dress looked very familiar to Yifan, as it was produced by Yu Liangxuan. Tang Hong or Yui smiled and introduced Yifan. Friend Yi, this is my niece's granddaughter. She just turned 18 this year. She heard that I was in King Long Immortal City, so she came to visit me. An old man. Luo Yan, come here. This is Yifan, the boss of Yu Yangshuan whom you have always praised. Yifan is older than you, so just call him Brother Fan. Tang Luoyan looked directly at Yifan with some displeasure in her eyes, but she still greeted Yifan with a smile. Brother Fan. Yifan felt uncomfortable listening to this, and he also saw the reluctance in Tang Luoyan's eyes. He was a little confused about what Tang Hong or Yui was planning. But this is an ancestor in the middle stage of the nascent soul, and also the supreme elder of the Lanyu sect. So Yifan didn't say anything immediately. It just nodded lightly. Angle Luoyan said next to Tang Hong or Yui. Tang Hong or Yui smiled and said to Yifan, Friend Yi, my daughter Luoyan has loved alchemy since she was young. She has some talent in this area, but it is not very high. She has always wanted to find someone to teach her. It just so happens that you two are of similar age. I wonder if Emrai has time to take Luoyan with him. She is very well behaved and obedient. You can always use me as you like. After hearing what Tang Hong Yui said, the look in his eyes when he said this, and the obvious suppressed unhappiness on Tang Luoyan's face after hearing this, Yifan's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that this middle-stage Nace and soul ancestor wanted to give his granddaughter to himself? No way. Why am I so attractive? I didn't know that. Damn this charm that has nowhere to go. Yifan, Tang Lao. I'm just a small alchemist. I don't have any talent in alchemy. I am not suitable to teach Miss Luoyan. I have some things to deal with in my shop. That's all for today. I'll talk again another day. After saying that, Yifan stood up and walked away directly. Tang Hong Yui seemed to have not reacted yet. After Yifan left, Tang Luoyan stamped her feet, raised her little mouth high, and then said to Tang Hong Yui, Kokethis Lai, second grandfather, I am a great perfection of foundation building. How can he let me marry him when he is just a small initial stage of foundation building? And his spiritual roots are also very ordinary, only middle grade spiritual roots, while I have earth spiritual roots. Second grandfather, you have loved Luoyan since she was a child, you can ruin Luoyan's life. Tang Hong Yui glared at Tang Luoyan with a reproachful look. And Tang Luoyan immediately shut up. What do you know? Second grandpa did this for your own good. You don't like Yifan. And Yifan doesn't like you either. Tang Luoyan pointed at the door in disbelief, as if she had heard a huge joke. Second grandfather? You said Yifan doesn't like me? He is a man with a baby, and he is only a male cultivator with middle-grade spiritual roots in the early stage of foundation building. How can he not like me? He is self-aware and knows that he is not worthy of me, so he rejected me. Tang Hong Yui, you are so confident. Okay, next time you see Yifan, go back and reflect on this. This marriage is just an alliance, you don't need to think about anything else. After saying this, Tang Hong Yui disappeared on the spot. After an incense stick of time, Tang Hong Yui appeared in Wen Chan King's residence. Brother, how come you have time to come to Chan King? Wen Chan King asked. Tang Hong Yui smiled and said, I want to discuss something that will benefit you both. Wen Chan King, oh? Tang Hong Yui, young friend Yifan's attainments in alchemy are indeed superb. My Fang Xuan's illness depends on him. Wen Chan King didn't say anything. Tang Hong Yui observed Wen Chan King's expression and continued, Yifan is quite young. And he has a baby with him. Tang Hong Yui pretended to a few times, and then continued, Junior sister Chan King. Don't you think Yifan's daughter looks a lot like Yu Shengyan when she was a child? I can't say they are exactly the same, but at least they are 80 similar. After saying this, he waited for Wen Chan King's reaction. He should have made it clear, right? He didn't want to get involved in this matter before. But Yifan didn't agree to instruct Tang Luoyan, so he had to come and talk to Wen Chan King. Moreover, it is indeed a mutually beneficial thing. Wen Chan King already knew that Tang Hong Yui had recognized Yifan, so she said calmly, it is true that they look a bit alike, and then what? Tang Hong Yui, I think if junior brother Changming comes out of the Tianzu secret realm and sees Yifan's daughter, he might have other ideas. And thus cause unhappiness to your family. Why not? Seeing that Wen Chan King's expression remained unchanged, Tang Hong Yui thought to himself, it is as expected. He continued, why not let Yifan and Luoyan from our Tang family become a Taoist couple? Then, we can tell everyone that Yinran was born to Yifan and Luoyan. This way if junior brother Changming sees Yinran in the future, he won't think too much about it, and it won't affect the harmony of your family. Also, Luoyan and Yifan's marriage to each other is actually a fake one. I won't let anything happen to Luoyan and Yifan. This will give Yinran a formal identity. Secondly, if you do anything in the future, you will have someone to cover you up, so others won't think too much. He said this in a rather subtle way, the gist of which was that although Luoyan and Yifan were getting married in fake marriage, nothing would happen between them if Wen Chan King wanted to do anything with Yifan in the future. No one would find out, because Luoyan was there to cover for her. Tang Hong Yui felt that what he said was very good, and Wen Chan King would definitely understand what he meant. In my heart, for the sake of my lineage to continue, junior brother Changming, I'm sorry for putting you in such a difficult position. But even without me, you'd still be cheated on. I do this for you actually. It's better if you don't know the truth. Wen Chan King was still a little slow in her thinking when she heard what Tang Hong Yui said. Tang Hong Yui, junior sister Chan King. How is it? After a few breaths, Tang Hong Yui ran away in shock saying, Junior sister Chan King, you are crazy. This is in the immortal city, and you are chasing me and beating me. This is outrageous. Stop it, it will be bad if someone sees us. Junior sister Chan King. I'm doing this for your own good, why are you still chasing me and hitting me? If you don't agree, forget it. Just pretend I didn't say anything. Chapter 238 The Empress wife is angry and wants blood. Wen Chan King, Tang Hong Yui, I warn you. If you dare to introduce a girl to Yifan next time, I will make Yifan stop reading your Fang Xuan and make your family line extinct. Also, send your niece to wherever you brought her back from. Don't let me see her, otherwise, don't cry about how she died then. Ang Hong or Yui ran away in disgrace. Only after he had run 10 miles did he pat his chest and complain. Junior sister Chan King is really becoming more and more domineering. I was clearly doing this for her own good, but she was so ungrateful. Oh, never mind. Given junior sister Chan King's desire to monopolize Yifan, I'm afraid that even without junior brother Chang Ming coming out of the Tianzi secret realm, everyone in the Lan Yu sect will know about the matter between Yifan and junior sister Chan King. Junior brother Chang Ming, please come out quickly. Pang Hong or Yui secretly thought of the scene in the near future where Su Changming and when Chan King would fight to the death in Lan Yu sect, and the scene where when Chan King would be chased and beaten by Su Changming. Junior sister Chan King will definitely be more embarrassed than I am today. After thinking about it secretly, Tang Hong or Yui immediately returned to his residence and sent someone to send Tang Woyan away overnight. This made Tang Woyan feel deeply despised. I feel extremely uncomfortable inside. She felt that she was the only one who disliked Yifan, and it was never Yifan's turn to dislike her. As for Yifan, after dealing with the matters in the Immortal City, he returned to Wenxin Island. But when I got home, I didn't see Su Longyu. After asking Song Qiao Zichai, I learned that Su Longyu went out today. Yifan called Su Longyu to send a video message. No answer. He frowned slightly and sent a text message to Su Longyu, telling her that he had returned to Wenxinju. In the past, even if it was inconvenient for Su Longyu to answer a video message, she would reply to the text message immediately after he sent it. Now, after he sent the text message, a cup of tea passed, but he still didn't receive a reply from Su Longyu. It was not until 2 hours later that he received Su Longyu's reply, and it was just one word. Okaifan touched his chin and said, "My wife is a little abnormal. What happened?" It was not until night that Su Longyu arrived at Wenxin Island under the moonlight. She looked down at the dark red bloodstains on her white dress and frowned slightly. With a small spell, he washed away the bloodstains on his body and removed the smell of blood. So she flew to Wenxinju. Yifan saw Su Longyu coming back and asked with concern, "Wife, have you had dinner?" Su Longyu looked indifferent, which was different from her usual coldness. Her usual coldness was just her nature. But tonight's coldness made him feel alienated. A man's sixth sense told him that Su Longyu was angry. "What are you angry about?" Su Longyu. "I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat anymore." Yifan, "Then sleep?" Su Longyu, "I won't sleep tonight, I'm going to the training room to practice." Yifan watched Su Longyu walk into her training room and touched his chin. "My wife is acting very strange today." The next day, Wenxinju welcomed Ling Hukun, Di and Shen Miaolan. The three of them had already returned to Yunshu County, but because they were seriously injured in the Shaoxushan ruins, they immediately closed off the island and went into seclusion after returning, and have not come out until now. After the three people arrived, Su Longyu also walked out of the training room. Yifan looked at Su Longyu who came out and was a little surprised, because Su Longyu usually didn't dress up. And when she didn't dress up, she was already stunningly beautiful. Now, she actually dressed up. And dressed very beautifully. Especially the veil covering her face added a sense of mystery to her stunning beauty. Ling Hukun and Di took one look at each other and immediately looked away, not looking any further to avoid suspicion. Shen Miaolan is a woman, so she doesn't have so many taboos. She stared at Su Longyu with her eyes wide open. Yifan was also a little dazed. Then, he saw Su Longyu walk to him, then sit next to him and look at Shen Miaolan again. Shen Miaolan came back to her senses, puffed awkwardly, and said, "Fairy, you was so beautiful today that I lost my mind. I'm sorry for being so rude." Su Longyu said, and then her eyes fell on Shen Miaolan's position. Shen Miaolan was stunned for a moment, then looked left and right, and found that she was sitting on Yifan's right-hand side. She seemed to have realized something, and immediately stood up with a smile, sat next to Dui, and said, "Fellow Taoist Du, last time at the Shaoshu mountain ruins, it was thanks to your help in breaking the formation. Otherwise it would have been extremely difficult for us to get out of that valley. Come, let me toast you a glass." He picked up the teacup and said that this cup should be toasted to Shen Miaolan. He said that thanks to Shen Miaolan's medical skills, otherwise, he would have been seriously injured by a second-stage mid-stage monster and would have died in the Shaoxushan ruins. Everyone started chatting. Yifan did not join the conversation. He was thinking about what had just happened whenever Shen Miaolan came over before. Su Longyu always behaved normally, but this time, Su Longyu acted a little bit, as if to show off her ownership of herself. Don't allow other women to get too close to him. Moreover, she dressed up carefully. Is Su Longyu jealous? Are you jealous of me and Shen Miaolan? Yifan shook his head and rejected this idea. Because he hadn't met Shen Mialan since he came back from the Shaozhu Shan ruins, and his wife had changed since yesterday. So a question came to his mind. That is, when they were in Qinglong Fairy City, Tang Hong are you I introduced him to a girl. Could it be that my wife knew about this? Realizing this, Yifan immediately sent a message to Su Longyu. Yifan, wife, there is something important I want to tell you. Su Longyu didn't reply. Yifan stood up and told Ling Hukan and the others that he had something to discuss with his wife and asked them to continue chatting. Afterwards, Yifan took Su Longyu away. Back in the room, he added a layer of soundproofing to the room. Then he took Su Longyu's soft and somewhat cold hand and said, "Wife, let me tell you a funny thing, didn't I go to Qinglong Fairy City this time, there I met your sex Grand Elder Tang. I don't know what he was thinking, but he suddenly wanted to introduce me to someone, and I rejected him on the spot. Don't you think this is funny?" Seeing Su Longyu's gaze, Yifan patted the back of his head again and said, "Oh, it's also my fault that I didn't think straight at the time. I should have told Elder Tang that I have a wife. And my wife is the saint of your sect. We have given birth to 11 babies." Chapter 239, Secret Tricks to Coax My Wife. Su Longyu burst out laughing. "Su Longyu, you can't say that." "Yifan, why? I really wanted to say it at that time." "Su Longyu, you are stupid if you say that. He will definitely grab you and take you back to my sect immediately." "Yifan, wife, are you worried about me?" Su Longyu pouted slightly. She didn't even realize that she was doing something like a little girl. Yifan looked at the pouting empress. She was so adorable that it made his heart itchy. He couldn't help but bent down and kissed her lips. Perhaps Su Longyu felt that Yifan's excellence had begun to attract other women, so this time she was not passive at all, but rather proactive. This initiative eventually turned into a domineering and forceful kiss. It was similar to when they first met, when Su Longyu, in a daze, forcefully kissed Yifan. Yifan, as expected, once a repressed woman becomes strong. She becomes particularly domineering. After some automatic tenderness, Su Longyu shyly pushed Yifan away and asked him to put on his clothes and go out to receive the guest. She would not go out. Yifan knew that he had solved this emotional crisis. He said to Su Longyu, "Wife, don't worry. No matter what I do in the future, or if someone wants to introduce me to a Taoist partner, I will refuse, because my heart is very small and can only accommodate one person. And that person is you." Yifan often said sweet words, but this was the first time he said such sentimental words to Su Longyu. After hearing this, Su Longyu's body softened even more. Her beautiful eyes filled with affection. She reached out and grabbed Yifan, pulling him into the gauze tent. And the room was filled with spring breeze again. In the flower hall, Dee saw that Yifan and his wife had not come out yet, and asked in confusion, "Why haven't fellow Taoist you and Fairy you come out yet?" Ling Hukan, who has experience in relationships, said, "Don't worry about it, they probably just had a conflict and are probably trying to solve it right now." Knowing that Ling Hukan was completely cheated on, Shen Mialan and Dui did not continue the conversation and instead talked about Wang Fuguai's prowess in the Shaozhu Shan ruins. Shen Mialan said, "I got news from Qinglong Immortal City. They said Wang Fuguai is Taoist fellow Yifan's cousin." Yi was shocked. "I've never heard fellow Taoist Yi mention it before." Ling Hukan's dark eyes flickered slightly, and thinking of the scene where Wei Cheng or Yui died on Wienexin Island, he said mysteriously, "Perhaps fellow Taoist Yi is more powerful than fellow Taoist Wang Fuguai." Yi and Shen Mialan looked towards Ling Hukan. Ling Hukan didn't say anything more. And Dui and Shen Mialan didn't say anything more about what they thought, but their impression of Yifan and Wienexin Island was raised again. An hour later, Yifan returned to the flower hall. He first had tea with Ling Hukan and others to apologize, and then said that his wife was not feeling well and was resting. Ling Hukan deliberately took a look at Yifan's belt, but then he thought of something and his expression changed to emptiness as color. Color is emptiness. When Ling Hukan saw Yifan arrive, he began to talk about the main matters of this gathering of her people. He said that he had received absolutely reliable news that Taoist King Long had passed away yesterday in Qinglong Mountain. Dui was shocked. "What? Taoist King Long is dead?" Shen Mialan was also extremely surprised. "Is he really dead, or is he faking his death?" Ling Hukan, "He's really dead. Last night, we started sending invitations to all the major families, chambers of commerce, sects, and some forces to attend Taoist King Long's funeral. I guess we will receive it soon." These eyes were solemn among these four people. He was the most deeply involved with King Long Immortal City, and he was also the one who knew the latest situation of King Long Immortal City. He began, "If we do receive an invitation, I suggest that everyone not go. I don't know how chaotic this King Long Taoist funeral will be. It will probably take some fighting. Last time, a branch of the Yingzong clan of King Shufang, the Wu family, and the Zhu family attacked King Long Immortal City together in the end. The law enforcement elder of the Yingzong clan came out to mediate, although the Zhu family has now closed the mountain gate and will not come out again. It is highly likely that they will not continue to participate in the funeral of Taoist King Long, but the branch of the Yingzong clan of King Shufang and the Wu family will definitely join hands with other major chambers of commerce to attack the leaderless King Long Immortal City. Although King Long Taoist's former companion was also in the late Jindan stage, I heard that she returned to Zongshu after the battle in King Long Immortal City. Now that King Long Taoist has passed away, even if she comes to attend the funeral, she probably won't take action again after all. As a cultivator from Zongshu, she can't legitimately continue to rule King Long Immortal City. With the death of King Long Taoist, her relationship with King Long Mountain has also faded. This time King Long Immortal City is really going to change its owner. Those disciples of Taoist King Long probably can't protect King Long Immortal City. At this point, Yi said to Yi Fan, fellow Taoist Yi, don't worry, the shop you opened in Xiancheng will not be affected by this. What they want is the jurisdiction of King Long Immortal City, and they will not take action against the Immortal City. Yi Fan, well, I'm not worried about these, but have you noticed that the prices of these immortal cultivation materials such as talismans, magic tools, array plates, and elixirs have been rising recently and have never dropped? Ling Hukun added a soundproof barrier to the hall, and then said in a deep voice, I am going to discuss this matter with you today. I have also heard about what fellow Taoist Yi said, and I asked my acquaintances in Kong Yingzong about it. I learned that the three top sects in Zongshu are going to attack our southern region. As for why they want to attack, I don't know, but it is probably because some treasure veins have been discovered in our southern region. Or perhaps the competition in Zongshu is fierce for thousands of years, their competition for resources has become fierce, and they need to invade the surrounding areas to achieve the effect of expanding resources. Zongshu has always been stronger than our southern region. If this battle really breaks out, our southern region's upper 3 sects and lower 7 sects will be in great danger. When the time comes, places like ours will probably be recruited by the sect to go to the battlefield. Having said that, there was no worry on Ling Hukun's face. Instead, he looked eager to try. After hearing this, Yi Fan thought about it. In the original novel, when the protagonist Lin Aotian appeared, the situation in the southern region had already changed. However, among the upper 3 sects and lower 7 sects in the southern region, there was no sect named from Zongshu. In other words, this war either did not break out in the end. Either they fought or they didn't lose. At least, the sects in Zongshu were prevented from occupying the southern region. Or, they occupied the southern region, but were then driven back by the monks from the southern region. Similar to what happened in history, things that come together for a long time will eventually separate, and things that separate for a long time will eventually come together. There are still nearly 300 years before the Lanyu sect is destroyed, and nearly 500 years before the protagonist appears. Chapter 240, The Names of the Sextuplets. Now I am in the middle stage of foundation building. I am still too weak. However, according to his current breakthrough speed, he should have no problem breaking through to the spirit transformation realm before the Lanyu sect is destroyed 300 years later. Now King Mu's spirit body has cultivated to 60 progress. Ling Hukun thought of something and said to Yi Fan, you have the skills of cultivating immortals. If you don't want to go to the battlefield, you can complete the task of refining magic tools and spiritual tools to provide immortal cultivation materials and logistics for the battlefield. The 3 people present knew that Yi Fan usually did not leave the island. Whether it was the previous beast tide or the subsequent battle between the Yingzong branch and the Qinglong Immortal City, or the recent Shaoshushan ruins, Yi Fan did not go. Yi Fan. Yeah. Working in logistics is indeed much safer. Moreover, generally speaking, wars in the world of immortal cultivation are either fought out in one go. For example, the top god transforming god in Zongshu directly crushes the top god transforming god in the southern region, and after the top levels are defeated, the ones below will naturally be defeated, and there is no need to fight any further. Another possibility is that the top gods of Zongshu and the southern region will restrain each other and cannot kill each other directly. In this case, a war will break out between the cultivators below the gods. Such a war will usually last for many years or even decades. This kind of war has nothing to do with him for the time being. He still practiced in a low-key manner to protect the safety of the babies and their mothers. After this conversation, Du Yi and Shin Miaolan both expressed that they would go back to seclusion immediately, and strive to improve their cultivation again before the war in the world of immortal cultivation comes, or to make another breakthrough in their medical and formation attainments. After Ling Hukun and Shen Miaolan left Wienx Inju, Di sold the materials obtained from the ruins to Yi Fan at 10 off the market price in accordance with the previous agreement. He also entrusted Yi Fan to help refine 2nd-level medium-grade blue wolf monster puppets, and paid the spirit stones for the 2 puppets in advance. 3 days later, Yi Fan's Wienxin Island received an invitation from King Long Immortal City. It said that Taoist King Long had passed away, and invited the owner of Wienexen Island to go to King Long Ferry City to attend Taoist King Long's memorial service. At the same time, manager Fan also sent a message to inform that Taoist King Long had passed away and that Yu Yangshuan had received an invitation to attend the memorial service. The memorial service will be held in 5 days. Yi Fan did not go, but controlled the reconstructed Zhu Yanxi to go there, because Wang Fugui's name was too famous before, and he had a lot of resources brought out from the Shaoshu mountain ruins. He was like a walking treasure house and could be killed at any time. So this time, he changed Zhu Tianxi's name to Li Changshu. Li Changshu went to attend the memorial service for Taoist King Long on behalf of Wienexen Island, while he sent On Nanying to Yu Yangshuan. On the way Li Changshu was heading to King Long Immortal City. Yi Fan was told by Su Longyu that his mother-in-law, Wen Shan King, had already chosen names for Liu Bao and the others. The little ones are now 1 year and 3 months old, and Wen Shan King has finally decided on their names. Just the name. Su Longyu looked at Yi Fan and said, "If you don't like it, how about I discuss it with my mother and we can choose new ones for the babies?" Yi Fan, no. It sounds nice. My mother-in-law spent more than a year choosing names for the babies. If we don't use them, she will be unhappy. Su Longyu looked at the 6 babies' names written and frowned slightly. 6 treasures. Yi Jin Hao. Qi Bao, Yi Bi Duyu. 8 treasures, Yi Kong Ling. 9 treasures, Yi Duo Duo. 10 treasures, Yi Man Tang. 11th treasure, Yi Shi Woan. Every name is related to attracting wealth. She deeply doubts whether her mother is serious about choosing names. Su Longyu looked at Yi Fan again. Are you sure you want to use these names? Yi Fan, well, my mother-in-law will definitely not name the babies casually. Anyway, the names are for the babies, as long as my mother-in-law is happy. Just at this moment, Su Longyu's communication jade pendant rang. It was a video message sent by Wen Shan King. Su Longyu answered the call. Wen Shan King immediately appeared in front of Yi Fan and Su Longyu with a loving smile on her face, and said smugly, waiting to be praised, "How is it? The name that mother picked is good." The corners of Su Longyu's mouth twitched. "Yi Fan, every name my mother-in-law picked is nice. The babies will definitely like it." Wen Shan King looked at Yi Fan, her son-in-law, and said with a satisfied smile, "Of course. In order to name Liu Bao and the others, I have looked for various Xuan Men masters. These 6 names are definitely the best. He's very good to Liu Bao and the others." After finishing speaking, Wen Shan King began to tell Yi Fan and Su Longyu the meanings of each name, how these names would be good for the babies, etc., speaking in a very mysterious way. Yi Fan didn't believe in these mysterious things before, but after he traveled to the world of immortal cultivation, he began to believe in the middle. After listening to what Wen Shan King said, he felt that these 6 names were indeed very good. Su Longyu, ma, don't you think these names are too auspicious? Only a daughter would dare to speak to the Yuan Ying ancestor like this. Wen Shan King glared. Isn't it good to attract wealth? What can we do now without spiritual stones? Only with more money can we go further on the path to immortality. Wealth, friends. Dharma, and land. Wealth, friends. Dharma, and land. Wealth comes first. Yi Fan smiled and said, "What my mother-in-law said makes sense." Wen Shan King looked at Yi Fan with a smile, then glared at Su Longyu and said, "Look. Yi Fan has better vision than you. Su Longyu, he is flattering you." From then on, the names of the 6 little guys were officially determined. When Yi Fan and Su Longyu told the 6 little guys their names, the 6 little guys looked at them in confusion. Liu Bao, I've become famous now. Qi Bao, it sounds nice. Baba, oh, Ling Ling. Yu Bao, a lot. Shi Bio, Tang Tang. Shi Bao didn't say anything, but his eyes seemed to say that all the other names were rubbish and his name was the best. He looked at all the brothers and sisters with a sense of superiority. Bio, Daddy, Mommy. The names of my brothers and sisters. Si Bao, that sounds so good, Daddy and Mommy. I want to call you Duo Duo. How about calling you Kai Duo Duo? Theft. Yi Fan was amused by his daughter's words. He is really a foodie. He thinks about food anytime and anywhere. Ever since Si Bao saw the rock rat eating the 5 elements soil last time, the little guy took advantage of the time when no one was paying attention and grabbed a handful of soil and stuffed it into his mouth, eating it with relish. If the second baby hadn't discovered it early, I don't know how much dirt the 4th baby would have eaten. Si Bao was spanked by Su Longyu and given a good lesson. Yi Fan also specially adjusted Si Bao's diet, supplementing her with zinc, iron and other elements to prevent her from suffering from pica. When taking care of children, all kinds of things often happen. Tired but happy. Chapter 241. Who is she? On a moonlit night, beside a deep pool of a waterfall, lay a wet, blood-soaked woman. The woman woke up slowly. Under the moonlight, this beautiful face belonged to Tang Luoyan. Tang Luoyan woke up in a daze, then frowned in pain. She felt like her whole body was falling apart, and she struggled to get up from the cobblestones. Looking around, she emitted a faint spiritual sense and breathed a sigh of relief when she sensed that there was no danger around. Then his eyes became blank, and then as if he remembered something, his black eyes were instantly filled with deep fear. I'm alive. She didn't kill me. Oh, is she? Li Changshu, controlled by Yifan, had not yet arrived at King Long Immortal City on this day, on Wangyu Island in Yunshu County. There was a constant fight. Shen Mailan, who was wearing a beige skirt and carrying a medicine basket, was defeated. Shen Mailan spat out a mouthful of blood and angrily glared at the late Foundation establishment male cultivator standing in front of her. I have never had any grudges against your Wu family, why did you arrest me? The male cultivator in the late Foundation building stage who was fighting with Shen Mailan was a member of the Wu family, named Wu Qiwei. Wu Qiwei said calmly, follow me, there is no need to waste time on such nonsense. Shen Mailan immediately threw the medicine basket towards Wu Qiwei. Immediately, a group of poisonous bees flew out of the medicine basket with a buzzing sound and attacked Wu Qiwei. Wu Qiwei glanced at him and said disapprovingly, what a trifle. Then, used the ultimate move to kill the poisonous bees. Shen Mailan took advantage of this time to tear off a small teleportation talisman that she had treasured for a long time and never used before, and then performed the blood escape secret technique, quickly escaping towards the direction of Wienexin Island. When Wu Qiwei caught up, Shen Mailan happened to escape into Wienexin Island. Wu Qiwei looked at Wienexin Island and frowned slightly. Before coming to this island, he had heard that the owner of this island was Yifan, the boss of Yuliang Xuan, and Yifan has a master who is in the late Jindan stage behind him. This was also the news that someone finally found out after batches of robbers died in Yunshu County during the turmoil in King Long Immortal City. Rumor has it that after destroying the Qiwai Valley in Lankayo County, the fake Danzan Renlin Changfeng entered Yunshu County and has not been heard from since. Even the Qianji sect, one of the top 3 sects, sent Jindan disciples to investigate the Qiwai Valley massacre and track down Lin Changfeng's gang of robbers, but there has been no news to this day. After learning that Yifan was the owner of Wienexin Island, many people secretly speculated that Lin Changfeng was most likely dead on Wienexin Island. Otherwise, it would be impossible for there to be no news after entering Yunshu County, especially since even the Jindan disciples of Qianji sect could not find Lin Changfeng. Wu Qiwei looked at the warm island in front of him with some fear in his dark eyes. He then took out a communication talisman, wrote the content on it, and used magic to control the talisman to fly into the warm island. At this moment, in Wenexinju, the injured Shen Mailan was telling Yifan about how the Wu family suddenly came to her Wangyu Island and kidnapped her early this morning. Moreover, he wanted to take her away without telling her the reason, but she refused and was chased all the way by the Wu family's late Foundation building cultivators. She begged Yifan to take her in. She took out a second-level physician's inheritance and her own notes of medical experience over the past few decades, and gave them to Yifan as a reward for Yifan sheltering her. Yifan didn't answer. Shen Mailan gritted her teeth, took out another jade box, and handed it to Yifan. Fellow Taoist Yi, this is the most valuable treasure I got from the Shaoxushan ruins, although I don't know what it is. I think it is very valuable. Please help me protect you just this once, brother Yi. Yifan took the jade box, opened it, and inside lay a piece of black animal bone, which was smaller in size than the one he had taken out from Treasure House No. 1 before. After studying the bone for several months, he concluded that there were treasure patterns on the bone. The secret method of spiritual patterns used by the witches in the Shaoxushan ruins was developed from the animal bones. He has only researched the poison wind spirit pattern on the piece of animal bone in his hand. However, this poison wind spirit pattern is very powerful in battle and can directly poison a cultivator in the early Jindan stage. Last time in the Shaoshu mountain ruins, he relied on these spiritual patterns, combined with the broken blade inscription and so on, to kill in one fell swoop the Qianji sect's early Jindan cultivator who wanted to kill him in Wu Bao. Although the piece of animal bone that Shen Mailan brought now was not as big as the one he got, it was also good. He took the jade box, the physician's inheritance and the notes, then took out the map of Wienexin Island and drew a territory for Shen Mailan. It was far away from Wienexin residence and was isolated by a third-level formation. Wienexin Island is very big, and giving a small piece of land to Shen Mailan is nothing. Moreover, the babies are young and often have headaches and fevers. It is more convenient to have Shen Mailan living on the warm island. As for the Wu family, he would not be afraid even if the Wu family's Jindan ancestor came. Shen Mailan's eyes immediately turned red, and she thanked them very solemnly. Thank you, brother Taoist Yi and Fairy Yu. After Yifan settled Shen Mailan, he swept his big hand, which instantly turned into an illusory green hand and grabbed the communication talisman flying in the air. Wu Qiwei, who was waiting outside the third-level formation of Wienexin Island, was getting a little impatient, but he still endured and continued to wait. At this time, a handsome and graceful figure came out from the third-order formation. It was Yifan. Wu Qiwei smiled and bowed. Master Yi, I am Wu Kiwi of the Wu family. I came to Yunshu County to find Dr. Shen because someone in the family was seriously injured and urgently needed a second-level doctor to treat the family. That's why I'm sorry for offending you. Please ask Island Master Yi to bring Dr. Shen out. Yi-fan, Dr. Shen doesn't want to treat your family members. Wu Kiwi paused. Master Yi, I know your master is a late Jindan ancestor. So we naturally dare not offend Wian Xen Island. However, Dr. Shen, please bring him out. Otherwise I won't be able to report back. Yi-fan said coldly. I won't say it again. Having said that, Yi-fan turned around and was about to leave. Wu Kiwi raised his eyebrows and got angry. He shouted, Yi-fan, don't think you are awesome just because you have a late Jindan ancestor now. The Taoist King Long is dead. King Long Immortal City will be our Wu family's territory in the future. Although our Wu family's ancestor is only in the middle Jindan stage, he is also protected by a late Jindan ancestor. Don't let yourself get killed for a mere second-level physician. Yi-fan turned around and smiled coldly. Pretty crazy. But Shen Maialan is under my protection after entering my Wian Xen Island. I don't care what happens to your Wu family. I don't want to hand over the people of Wian Xen Island, even if the King of Heaven comes to stop me. Wu Kiwi was so angry that his face was ferocious. You, very good. Yi-fan, if you don't accept my toast, I won't believe that your master will stay on your cozy island every day today. I will teach you how to be a good person and have a fearful heart. Chapter 240. To small in scale, but big in courage. As he spoke, Wu Kiwi stretched out his hand, summoned a spiritual sword, and attacked Yi-fan. At the same time, he also released a late-stage second-order spirit beast to block Yi-fan's way of retreat. Seeing this, Yi-fan snorted disaffectedly. You don't know how to live or die. And his figure turned into an afterimage, and the 8 late-stage second-order flying puppets directly trapped the late-stage second-order spirit beast Python. He, holding the Day and Wuji sword, rushed towards Wu Kiwi to kill him. In just 3 moves, Yi-fan stepped on Wu Kiwi from the air and knocked him to the ground, splashing a lot of dust. Wu Kiwi's spiritual beast, the Python, had been clamped by the flying puppet, and then was pierced through the entire body by the sharp horns of a seahorse that jumped out of the sea. Dead. When Wu Kiwi sensed the death of his spirit beast, his expression suddenly changed, and he looked towards the spirit beast in disbelief. Just in time to see the seahorse opening its mouth wide and biting off the python's body with a big hole in it piece by piece. No, how is that possible? And the next second, his entire body was stepped on by Yi-fan's foot on the chest. He looked at Yi-fan in disbelief again. He wanted to resist, but Yi-fan's feet were like a mountain, making it impossible for him to get up. How so? You. How can he be so strong? Impossible. You are only in the initial stage of foundation building. He is already in the late stage of foundation building. He couldn't even last 2 moves against Yi-fan, who was in the early stage of foundation building. Yi-fan, the world is big, your vision is too narrow. Dully, why did you suddenly come to Yunshu County to arrest Shen Maialan? He didn't think it was really as Wu Kiwi said, that someone in the Wu family was sick and urgently needed Shen Maialan to treat him. If this was really the case, they would not have to force Shen Maialan away, but would have sent a visiting card first and then invited Shen Maialan to the Wu family. There must be something fishy going on here. Especially since there are only 3 days left until Taoist King Long's funeral. Wu Kiwi, I have already told you the reason. Yi-fan stepped on Wu Kiwi's chest again, and Wu Kiwi spit out a mouthful of blood in pain. Wu Kiwi still refused to speak. Yi-fan stopped asking and directly grabbed Wu Kiwi's head. Wu Kiwi sensed something and was so scared that he quickly said, I'll tell you, don't use soul searching on me. Yi-fan snorted coldly. Wu Kiwi quickly told the truth about the reason why he came to arrest Shen Maialan. The funeral of Taoist King Long is about to be held at that time. Their Wu family will join forces with Yingzong's branch and King Shufang and other forces to attack Taoist King Long's disciples and seize the King Long Fairy City. During this period, in order to prevent King Long Taoist's apprentice from running away, their Wu family was responsible for inviting all the second level and above doctors near King Long Fairy City to be guests of the Wu family. This can avoid the situation where the seriously injured disciples of Taoist King Long who escaped in the battle receive treatment from doctors, and then come back to take revenge in the future. This time, they want to eradicate King Long Mountain completely. After listening to this, Yi-fan killed Wu Kiwi and used the soul-searching technique on Wu Kiwi before his sea of consciousness dissipated. There are no restrictions in Wu Kiwi's mind. No wonder he is so afraid of him using soul-searching techniques. When watching with soul-searching technique, it is similar to watching a movie at double speed. After watching, Yi-fan threw Wu Kiwi's body into the storage bag, and raised the corner of his mouth slightly inferently. Wu family, you really deserve to die, you are so bold. In the Wu family ancestral hall, a soul lamp in the front suddenly went out. Suddenly, the look of the man guarding the ancestral hall changed drastically, and he shouted, oh no! Ancestor Qi Wei is dead. The big bell of the Wu family was struck. The Wu family disciples gathered in the meeting room. Wu Qiwei is the Wu family's ancestor who was in the late foundation building stage and one of the Wu family's golden elixir seeds. But now he is dead. This matter was directly reported to Wu Shifeng, the Jin ancestor of the Wu family. Wu Shifeng frowned. Qi Wei died in Yunshu County? Isn't the most powerful person there just a new faked and named Ling Hu Kun? Hasn't Ling Hu Kun been invited to King Long Immortal City, not Yunshu County? Who else can kill Qi Wei? I'll go and take a look. The Wu family immediately said, Grandpa, there is no need to bother you to go in person for such a small matter. The funeral of the old thief King Long is about to be held this time. We don't know whether the old thief King Long is really dead or has been blown to death to clear obstacles for his disciples at the funeral. You have to stay here. Wu Shifeng, well, Hun Xin. You go there. We must kill those who dare to go against our Wu family in Yunshu County and spread the reputation of our Wu family. Wu Han Xin, the fake Dan Zhen Ren, immediately accepted the order. Yes, ancestor. If he dares to kill the golden elixir seed of our Wu family, I will make him die miserably. 2 days later, Li Changshu, controlled by Yi Fan, arrived at King Long, Immortal City. The funeral of Taoist King Long was held at King Long Square, the widest square at the foot of King Long Mountain. Not many forces came to attend Taoist King Long's funeral. No one came from Emperor Yingzong in Qiuyi Valley. Among the 7 great immortal cultivation families, representatives from 3 major families, the Sang family, the Shen family, and the Zhang family, came. No one came from the big chambers of commerce. But some representatives from small chambers of commerce did. Zhang Nanyang was sitting in the seat of the small chamber of commerce representative. Perhaps the people of King Long Mountain had already expected that not many big forces would come to the funeral of Taoist King Long, so they invited many small forces, including the island owner and peak owner of the remote Jinshu County like Yi Fan. Yi didn't come, and Ling Hu Kun sat in his seat on Lefeng Island. Yi Fan's Wienxin Island was actually located in front of Ling Hu Kun's Lefeng Island. Yi Fan looked at the arrangement of positions. It seemed that the people of King Long Mountain should have received the news that there was at least a golden core in charge of Wienxin Island. Otherwise, Wienxin Island would not be placed in front of Lefeng Island where the fake Dan Zhen Ren is in charge. Yi Fan took his seat. When Ling Hu Kun saw Yi Fan, he was stunned for a moment, then he greeted Yi Fan. My fellow Taoist, I am Ling Hu Kun, the island master of Lefeng Island. I wonder if island master Yi mentioned me to you? Yi Fan saluted with both hands. Hello, Senior Ling Hu, I am Li Changshu. Island master Yi is busy with housework and has no time to come, so he specially sent me here. Ling Hu Kun looked at Li Changshu's cultivation in the middle stage of foundation building. In addition, Huang Fuguai was Yi Fan's cousin, and Yi Fan was only in the early stage of foundation building. He became more and more curious about Yi Fan. However, he did not ask any more questions. After greeting Li Changshu, he stopped talking. The funeral began. First, the disciples of King Long Mountain cried, and then they circled around the coffin of Taoist King Long, and a Taoist performed a ritual. People from King Long Fairy City who were not invited also came to watch, but they all watched from a distance because everyone knew that this funeral was not ordinary. If they watched too closely, they might die while watching gossip. After the morning ceremony, the sacrificial text was read, which was recited by Gzi. I read it with tears in my eyes. Chapter 243. Yi Fan becomes famous. Although Gzi is the 38th disciple of Taoist King Long, he was abandoned at a young age and was taken back to King Long Mountain by Taoist King Long to be raised like his own son when he was trying to achieve the golden elixir. Taoist King Long used all kinds of connections and spirit stone resources to obtain spiritual objects for him to condense the golden elixir. Gzi has a deep affection for Taoist King Long. Yi Fan looked at these scenes with a gloomy expression. The world of cultivating immortals is even more cruel than the modern world. Once the pillar of the family falls, even the family business cannot be protected. Now that Taoist King Long is dead, a group of people are planning to attack King Long Fairy City. And these disciples of Taoist King Long be able to defend King Long Fairy City? This fairy city that has been glorious for hundreds of years is about to change hands. There is a long way to go in nurturing the next generation. Fortunately, he already has a daughter with natural spiritual roots and a son with earthly spiritual roots in the future. When the attributes of his spiritual needs are improved, the spiritual root qualifications of the child born to him and Su Long Yu will be better. We must continue to work hard to accumulate resources for the children to cultivate immortality. Moreover, one must work hard to practice the Qingyuan Cheng Sheng Gong and strive to achieve immortality. Watch the clouds rise and fall and dynasties change. Before you become invincible, it's better to stay hidden. After thinking this, Yi Fan left early without waiting for the funeral of Taoist King Long to end. However, he did not return to Wienxin Island immediately. Instead, he asked Li Changshu to go to Yeni so that he could collect the news from the Immortal City as soon as possible. At this moment, in Yunshu County, Wuhan Xin, the fake Dan and Ren of the Wu family, arrived. After Wuhan Xin captured a group of people and asked them about the situation, he looked towards the direction of Xin Island with a slightly focused gaze. Warm Island. Wuhan Xin's eyes darkened and his face was gloomy. I don't care what your name is, if you dare to kill my Wu family's golden elixir seeds, I will make you die miserably. Half an hour later, the pressure of a fake Danzin Ren level swept down from the sky above Xin Island. Immortals living in Qianha City were so frightened that their faces turned pale and they all knelt on the ground. This is horrible. What's going on? I don't know, a powerful immortal is coming. Sun Langshu, the mayor of Qianha City, was also frightened out of the city lord's mansion, came to the sky and looked at the huge energy in the distance. The cultivator at the first level of Keat Raining standing behind him said, City Lord, something terrible has happened. This level of pressure is too terrifying. Warm Island is in danger this time. Sun Langshu, what a danger. Our Xin Island is guarded by a third-order formation. How can ordinary cultivators attack it? Besides, how could the owner of our island who can afford to buy it be an ordinary person? Go down and practice well. Try to get selected when that person comes to our city to select spiritual farmers and spiritual plant husbands next time. After training his men, Sun Langshu looked in the direction of Xin residence. He will never forget the horrifying scene when the old ancestor whose face could not be seen descended on the day when the former island was officially renamed Xin Island. The level of terror there is not comparable to the little pressure today. After a moment, the pressure dissipated and two beams of light in the sky were chasing. In just a cup of tea, the entire island shook violently, and then everything returned to normal. The sky was blue with white clouds, as if everything that had happened before had never happened. Sun Langshu, sure enough, very strong. The old ancestor suppressed the invaders without even making a move. The new batch of immortal seedlings must be carefully selected. I hope Xin will send someone to watch the ceremony. If they can take one or two of them to Xin, it will be a great blessing. Shocking shouts were heard again from the Wu family ancestral hall. Oh no, Ancestor Han Xin has passed away. This time, the Wu family's big bell rang again, shocking everyone inside and outside. Ancestor Han Xin had already entered the realm of false elixir for hundreds of years, and had already reached the late stage of false elixir, but he also died in Yunshu County. What powerful person is there in Yunshu County? Could it be that there is a golden core ancestor? The news has come back. It was the island owner of Xin Island who killed our Wu family's Jindan Seed and Han Xin patriarch. What? The island master of Xin Island? Isn't that a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building? No, although he is a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building, he has another identity. He is the behind-the-scenes boss of Yuliangshuan, named Yi Fan. 2 years ago, when Queen Yamai openly killed Zhu family disciples at the gate of Qinglong Immortal City, it was revealed that the master of Yuliangshuan's boss Yi Fan was a great master in the late Jindan stage. Warm Island even has a third-grade superior spiritual vein, and there is also a third-grade formation on the island. Ancestor Han Xin outside Xin Island. He was killed by Yi Fan in just a cup of tea. Someone saw it with their own eyes. But, Yi Fan, who was in the early stage of foundation building, killed our Han Xi ancestor in less than a cup of tea without relying on the external force of the third-level formation and his golden elixir master. Yes, the video has been sent back. Check it out. This Yi Fan is so scary. He is definitely not just in the initial stage of foundation building, he is definitely hiding his cultivation. It might be an old monster with golden elixir. But, so what? Doesn't Yi Fan know our Wu family? He actually dared to kill our two ancestors without giving us face. He simply doesn't take our Wu family seriously. This matter must be told to the ancestors after the ancestors conquer Qinglong Immortal City. We will go to clean up that small Xin Island. Is it great to have a master in the late Jindan period? Let's see if his master in the late Jindan period will have time to take care of him after we conquer Qinglong Immortal City. The battle between Yi Fan and Wuhan Xin completely made him famous, and the fame of Xin Island also spread. Before, everyone was suspecting that the fake Dingji cultivator Lin Changfeng might have died on Xin Island. But now, everyone is certain that Lin Changfeng definitely died on Xin Island. Because Yi Fan has the strength to kill a real person in the late stage of fake Dan. Killing Lin Changfeng shouldn't be a problem. Bu Shifeng, Yi Fan, Yu Yangshuan? I remember them all. After the matter of Qinglong Immortal City is over, we will settle the accounts. Sure enough. Before the funeral of Taoist Qinglong was completely over, someone suddenly stood up and said that Taoist Qinglong had stolen his wife before, and that his death was retribution. Some people also said that Taoist Qinglong was too hateful and had robbed and tried to kill him before. But fortunately he was lucky enough to survive then. They scolded Taoist Qinglong again and started to stir up trouble. Taoist King Long's eldest disciple is named Song Shihui, female, who is in the middle stage of the golden elixir. Song Shihui immediately yelled at these troublemakers, and then started fighting, which became more and more chaotic. Zhang Nanyang had already found the right time and left early. Ling Hukan was at the scene, but he quickly stepped aside and only watched the battle without taking part. When Song Shihui was fighting with the opponent, she was suddenly stabbed in the chest from behind. She looked back and looked at the opponent in disbelief. 18th junior brother, you actually betrayed master. Betrayed me. Chapter 244 Wu Bao breaks through to the first level of key training. King Long Taoist's 18th disciple to Zifeng couldn't bear it and said, Big sister, don't blame me. I have no choice now that our master is dead. We can't defend King Long Immortal City. You are so filial to master, you should go to the underground to accompany master and continue to show your filial piety to master. As he spoke, Zifeng stabbed deeper with the sword in his hand. When Zifeng was about to kill Song Shihui, suddenly, a great force knocked Zifeng away. A light apricot figure came from far away and carried Song Shihui away. A person who came was none other than King Long Taoist's former Taoist partner Kaisi Hong, a cultivator in the late Jindan stage. Even though Kaisi Hong came, she was still unable to turn the tide. Besides, she was not from the southern region, but from Zongshu, and was only the former Taoist partner of King Long Taoist. Now King Long Taoist was dead, and she only rescued the people. As for the other disciples of King Long Taoist, those who rebelled and surrendered to the enemy survived, while those who did not rebel all died in this battle. Taoist King Long did not appear throughout the whole process, and it seemed that he was really dead. Duan Di Lai, the late Jindan ancestor of the Yingzong branch who captured King Long Immortal City, immediately called on the monks to hunt down Kaisi Hong and kill the two people taken away by Kaisi Hong. They must never leave any source of trouble. If you don't remove the roots of the grass, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. This kind of thing happens frequently in the world of immortal cultivation. After capturing King Long Immortal City, Wu Shifeng, the ancestor of the Wu family, was extremely proud. Although he was injured in the battle, it was all worth it. At this moment, the Wu family also handed the information of Yifan and Yu Yangzhuan to Wu Shifeng. Looking at the information of Yu Yangzhuan, he was slightly surprised. This Yu Yangzhuan is developing quite well, and the profit is so considerable. The things they sell are also very unique. The pill for prosperity and fertility. This pill is pretty good. When the time comes, we will find the alchemist who made this pill and lock him up to make the pill for prosperity and fertility every day. Very good. Yu Yangzhuan will change his last name soon. Let's go to Warm Island. As for Yu Yangzhuan, he will not touch it for the time being. After killing Yifan, Yu Yangzhuan will naturally be his. The management personnel inside will not be moved for the time being. When the time comes, he will place his own people in it little by little. After mastering the operating secrets inside, he will kick out all the old people in Yu Yangzhuan. On Yifan's side, he had already learned the latest news about King Long Immortal City from Li Changshu. After a sigh, he stood up and went outside, just in time to see Dabao and the others gathered together in the yard, hawking in baby voices. Fifth sister is shining. Fifth sister, what's going on? Big brother, do you want to call daddy and mommy to come over and take a look? Mom is taking a nap, dad is practicing. I'll go call Aunt Song to come over and take a look. Aunt Song is Song Kiao Zhi who takes care of them. Sibao suddenly saw Yifan coming out of the room and shouted in surprise, Daddy? Yifan walked over with a smile, and Dabao and the others immediately made way for him, revealing Wu Bao, who was meditating on a stone pillar under a big tree. At this time, Wu Bao's whole body was emitting a water blue light. Visible spiritual energy was drawn from all around and entered into Wu Bao's body. Yifan showed a look of joy. Not bad. Wu Bao was trying to reach the key training stage. Before, Wu Bao was at the innate realm and had not yet officially entered the key training realm. Now this is the breakthrough to the key training realm. Yifan immediately asked Dabao to bring his younger brothers and sisters to watch from the side, and then explain to them what was going on with Wu Bao. Dabao, practicing key? Erbayao, Daddy, what is key training? Sanbao, Daddy, is this cultivation? Sibao, Daddy, after practicing key, can I make anything I want to eat appear? Yu Bao and the others looked at Yifan and then at Wu Bao with confusion and curiosity. Qi Yi Bao's eyes rolled around, and she immediately imitated Wu Bao, finding a place to sit down like a little adult. Then she watched how Wu Bao placed his hands and imitated him, and he closed his eyes like Wu Bao. Yifan smiled and explained the realm of cultivation to the little ones. While talking, he would also demonstrate some small magic spells to lay the foundation and basic knowledge of cultivation for the babies in advance. Originally, he planned to wait until the babies were 5 years old before starting systematic instruction. However, after witnessing the decline of King Long Fairy City, he felt that he could still give the babies some enlightenment and education before cultivation. Looking at Wu Bao's posture, it shouldn't be a problem for him to reach the key training realm this time. Wu Bao only has low-grade spiritual roots, but if Da Bao and the others are taught well, they may be able to embark on the path of cultivating immortals like Wu Bao before they are 5 years old. But he would not force their children to learn too fast. This age is a time for fun. Those who don't want to learn can continue to play, and those who want to learn will be patiently taught by him. After listening for a while, Erbio and Sibao felt it was too boring, so they ran to Wu Bao to watch. Da Bao and San Bao listened very carefully. Liu Bao and the others kept calling Yifan and continued to perform magic, such as setting fire, freezing, etc. Suddenly, the spiritual energy fluctuations around her increase, and the light blue halo on Wu Bao's body formed a ball of light that enveloped her. Erbao, wow. Sibao, wow. What a big blue ice cream. Daddy, no, my fifth sister has turned into an ice cream. Seeing this, Yifan smiled with satisfaction and said, your fifth sister didn't turn into ice cream. She successfully broke through to the key training realm, the first level of key training. Your fifth sister is now a formal cultivator. Dabao's big black eyes were full of envy. Sanbao's face was also full of envy. Erbio, wow. Sibao. Daddy, has fifth sister become even more powerful? If Yi wants to eat peaches in the future, can she just ask fifth sister to help Yi pick them from the tree? Yifan, of course. For a cultivator at the first level of key training, flying up a tree and picking peaches is a piece of cake. After hearing this, Sibao was filled with envy and shouted that he wanted to become as powerful as him so that he could pick whatever he wanted to eat. She was envious of the large forest of spiritual fruits in the back mountain. At this moment, Wu Bao opened his eyes, and there was a calm look in his eyes, as if he had known that he would definitely make half of the breakthrough. She saw Yifan and called out in a baby voice, Daddy. Yifan, congratulations to our Yin Ran for officially becoming a key training cultivator. Daddy, we'll cook a delicious meal tonight and we will celebrate properly. Sibao immediately interrupted and counted on his fingers all the dishes she liked. Erbio also quickly said that she wanted to eat roast goose, toast, etc. Yifan suddenly sensed that the spiritual energy was fluctuating again. He looked in the direction of the fluctuation and saw that the spiritual energy around him was drilling into Shi Yibao's body. Ethan let out a light exclamation. He had just observed that 11th treasure was imitating the 5 treasures in sitting, but cultivation required a method. One could not just sit there and close their eyes to bring spiritual energy into the body. Chapter 245 Yifan obtains a 3rd stage late stage combat pet. So he just thought that Shi Yibao was just imitating him for fun. Unexpectedly, Shi Yibao was able to guide the spiritual energy into his body. A talent of Tianling Zhen is really extraordinary. He had heard before that people with natural spiritual roots were very powerful. He had also met Su Wanli, who also had natural spiritual roots, but he didn't think they were that strong. However, he still envied people with natural spiritual roots for not breaking through the bottleneck before forming a nascent soul. They were definitely nascent soul seeds. At this moment, he saw with his own eyes that his daughter, who was born with natural spiritual roots and was less than 1.5 years old, had followed the 5 treasures meditation method and entered the innate realm. Just like that, Wu Bao entered the innate realm in the Shaoxushan ruins before. That was because Wu Bao had a secret. Shi Yibao has absolutely no secrets, but the little guy has been very smart since he was in the womb. He is good at bullying the weak and fearing the strong, and telling tales. As expected, natural spiritual roots are awesome. Da Bao was stunned. Daddy. 11th sister. The 11th sister actually created the same situation as the 5th sister just now, although not as much as the 5th sister. He knew that this should also mean that the 11th sister has embarked on the path of cultivating immortals. He wants to too. He is the big brother. Yifan fondly patted Dabao's little head and said with a smile, Ting An, don't worry, you can do it. To just follow what Daddy said today and practice more. Dabao nodded vigorously and seriously. There was also a gleam in Sanbao's eyes. When Yifan saw Sanbao's desire to cultivate immortality, his heart sank slightly, because Sanbao had no spiritual roots. After absorbing the spiritual energy, Shi Yibao officially entered the innate realm. That night, Yifan cooked a large table of dishes, all of which were the babies and their mother's favorites. Everyone's stomach was full from eating so much. Su Longyu was also very surprised that Wu Bao, who had low-grade spiritual roots, had actually become a formal key cultivators. He was also surprised that Shi Yibao, who was less than 1.5 years old, had actually embarked on the path of cultivation. As expected, he is worthy of being her and Yifan's child, so strong. 3 days later, the very ordinary iron leaf boat flew into Yunshu County and stopped above Wianxin Island. Then a communication talisman flew into the warm island. After a while, the handsome Yifan came out from the warm island. The people were seen standing on the iron leaf boat, a man and a woman. They were dressed in ordinary clothes and had unfamiliar faces. Their cultivation levels seemed to be in the initial stage of foundation building. Moreover, the woman was seriously injured. The man, he used the treasure to take a look and was slightly surprised. These two people were Jizi, who had changed his appearance, and King Long Daoist's eldest disciple Song Shiwei. Yifan, what's up, you two? As soon as he finished speaking, Yifan received a telepathic message from Jizi. Island Master Yi, it's me. Jizi from King Long Immortal City, and the one next to me is my senior sister Song Shiwei. I know that coming to you at this time will cause you trouble, but we really have nowhere else to go. My former master's wife has held back the people who are trying to kill us. The junction between the southern region and Zongshu is also heavily guarded. We have no way to leave the southern region, so we can only come to your Wienexen Island. I hope that Master Yi can let us stay for a few days. Once my senior sister's injury is healed, we will leave immediately and will not cause any trouble to Master Yi. There's no tail behind us either. Jizi never thought that in the past he had invited Yifan to join their King Long Mountain as a guest official in King Long Immortal City. Unexpectedly, now with the death of his master, their King Long Mountain has completely collapsed, and he even has to ask Yifan for help. He had considered a lot before coming to Wienexen Island to find Yifan. After all, the Yingzong branch, the Wu family and several other major chambers of commerce are offering high rewards for him and Song Shiwei. He exposed himself in front of Yifan like this. As long as Yifan had other intentions, he and Song Shiwei would be killed without a burial place. Yifan frowned. Jizi continued to transmit, Master Yi, I know you have extraordinary energy. Before my master passed away, he left behind his late-stage third-order battle pet, the one-horned, two-headed bird. Although the two-headed bird was injured and regressed to the middle-stage third order, it is now in a weak state, but as long as it is given a good environment to heal, it can recover to the peak strength of the late-stage third order. My elder sister and I can give you this two-headed bird as a reward for your protection. How about that? After saying this, Jizi looked at Yifan with some uncertainty, and there was a pleading look in his eyes. From Lang Fuguai's identity, he guessed that Yifan's network of contacts must be very extensive. In addition, a recent news that Yifan had killed the Wu family's golden elixir seeds and a fake elixir, as well as the former fake elixir cultivator, all showed that Yifan's own strength was very strong. Even Yifan himself has good connections in the Lan Yu sect. Yifan, come in. He had seen Taoist King Long's third-level war pet from afar when the beast tide broke out in the past. It was extremely spectacular and powerful. He didn't expect that Jizi would actually use this war pet to trade with him. He naturally couldn't tame a late-stage third-order battle pet, but he had an awesome wife plus. Since Jizi was trading the two-headed bird, it must have been recognized by the two-headed bird also. The late-stage third-order monster had already developed intelligence and should be able to speak human language. So there is no need to worry about the two-headed bird turning against you. When Jizi heard this, his face lit up with joy. He immediately supported the weak Song Shiwei and followed Yifan into the warm island. Wienexen Island is very big. Yifan chose a place far away from Wienexen residence and took Jizi and the others there. There is no house here. You can figure out a solution yourself. Jizi quickly thanked and said, this is already very good. There is a third-level spiritual vein here. My senior sister and I can recover faster from our injuries. Thank you, Island Master Yi. As he spoke, Jizi took out the spirit beast bag, handed it to Yifan, and told Yifan that the one-horned headed bird was in the spirit beast bag. Yifan didn't check it immediately. He nodded and left with the spirit beast bag. After returning to Wienexinju, he gave the spirit beast bag to Su Longyu. Su Longyu summoned the two-headed bird. Just as Jizi said, the two-headed bird's strength had regressed to the middle third stage, and it was seriously injured and very weak. The two-headed bird looked at Yifan and Su Longyu, and when its gaze fell on Su Longyu, it froze slightly, and he spoke to Yifan in human language. Young man, Jizi mentioned this to me before he came, and I agreed. I will be your battle pet from now on. You are only in the middle stage of foundation building now, so you cannot sign a contract with me. However, if you are worried, I can give my child to you for the time being. As it spoke, the two-headed bird weakly lifted its abdomen, and a tiny, super mini beige bird came out from the dense feathers of the two-headed bird with a confused look on its face, looking around curiously and a little timidly. Chapter 246, Wienexen Island is a tiger's den. The little guy seemed to have been born only a few days ago. It seemed that the two-headed bird was so weak, not only because it was suppressed by hostile forces, but also because it had just given birth not long ago. The cub was born by a third-stage late-stage flying monster. The cub was only a few days old, making it very suitable to be a spirit pet playmate for children. Yifan accepted the cub of the two-headed bird and arranged a place for it to recuperate. This place is quite far away from Wienexinjuan where Jizi and the others live, and is surrounded by a third-grade superior formation. As soon as Yifan left, the two-headed bird, which was about to recuperate, suddenly looked towards the ground, and a dark purple vine emerged from the ground, looking at it greedily. Our daughter late-stage Great Perfection Demon Star Vine, and it's king level, and it's also a heavenly bloodline. The two-headed bird was shocked. Demon Star Vine, don't worry. The master won't let me eat you. Otherwise it really wanted to eat this weak two-headed bird. The two-headed bird was shocked again. The owner of the demon starvine. Who is it? That young man Yifan? Impossible. Yifan is only in the middle stage of foundation building, he can't even control it, let alone control the third-order late-stage peak demon starvine with heavily bloodline. Especially since this demon starvine has demonic properties. If one is not careful, it may cause the cultivator to go astray. Become a murderous demon. It thought of the woman in white who was standing next to Yifan at that time. She was Yifan's Taoist partner. The cultivation level displayed was only at the initial stage of foundation building. However, it could feel that her cultivation was definitely not just at the initial stage of foundation building. But he couldn't be sure of her cultivation level. Could it be that the woman in white was Yifan's master in the late Jindan stage that Jizi had mentioned before? Very likely. Only a cultivator in the late Jindan stage can control the demon starvine, which is at the peak of the late third stage. Otherwise, the demon starvine would have devoured its master long ago. A two-headed bird looked at the demon starvine, and although it said it would not eat it, it did not leave the bloody mouth transformed by the vine, kept drooling at it. The two-headed bird only felt a chill on his back. I feel that agreeing to let GZ come to Yanexan Island to avoid his enemies is probably a wrong decision that leads to walking right into a tiger's den. A quarter of an hour later, the two-headed bird wiped the sweat from his forehead, smiled, and said, "Senior, can you please stop staring at me?" The demon starvine's saliva flowed even more. The two-headed bird's hair stood on end. It deeply regretted coming to Yanexan Island. This is really a tiger's den. Is there any regret medicine? Urgently needed. When Yifan returned to Yanexinju, he saw Erbiel and the others squatting on the ground, surrounding the two-headed bird cub and watching it curiously. Liu Bao boldly stretched out his little hand to touch the timid two-headed bird cub. At this time, the two-headed bird chick looks like a 10-day-old chick. It is very small and has only one head. It is very cute. When Liu Bao touched its little head, it didn't dare to resist and behaved well. Seeing that it didn't resist, Liu Bao was delighted and said, "Be good." He Bao and his friends saw that the two-headed bird cub was very well behaved. They were a little timid to touch it before, but now they lined up excitedly to touch it. When Erbio saw Yifan coming back, he ran over and shouted excitedly, "Daddy, the new chicken you bought this time is so well behaved. Not naughty at all." Ji Bao hugged Yifan's thighs, pointed with his chubby little hands at the little yellow chickens that were waiting in line to have their heads touched, and said, "Daddy, cock, wow, wants it. See Bao, Daddy? Stew this chicken with mushrooms for me tonight. I want to eat chicken stewed with mushrooms. It is super delicious." As soon as Sibao finished speaking, Da Bao slapped him on the head. "Samai, this is not a chicken. The chicken doesn't look like it." "Daddy, what on earth is this?" Yifan smiled and said, "This is indeed not the edible chicken that we bought before. This is a spiritual beast cub, a two-headed bird cub. Its mother is very powerful, so you can't eat it." Yifan touched Chi Bao's little head again and said with a smile, "Yuanayan, this cub is only temporarily living in our house. And there is only one, so I can't give it to you, but you can play with it. You can also give it a nickname." The two-headed bird did not reveal the name of its cub, but for convenience, the babies can give the cub a nickname. Chi Bao was obviously unhappy. But in the end he grinned at Yifan and ran to see the little yellow chicken. Yifan gave the task of naming the little yellow chicken to Dabao, and asked Dabao to help his younger brothers and sisters come up with nicknames for the cubs. Dabao was very happy to accept this task. The babies were very interested in naming the chicks and started speaking one by one. Sibao was not very interested in this. She poked Wu Bao with her arm, and then took Wu Bao to the side. He took out a very beautiful stone and said to Wu Bao in a very mysterious way, "Umei, now that you have magical powers, can you turn this stone into a chicken, the kind that can be eaten?" Wu Bao shook his head. Sibao immediately pouted. "Didn't Daddy say that if you have magical powers, you will become an immortal? Can't an immortal transform into anything?" "Wu Bao, that's an illusion. It can be conjured up. But in essence, it's still stone." As he spoke, Wu Bao used a small spell to turn the stone in Sibao's hand into a cooked roast chicken. Sibao's eyes lit up, and regardless of Wu Bao's words, he simply lowered his head and started to bite the roast chicken. Her teeth ached and she looked at Wu Bao in pain. Wu Bao turned the roasted chicken back to stone. "It's still stone in nature, so it looks like roasted chicken, but it's still stone and can't be eaten." Sibao seemed to understand something, but also seemed to understand nothing. His big eyes were blank. 2 days later, because the babies were all seriously naming the chicks, the names have not been decided yet outside the Yanexan Island. The Wu family's ancestor Wu Shifeng, who was in the middle stage of the Jindan stage, arrived. Wu Shifeng's voice penetrated the entire Yanexan Island. "Yifan, I, Wu Shifeng, have arrived. Why don't you come out immediately? You are courting death." As soon as these words were spoken, They contained the great pressure of a middle-stage Jindan, which frightened the mortals in Qian Ha, I city on Wienexan Island so much that they immediately prostrated themselves on the ground. Several of them, who had a bad mentality, suffered a myocardial infarction and died on the spot. Shen Miaolan also heard these words at her residence, and her face changed drastically. Oh, no, the Wu family actually sent their golden core patriarch over here. I have caused big trouble for fellow Taoist Yi. She regretted it deeply and flew to Wienx Inju immediately. As for the two-headed bird, after sensing Wu Shifeng's magical power, it just opened its eyes slightly, then closed them again, and continued to practice and recover from its injuries with peace of mind. He is just Wu Shifeng in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm? There are so many secrets on this island, and you dare to act rashly with just Wu Shifeng? It's just one more person delivering the storage bag. Chapter 247. Patriarch Wu was horrified. What is this? Jizi and San Shui also opened their eyes. Jizi, big sister, I didn't expect that the old thief from the Wu family would chase us after we arrived at Wienexan Island just 2 days ago. You continue to recuperate here. I'm going to go meet the old thief from the Wu family. Although San Shui had rested for 2 days, she was still very weak because she had used a powerful spell that consumed her cultivation while being chased. This damaged her foundation and she would not be able to recover for a while. Even a foundation building cultivator can kill her at this moment. San Shui, okay? If you die, I will kill myself and won't cause any trouble to Island Master Yi. Jizi nodded seriously. This time when Wu Shifeng came, it was not known how many Jindan cultivators would come with him. It was very likely that Duan Dilai, who was in the late Jindan stage, would be one of them. If Duan Dilai and others come, they will really die this time. Because both San Shui and the two-headed bird were unable to fight. Although the two-headed bird's strength had been reduced to the middle stage of the Golden Core, it was still unable to defeat him because it had been seriously injured and had just given birth. He is the only one who can fight. Jizi quickly arrived at Wienx Inju and met Yi Fan. He said to Yi Fan very apologetically, Island Master Yi, I'm sorry, I didn't expect that we were discovered by them after only 2 days. I have brought you great trouble. I will leave now if I die in battle. Yi Fan raised his hand, you don't have to go out. Jizi looked confused. Yi Fan, since you have been accepted into Wienexan Island, you and your senior sister can stay here peacefully. It's just Wu Shifeng. It's different to have a powerful empress wife that gives you confidence. Even when the old thief Wu, who was in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm, came over, he was not afraid at all. He was even looking forward to it. After all, this would give him another mid-stage Jindan corpse in the storage bag of the Wu family's ancestor. TSK, the storage bag of the Jindan ancestor of a large immortal cultivation family must be filled with abundant immortal cultivation supplies. The coming of old thief Wu had nothing to do with GZ and the others. It was probably because he had killed 2 cultivators of the Wu family before, and the ancestor of the Wu family came here to establish his authority and take revenge. GZ looked at Yi Fan in shock, swallowed his saliva, and said, Island Master Yi, this Wu Shifeng is the ancestor of the Wu family. In the middle stage of the Golden Coral, though he was injured in the previous battle, he is still very strong. He had almost been killed by Wu Shifeng before. If Queen Yama had not suddenly appeared and intervened, he would have died that time. Later, he returned to the Immortal City and told his fellow brothers and sisters to go out less. But one of them, who was in the early stage of the Golden Core realm, still died at the hands of Wu Shifeng. The gap in strength between the early stage of Jindan and the intermediate stage of Jindan is too big. There is no way to win. What's more, Yi Fan is only a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation establishment, although no one knows how Yi Fan killed the fake Dan. The distance between a faked and real person and a middle stage golden and is tens of millions of miles, and a middle stage golden and can easily kill a faked and real person. Yi Fan, yeah, I know. She had previously used her identity as Queen Yama to scare away Wu Shifeng. GZ didn't know what to say. He just felt that at this moment, Yi Fan's figure in front of him suddenly rose from the ground and became super tall and majestic. Somehow, before his brain could react, he was already kneeling on one knee on the ground. Master Yi, I don't know what to say. As long as we are still alive today, from now on, my life will be yours. As he said this, GZ also made a bow to his inner demons. Not long after GZ left, Shen Miaolan came over. She was similar to GZ. She also came to apologize to Yi Fan, and then said that she would go out and confess to the Wu family, saying that she did everything. Yi Fan said, don't worry about this matter, it's just a Wu family ancestor, I can destroy him with just a wave of my hand. Even if an old ancestor from the King Shufang branch of the Yingzong sect came over, he would not be afraid. Shen Miaolan was extremely surprised, then she thought of something and immediately knelt on one knee on the ground, expressing her loyalty to Yi Fan and making the same oath as GZ. After Shen Miaolan left, Yi Fan sighed in this battle of Immortal City. He was the only one who could fight personally, but he didn't expect that in the end you would have to more attackers and a warp head in the late Jindan stage. Moreover, there are only GZ and Song Shuiai left in King Long Immortal City now. It is estimated that most of the resources accumulated in King Long Immortal City over the past hundreds of years are in their hands. In the future, GZ may be able to achieve the nascent soul stage. TSK. I now have an additional nascent soul seed subordinate, so this deal is not a loss. Immediately, he shouted to the sky. Big star, go! A dark purple vine emerged from the ground and transformed into a small head, which strongly expressed its dissatisfaction with Yifan calling it Big Star. Yifan patted the demon star vine's head and said, "Let's go to work." The demon star vine bared its teeth at Yifan, wanting to open its bloody mouth and eat the man in front of it. But it didn't dare to, especially when it remembered that it had once secretly eaten a hair of Yifan, and was severely beaten by its master. Its vine body trembled 3 times. He immediately became obedient. A vine was actively separated. Yifan stepped on it, rushed out of the attic directly, and flew outside the Wianexan island. Wu Shifeng looked at Yifan, who came out of the cozy island stepping on the vines, and sneered, "Yifan, I didn't expect you to be so courageous. You really dare to come out and die." He was ready to forcibly attack the 3rd level formation of Wianexan island. "I didn't expect Yifan to come out on his own initiative." "Very good. Saves effort." Yifan snorted coldly, "I didn't expect you to be so courageous. You dare to come to my Wianexan island and act so presumptuous." Wu Shifeng was stunned for a moment, then burst into laughter. "This is the first time I've heard such funny words. You are just a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. And you dare to say this to me? Do you think that if you can kill the fake Danzan Ren, you can kill me? You are too arrogant. You saw the treasures your master gave you. Otherwise, when the fight starts, you won't even have time to use them. Don't worry, after you die, I will make good arrangements for your Wianexan island in Yuyangzhuan. Yifan. What the hell do you want?" As he spoke, Yifan stepped on the demon star vine, which could no longer be restrained. The demon star vine immediately and rapidly split into countless vines, each vine emitting a dark purple mist, and the vines covered the sky and the sun. In an instant. It was as if I had entered a demonic realm. Wu Shifeng was stunned for 2 seconds. This? Then there was horror. What is this? Never seen it before. The fear from his soul did not stop at all, but instead made him want to escape immediately. He felt that the blood in his body was beginning to boil abnormally. Yifan thought of something and sent a message to the demon star vine. "You can only kill, you can eat the corpse. And you can't explode the corpse." The demon star vine twisted quickly, expressing its dissatisfaction to Yifan and indicating that it wanted to eat. "Yifan, try eating one, and I will tell my wife about it. Do you believe me?" Demon star vine. Chapter 248. Tang Hong Ui is going to enter Wianexan island. Under Yifan's golden medal with the 3 words, "My wife," the demon star vine only stimulated the blood and energy in Wu Shifeng's body, making Wu Shifeng on the verge of exploding. And then a vine pierced his chest. The golden elixir in Wu Shifeng's Diantian was shattered in one fell swoop. Wu Shifeng didn't even have time to use his Taoist magical powers or magic weapons before his golden elixir was shattered by the opponent. He looked at Yifan, who was floating in the middle of the entire demonic realm, in horror. He never imagined that when he was at the peak of his career, he would die at the hands of a mere middle-stage foundation-building cultivator. "I am so blind. I didn't even realize that Yifan had hidden his cultivation. I didn't realize that Yifan actually had such a terrifying spiritual plant. This is definitely a spiritual plant with peak combat power at the late 3rd stage. Moreover, it is much stronger than ordinary spiritual plants with peak combat power in the late 3rd stage. Because he has fought with the Taoist King Long's late 3rd stage combat pet 2-headed bird, there would never be a situation like now where he was unable to fight back and had his DNTNTN shattered by the opponent. So horrible. Who exactly is this Yifan? He knew that he was finished this time, and was about to send a warning to the family members who followed him, asking them to immediately stay away from this horrible Wam Island and the horrible Yifan. However, his spiritual consciousness was isolated, and the communication talisman he sent out at the last moment of his life was also directly cut off. He regrets it so much. Wu Shifeng is dead. At this moment, the Wu family was decorating the house with lights and colors to celebrate their successful defeat of the King Long Mountain disciples and the capture of the King Long Fairy City. Suddenly, a sharp and miserable scream was heard from the ancestral temple. "Ancestor. Oh no. The ancestor has passed away." As soon as these words came out, the big bell of the Wu family was struck 22 times. This meant that their Wu family had encountered a 1,000-year catastrophe. All the Wu family members rushed to the lobby. When the senior members of the Wu family who rushed to the Wu family ancestral hall saw that the soul lamp of their ancestor Wu Shifeng was extinguished, their faces instantly turned pale. Some even asked, "Is there something wrong with the soul lamp? How could the ancestor die?" "Impossible. A King Long immortal city had been conquered. It was the time when the Wu family was shining and won the title of the #1 immortal cultivation family. How could the family's only golden elixir ancestor possibly perish? The face of the Wu family's supreme elder turned black, and he immediately gave the order, asking all family members outside to return to the family immediately and to start closing the mountain gate. When the Wu family members who were happily taking over the King Long mountain industry in King Long Fairy City received the communication talisman from their family, they were stunned where they were. I even wondered if I was dazzled or saw it wrong. At such a good opportunity, how could the family summon all the members of the clan back to close the mountain gate? This is what one would do when a genocide is imminent. However, when he rubbed his eyes and used his spiritual sense to sense the contents of the communication talisman again, it still said that they should return to the mountain gate immediately after 1 month. The mountain gate will be officially closed and will not be open within 300 years. On Wienexin Island, the Wu family members on the Wu family flying boat looked at the dark purple fog that suddenly appeared in front of them without any worry. All they were thinking about was how they would ask their ancestor for the good things on Wienexin Island after their ancestor occupied it. But when the fog dissipated and they could no longer sense Wu Shifeng's spiritual aura, they were all shocked. In particular, they were even more shocked when they saw Yifan still floating in the air intact. Where is the ancestor? How come Yifan is fine? Everyone looked at each other. Then, one of the Wu family members stepped forward, glared in Yifan's direction, and shouted, "Yifan, where is my ancestor?" "Yifan, of course I killed him." The Yi family disciples shouted angrily, "Arrogant." Just when all the disciples of the Yi family were preparing to kill Yifan together, a huge wave hit and directly knocked all the disciples of the Wu family over, and they fell into the sea one by one. A figure of Tang Hong or Yui appeared in the air, standing with his hands behind his back. "Who dares to kill Master Yi Dan?" Tang Hong or Yui shouted coldly. A powerful aura of magic made it impossible for the Wu family disciples who fell into the sea to float out. It was not until Tang Hong or Yui withdrew his magic power that these Wu family disciples floated to the surface in a miserable state. Then, someone got the news that their ancestor had passed away, and then transmitted the news to other disciples. Then, these Wu family disciples looked at Yifan in horror. Afterwards, he fled rapidly, frantically using various spells, spiritual weapons, escaped talismans, etc. Tang Hong or Yui came to Yifan and said with a smile, "Master Yi, what a coincidence. I didn't expect to see you here. They didn't hurt you?" Yifan shook his head. Inwardly, how did I meet Tang Hong or Yui here? Behind him is his wife and 11 babies. Tang Hong or Yui glanced at Wienexin Island and said, "Is this island yours?" Yifan, "Yeah." Tang Hong or Yui touched his chin and said, "There is something to it. There is actually a hidden Thorder formation on it. It seems that this is where Junior Sister Wen hides her beauty." Tang Hong or Yui, why don't you invite me in to sit down? As he spoke, he suddenly sensed something and shouted in one direction, "Friend Chen?" Chenjuaner, who was about to flee. But she could only put on a smile and ride her flying sword to Tang Hong or Yui, shouting respectfully, "Hello, Grandpa Tang." She came to Wienexin Island today, and unexpectedly she happened to see the demon star vine killing the ancestor of the Wu family. She was going to meet Yifan after watching it, but unexpectedly Tang Hong or Yui showed up. She was about to run away, but she didn't expect to be sensed by Tang Hong or Yui. I had no choice but to come and see Tang Hong or Yui. In his heart, he thought, "It's over, it's over. Tang Hong or Yui is here, and he has to go to Wienexin Island." When Tang Hong or Yui sees you and the children, will he be so scared that he wants to kill Yifan? She was really anxious. Tang Hong or Yui nodded, then introduced Yifan to Chenjuaner. "Chenjuaner, I know him. Not only do I know him, I'm also the godmother of his child." Tang Hong or Yui was surprised. "Oh?" Then he smiled and said to Yifan, "It seems that Master Yi Dan is very famous." Chenjuaner said, "The robes in the moon pavilion opened by Yifan are very beautiful. Grandpa Tang, I just met my mother. She told me that she has something to ask you. Has she contacted you? Do you want to go meet her? At critical moments, you still have to rely on me, your godmother, to be reliable." Tang Hong or Yui looked at Chenjuaner, who had a smile on her face. Tang Hong or Yui felt something was wrong, very wrong. When Sha Ben comes to see me, will she talk to the little girl Chenjuaner? Moreover, why would Sha Ben come to find me? Tang Hong or Yui was ready to wait and see what would happen, and said, "Your mother hasn't told me yet that she has my contact information." Then Tang Hong or Yui smiled and said to Yifan, "Master Yi, I'm a little thirsty. Do you mind if I go to your warm island to have a cup of tea?" Chapter 249. Tang was shocked. Yifan and the saint had a second child out of wedlock. Chenjuaner really wanted to wink at Yifan, but was afraid of being revealed. He wanted to send a message to Yifan, but was afraid that Tang Hong or Yui would hear it. After all, he was an old ancestor in the middle nascent soul stage. Fan, of course I don't mind. Mr. Tang, Fairy Chen, please. Ang Hong or Yui stepped into the warm island with great satisfaction. Chenchuaner was shocked. Did Yifan know that the person in front of him was the Grand Elder of Lanyu sect? She immediately said, Grandpa Tang, I heard that your Lanyu sect is starting to select a saint's son? Yifan, I have already given you a very clear hint. Are you sure you still want to bring Tang Hong or Yui to Yanexan Island? Tang Hong or Yui, where did you hear the news? Chenchuaner glanced at Yifan and saw that he was unmoved. She really felt like the emperor was not anxious, but the eunuch was. I had no choice but to say, I listened to what my mother said. It is said that the Lanyu sect will start selecting a saint's son. Our Woyan sect will also put the matter of the saint's son on the agenda. Grandpa Tang, I have tea here. What's so good about the tea on this cozy island? You might as well go to my place and drink tea. Ang Hong or Yui looked at Chenchuaner and said with a loving smile, the tea you have is indeed good. But I, your great-grandfather Tang, can't get used to it. Master Yidan's alchemy skills are very good. And the tea on his island must be extraordinary. Go and taste it. Chenchuaner, what are you thinking about? I'll make some big news and scare you to death. Then let's go there. The scenery there is nice. Chenchuaner immediately pointed to a place with beautiful mountains and rivers, which was quite far away from Wienxinju. Tang Hong or Yui, my dear Chen, this is Master Yi's territory. We will go wherever Master Yi says to taste tea. Don't be rude. Chenchuaner looked at Yifan with a fierce look, as if she would get angry and hit him if Yifan refused to go to the place she designated for tea. Yifan, listen to Fairy Chen. Ang Hong or Yui raised his hand and pointed in the direction of Wienxinju, and asked, Friend Yi, where is that? I feel a familiar smell. Chenchuaner only felt her heart beating in her throat. Yifan, that's where I live every day, Wienxinju. Tang Hong or Yui. That place is nice. More elegant than the one chosen by Chen Xiaoyu. How about going to Wienxinju to have tea? Chenchuaner really wanted to say, no, Yifan, okay. Chenchuaner felt like her head was about to burst into flames. Yifan, you are looking for death. I have already reminded you that this is someone from the Lanyu sect, so why are you not in a hurry at all and look so calm? Chenchuaner really wanted to send a message to Su Longyu, but she was afraid that Tang Hong or Yui would find out, so she had to hold it back. I hope you has already taken the 11 babies away from Wienxin Island so that Tang Hong or Yui won't find out. If she had known earlier, she should have sent a message to Yu when she saw Tang Hong or Yui for the first time outside Wienxin Island. What to do now? Chenchuaner followed nervously all the way to the warm home that she was very familiar with. As soon as she landed, she knew it was over. All over. Because it happened that Erbio and Liu Bao ran out of the house at this moment. And the two little girls looked very similar to Su Longyu. And since Serbo and the others are here, it means that Su Longyu did not take the babies away from Wienxin Island. Patty. Godmother, Erbio shouted happily. Chenchuaner really wanted to find a hole in the ground to crawl into at this moment. How could she have forgotten about this? Ang Hong or Yui looked around, and finally his eyes fell on Chenchuaner. Godmother? Chenchuaner's face looked bitter. Ang Hong or Yui felt that his brain was almost not enough. Not only did they see two more little ones, but one of them had the same bone age as Yifan's daughter Yinran, whom they had seen before in the Shaozhushan ruins. The other one was 1 year younger than Yinran. However, these two little girls looked a lot like little Yinran, and also like the saint when she was a child. But it be that when Chan King gave Yifan to babies, one of them was twins? What was even more shocking was that one of the little girls actually called Chenchuaner godmother. This generation is wrong. Grandpa Tang, a cold and familiar voice came. Tang Hong or Yui looked over in surprise and saw Su Longyu in white clothes walking out of the house. And he saw Yu Bao running to Su Longyu, hugging her legs, and calling in a baby voice, Mom. Tang Hong or Yui. My head is buzzing. Mother. The little baby called the saintess of their Lanyu sect mother. Yifan daddy. And Chenchuaner, godmother. In other words, he was wrong from the very beginning. When Chan King treated Yifan with special favor because Yifan was her son-in-law, the saint got married and had a child. The sect doesn't know anything about it. And I didn't know she gave birth to one, but two babies. His expression suddenly became extremely serious. The atmosphere around him became cold. Chenchuaner rushed to hug the second baby, fearing that Tang Hong or Yui would kill the babies in anger. Yifan. Mr. Tang, please come in. Tang Hong or Yui. Please come in. Do you know what you have done? Tang Hong or Yui stared at Yifan coldly. Yifan took out a pill and said, Tang Lao. The pill I just developed recently is more effective than the one I gave to Senior Fang Xuan last time. With this improved pill, Senior Fang Xuan may be able to cure his stubborn disease in less than 2 years. Tang Hong or Yui. Su Longyu walked up to Tang Hong or Yui and said, Grandpa Tang, I heard from my mother some time ago that you came to the border, But I never found the time to visit you. It just so happens that you came to our Wien island today. Please come in, the tea is ready. Tang Hong Rui. Chen Chuaner's eyes rolled around. Wait. It seems that Yu has known that Tang Hong Rui was out there for a long time, and Yi Fan can actually cure Tang Hong Rui's grandson's infertility. This is absolutely right. Everyone in the upper echelons of Lan Yu sect and Luoyan sect knew that Tang Hong Rui had a biggest worry, which was that his grandson was infertile and their lineage would be cut off. Now Yi Fan has directly refined the elixir, and it is not a elixir that can cure the disease in one go. This equivalent to strangling Tang Hong Rui's neck and trying to drag Tang Hong Rui onto their worship. Thinking of this, she laughed inwardly. All the previous worries disappeared in an instant. I'm not afraid anymore. Smiling, he took her Bio's hand and walked forward, saying, Grandpa Tang, I heard that when elders meet younger generations for the first time, they always prepare a gift for them. And Master Yi Dan is so amazing that he can actually cure Uncle Fang Xuan's illness. Master Yi Dan is a great benefactor to your Tang family. You can't miss out on a gift for Master Yi Dan's children. I'll go call everyone out to greet Grandpa Tang. Chapter 250. Tang Hong Rui was shocked. The saint gave birth to 11 babies. Before Tang Hong Rui could react, he saw Chen Chuaner bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little babies are out. Adding the 2 little babies from before, there are 11 little babies in total. Moreover, among these 11 babies, 5 have the same bone structure and age, and the other 6 have the same age and bone structure. The most important thing is that these little babies, the girls look very much like Su Longyu when she was a child, and the boys look very much like Yi Fan. That made his eyes blurry. Did he disturb the doll's nest? Have you entered kindergarten? Are these all born from saints? Are they all Yi Fan's children? My heart is about to stop. He must be dreaming, and it's a nightmare. He immediately closed his eyes and thought to himself, may the 3 pure ones bless me. I was definitely dreaming. But when he opened his eyes, what he saw were 10 little babies looking at him with curious and cute eyes. And there was a chorus of babyish shouts. Hello, Grandpa. Hello, Grandpa. Tang Hong Rui felt like he was having trouble breathing, and his eyes suddenly fell on Wu Bao, who looked inconspicuous but familiar among the group of babies. And then his eyes widened. This little fellow. It has only been a short time, but he has already broken through from the innate realm to the key training level. And his gaze fell on the pair of eyes staring at his 11th treasure. Wow, this little guy, only 1.5 years old, has already entered the innate realm. Su Longyu, Grandpa Tang, let me introduce you. This is Wu Bao. His name is Yi and ran after he went to the Xiaoshushan ruins with Yi Fan last time. He broke through to the first level of key training on his own. I heard from Yi Fan that you two have met before. This is Shi Bao. Her name is Yi Shuo and my mother personally found a master of Xuanmen to give her this name. I have already tested her using our sect's secret method and it turns out that she has the talent of a natural spiritual root. This is Da Bao. His name is Yi Ting An. He has the qualification of Earth spirit root. This is our second treasure, Yi Luxi, whose spiritual roots are also very special. Su Longyu then introduced each baby, and those whose qualifications were below Earth's spiritual roots, she said that their qualifications were very special. In my mother's eyes, even if the baby has a top-grade spiritual root, his qualifications are very special and there is nothing wrong with him. Si Bao, Grandpa, you haven't given us any spiritual fruit to eat yet. Liu Bao, fruit. Tang Hong Rui looked at Si Bao and Liu Bao who were looking at him innocently. Chen Chuaner immediately smiled and said, Grandpa Tang, look, Yu has introduced the babies to you one by one, and you haven't given them any gifts yet. You don't need to give too much. Just one gift for each person. It can be a high-grade spiritual stone, a 1,000-year-old red fruit, a 4th-level monster's inner elixir, a 4th-level monster's skin, an innate spiritual treasure, or something like that. Just give anything you want. Tang Hong Rui came back to his senses and the corner of his mouth twitched violently. Can this gift be given casually? Even if I give the least amount of high-grade spirit stones, I have to give 11 pieces. Tang Hong Rui, Xuaner, your mother sent me a message and asked me to meet her. I'm leaving now. After saying this, Tang Hong Rui turned into a ray of light and disappeared in an instant. Chen Chuaner immediately shouted, Grandpa Tang, don't go. Her mother never said she wanted to see Tang Hong Rui. She said that before because she wanted to get Tang Hong Rui away. Grandpa Tang, remember to prepare a gift for the meeting. The babies are looking forward to it. I know Grandpa Tang is the most generous. Tang Hong Rui, who had just escaped from Wien Island, twitched his mouth violently. He continued to flee without looking back. Fled towards the direction where Wen Shan King lived. This matter is too serious, and junior sister one must be severely condemned. How dare you let the saint do such a thing? She secretly gave birth to 11 children for other people. must be condemned. Ang Hong or Yui found Wen Chan King. Wen Chan King has learned from her daughter that Tang Hong or Yui has met his 11 grandchildren. He took out the spiritual tea that he usually didn't want to drink, and with a smile invited the gloomy-faced Tang Hong or Yui to sit down and drink tea. At this moment, in her eyes, Tang Hong or Yui had become a moving treasure house. The 11 gifts haven't been given yet. Da Bao and his friends are about to celebrate their 2.5-year-old birthday, which is great. Tang Hong or Yui said with a straight face. Don't laugh. Wen Chan King smiled and said, okay, don't laugh. Senior brother, what do you want to talk to me about? Tang Hong or Yui glared at Wen Chan King, but Wen Chan King continued to smile. Tang Hong or Yui was about to speak in a cold voice, but Wen Chan King asked with a smile, brother, how is your Fang Xuyuan's health now? Don't worry, Yifan and I have some friendship. I will definitely ask him to treat your Fang Xuyuan with all his heart. Tang Hong or Yui. Ang Hong or Yui. Don't think I don't know what you are up to. It's useless to mention my Fang Xuyuan now. Do you know that this has become a big deal? No one can cover this up. This concerns the reputation of our entire sect. The saintess of our Lan Yu sect must either stay single or marry the saint son of our sect. There is absolutely no other possibility. How could you be so foolish? You actually let the saintess do such a ridiculous thing. If I hadn't considered that you are my junior sister and Changming is my junior brother, I would have reported this to the sect long ago. After saying that, Tang Hong or Yui drank up the tea in the cup in one gulp. Wen Chan King smiled and poured tea for Tang Hong or Yui. Then said, don't be angry. Being angry is not good for your health. In fact, there is a way to solve this problem. Let Yifen be the holy son of our sect, isn't it? Tang Hong or Yui. Are you kidding me? I admit that Yifan is indeed excellent, but he is still far from being the holy son of our Lan Yu sect. First of all, his spiritual roots are only of the upper grade. How can he convince others? The holy son of our sect not only has the opportunity to marry the holy daughter, but also means that he will receive the greatest resources of the sect for cultivation. In the future, he may even become the sect master. So many eyes are watching. If you want to favor Yifan, you must get the consent of others. The leader of Lan Yu sect will only be chosen from among the holy sons and holy daughters. Whoever is more powerful between the two will be the next sect leader. Wen Chan King smiled and said, brother, I know everything you said. Don T think that Yifan's spiritual roots are only of the upper grade now. He has cultivated the King Wu's spirit body. He is particularly talented in cultivation. In the future, he will cultivate the Yin Dharma body. By then, he will definitely meet the standards of a candidate for the Holy Son. Besides, how could I possibly favor Yifan when it comes to such an important matter as selecting the sect's Holy Son? I will definitely be fair and just. It's only been over a year since Changming entered the Tianzi's secret realm. Our saint's son can't be chosen right away. We have to at least wait for Changming to come out. Right? When Changming comes out of the Tianzi's secret realm, Yifan must have cultivated the Yin Dharma. Chapter 251. Skyge Gamble. Plus his other talents. By then he will not only cultivate Yin Dharma, but also break through to the nascent soul realm. The four arts of cultivation, such as formation, elixir, weapon and talisman, will all break through to the fourth level. Moreover, Yifan will be less than 100 years old at that time. Oh my god, such an outstanding talent should be more than qualified to serve as the holy son of our Lan Yu sect. Right? Tang Hong or Yui. Ang Hong or Yui stood up and said, junior sister, you have a fever. We'll talk about it the next day. When Chan King pulled Tang Hong or Yui down and said, I don't have a fever. You think I'm bragging, right? How about this, let's make a bet. Let's set 100 years as the deadline. If Yifan has done everything I just said 100 years later, you must unconditionally support Yifan to become the holy son of our Lan Yu sect. When the time comes to vote for the holy son candidate, you must vote for him. If Yifan doesn't do what I said after 100 years, I will compensate you with 100 high-grade spirit stone. Show about that. 100 high-quality spirit stones. Tang Hong or Yui looked at Wen Chan King in surprise. He knew best how stingy his junior sister was. She could haggle with people for a low-grade spirit stone for a whole day, and when she went out for dinner, she would always bring her own drink so that she didn't have to treat him back. As well as entering the secret realm, wherever his junior sister passed by, not only the grass on the ground, even the soil on the ground would be dug up 3 feet deep. When faced with a favor, he would find an excuse to slip away. In short, don't let her spend money and everything will be fine. Now, his junior sister actually dared to take out the sky price of 100 high-quality spirit stones to bet with him. Is she so optimistic about Yifan? Thinking about his grandson's illness, he still needed Yifan's treatment, and he would definitely not lose from this bet. Being able to earn 100 high-quality spirit stones from his junior sister is enough for him to brag about for hundreds of years. Tang Hong or Yui, okay? When Chan Qing saw that Tang Hong or Yui agreed, she immediately smiled and wanted to sign a bet with Tang Hong or Yui. This kind of bet uses the heavily Dao contract and the oath made by both parties for ancestors like them, who are at the nascent soul stage. If they sign this kind of bet, they must fulfill it if they lose. After Tang Hong or Yui signed the bet, he looked at Wen Shan-king in surprise. He didn't expect Wen Shan-king to take this bet so seriously. Did she really trust Yi Fan so much? This young man Yi Fan, with the strength of the middle stage of foundation building, killed an inner disciple of Qianji sect who was in the early stage of golden core in the ruins. He was indeed amazing. However, there is still a huge difference in fighting methods between the Qianji sect's early Jindan and their Lanyu sect's early Jindan. Their Lanyu sect mainly practices sword skills. The sword cultivators' fighting methods were extremely sharp. In addition, if Yi Fan wants to run for the title of Holy Son, then those competing with him will not be ordinary inner disciples or elder disciples, but the true prodigies of the Lanyu sect. Each one released can sweep across the same realm of the Southern Territories cultivation world, as well as kill enemies across realms. In addition, the resources they have obtained since childhood are very abundant. And they have never been troubled by resources. They are protected by bodyguards outside and will not die easily. And they also have many treasures on them. Thinking of this, Tang Hong or Yui shook his head. However, he thought of Yi Fan's two daughters, Wu Bao and Shi Yi Bao. Suddenly he thought of something and asked Wen Shan-king, Junior's sister Wen, tell me the truth. How many babies did you Sheng Envi and Yi Fan give birth to? Wen Shan-king raised two fingers. Tang Hong or Yui asked in disbelief, 2 babies? Wen Shan-king smiled and nodded. Tang Hong or Yui? 11 babies into births? Wen Shan-king, yes, the first one had 5 babies, and the second one had 6 babies. Tang Hong or Yui? If Yi Fan cures his grandson's illness this time and prescribes some medicine for him, can his grandson also have 2 babies? Yi Fan must have some secret method to allow Su Longyu, who is in the Jindan stage, to give birth to so many babies. Thinking of this, he seemed to see the scene of his own children and grandchildren. After curing his grandson, can he also cure his son? Can he also cure himself? The more he thought about it, the more Tang Hong or Yui felt his breathing quicken. When Shan-king looked at Tang Hong or Yui and guessed what he was thinking, although Tang Hong or Yui looked normal. Didn't she know what he was thinking? She smiled and took a sip of tea, saying, when my family Yu gives birth to 3 babies, it will also be multiple babies. No matter whether it is true or not, just brag about it first, arouse Tang Hong or Yui's expectations, and meet his needs. Sure enough, Tang Hong or Yui looked at Wen Shan-king with some heated eyes. Wen Shan-king continued. Yi Fan is indeed very good. Shaban has often told me these days that if her daughter Xuaner finds a Taoist partner in the future, she should ask Yi Fan to help her daughter Xuaner adjust her body first. Oh, by the way, when Shaban visited my grandchildren last time, she brought a lot of gifts. I told her that she didn't need to bring any. But she insisted, saying that the babies were so cute and that she had to give them gifts. Not only did she give gifts, she also gave gifts for the baby's full month and first birthday. On Yi Fan's side, after Tang Hong or Yui left, Chen Xuaner took Su Longyu away to talk in private. Yi Fan took the babies to play. It was summer now, and the babies loved playing in the water. But the pool was too deep and the seaside was too dangerous, so Yi Fan specially dug a large pool, controlled the water depth, and taught the little ones how to swim one by one. The little ones learned it very quickly, and now they all know how to swim. And they often shout to go swimming. Yi Fan also made a lot of fun toys for the swimming pool, such as water guns, yo-yos, slides, etc. The swimming pool is turned into a big water park. The babies were having a lot of fun playing there. Yi Fan found a shady place and began to check the spoils of killing the Wu family ancestor today. In addition to obtaining a corpse in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm, he also obtained the storage ring of the Wu family's ancestor. This storage ring has a very large space, a full 10,000 cubic meters, which is larger than the one he used before. The things inside are also varied. In addition to a very gorgeous flying boat, there are also countless various monster materials, spirit stones, talismans, spiritual weapons, etc. The most noteworthy thing is that there are as many as 20 top-grade spirit stones, and there are also many third-level secret techniques. However, because Wu Shifeng's major cultivation was the gold spiritual root, all the secret techniques collected by Wu Shifeng were of gold attribute. Although he could not use them, he could give them to his babies in the future. Hey, this is it, Yi Fan said as he picked up one of the black jade boxes. After opening the jade box, he saw a land deed lying inside. This deed shows 1/5 of the land of Qinglong Fairy City, and the ownership location is drawn on it. The most important thing is that, for some unknown reason, Wu Shifeng did not imprint his soul on this deed. It's like a blank check. Yi Fan only needs to brand his soul on it, then the land on the title deed will be his. Chapter 250 To the Bold 11 Treasures. Yi Fan immediately did not hesitate to brand his soul on the deed. As the title deed gleamed, the title deed was completed. At the same time, in the cabinet of the City Lord's mansion of Qinglong Immortal City, On the map of King Long Immortal City, and originally dark area emitted a faint golden light at the same time, two words appeared in this area, Yifan. This means that this area belongs to Yifan. However, because the map was hidden in the cabinet, the people who occupied King Long Fairy City were all handing over things, drinking and celebrating, etc., and no one noticed the changes here at the map. On Yifan's side, after branding the title deed, he put it away and then continued to check the things in the storage ring. I saw an ancient book in a corner. As time goes by, this is a wood attributed technique, and it's a top-level technique. You can cultivate to the late Jindan stage. The more Yifan read the content of this technique, the more surprised he was this technique actually had such an effect. When this technique is cultivated to the golden core stage, it can actually produce a kind of reincarnation light. The light of samsara can cause enemies who are hit to lose their lifespan. And the number of years of life lost is equal to the number of years lost by the caster of the light of samsara spell. No wonder this top-level technique, which looks really good, was thrown into a corner by Wu Shifeng. After all cultivators want to pursue immortality. Even many immortal cultivators, worried that their lifespans are coming to an end, would choose to spend a large sum of money to buy longevity pills. How could I use my own life to exchange for the life of another person? However, this technique is indeed very suitable for me. Because I practiced the King Yu on longevity technique, my lifespan is twice as long as that of cultivators at the same level. Not only that, when others take the same level of longevity pills, their lifespan will only increase after they take the first pill, but I can take at least 5 pills. This technique is good. You can practice it. If I happen to encounter an opponent who has a short lifespan, I will use the light of reincarnation to reduce the opponent's lifespan with my own lifespan, and kill him directly. Awesome. However, this technique requires the practitioner to reach the golden core realm before the light of reincarnation can be cultivated. This light of reincarnation is not available for the time being. I don't know where Wu Shifeng got this technique from. It looks like there will be a sequel to this technique. It will probably be similar to the Great Evolution Sword technique I practiced before. This is just a fragment. After putting away the skills, Yifan searched the storage ring again and found another good thing. Spiritual Lesson Spill, a third stage late stage pill. After taking it, one's combat power can be instantly doubled. Moreover, this is a top grade spiritual essence still. After taking it, it will not harm the user's body. What a good stuff. Some other pills that increase combat power will cause some degree of damage to the body after taking them. Some may even damage the root bones, leaving indelible wounds. As expected of the Wu family ancestor, one of the 7 great immortal cultivation families, there are so many treasures in his storage ring. Making a fortune. In the evening, Yifan was told by Su Longya that a birthday party would be held for the babies who were 1.5 years old. 1.5-year-old birthday party? Yifan was stunned. Su Longya showed Yifan the text message that Wen Chan King sent her. After Yifan saw it, the corners of his mouth twitched, and then he said, "It just so happens that last time Li Bao and his friends held their first birthday party, I, as their father, was not at Wienexen Island this time. They have to celebrate their first birthday. So I have to make good arrangements. Let's pick a time." After some discussion, the two decided to postpone Liu Bao's 1.5-year-old birthday party to half a month later. This time he sent an invitation letter to Fatty Wang. In the past, the babies never invited Fatty Wang to their birthdays the last time they met. Fatty Wang specifically mentioned this and asked the babies to remember to invite him next time they have their birthdays. After sending the Wanli communication talisman to Fatty Wang, Yifan began to practice. Hang Hong or Yu I already knew about him and Su Longyu. Although they had him in their hands, it wouldn't be long before everyone in the land, Isek knew about him and Su Longyu's relationship. He has to work harder to practice. The sonship. He will definitely try hard to get it. 3 days later, Su Longyu taught Yifan, who was practicing in the room. Daughter-in-law. Su Longyu was a little angry, and then pointed at the babies who were having fun playing in the water not far away. The babies said they haven't seen their daddy for many days, and they want you to play with them. Yifan looked at Su Longyu's cute angry look, was stunned for a moment, then slapped the back of his head. Then he remembered that he had been immersed in cultivation recently and forgot to care about his wife and children. However, the children had so much fun playing in the water that they had long forgotten about their father. He smiled softly and said, "Wife, you want me to play with you, right?" Su Longyu blushed and turned away. "Nothing." Yifan pinched Su Longyu's chin with one hand and turned her face to him, then he leaned over and put his handsome face in front of her, casting a shadow on her beautiful face. Looking at Su Longyu blinking her eyes, he smiled softly and said, "Really? We have already given birth to a second child. Wife, you are not honest. If you want me to, just tell me. We haven't practiced in Shuize Cave Heaven for many days. Have you thought about it?" Su Longyu's face turned even redder, and her eyes glanced elsewhere. Her soft hands on both sides grasped her white skirt tightly, biting her lip and saying, "No." Ifan admired his white sheeness and her toughness. He smiled and said, "Wife, do you know where the hardest part of your body is?" Sulong Yu. Ed. Ifan, mouth. Common name. Hard-mouthed. Sulong face turned red and she glared at Yifan coquettously. This glare made Yifan feel itchy, so he lowered his head and sealed her lips. He stretched out his long arms, picked her up by the waist, and amid her screams, he laughed and strode into the house with her in his arms. Sibao, who was playing in the pool not far away, heard Yifan's laughter, looked over immediately, and then shouted in surprise, "Daddy is out? Let's go play with Daddy." Dabao held her back. "Fourth sister, Daddy finally came out, let him and Mommy play for a while, we will wait until Daddy and Mommy come out. Then we will go play with them." Sibao, why? Habao. Listen to me. Sibao, oh. Chiyibao's eyes rolled around. And he grabbed the little yellow bird that was swimming happily on the water, quietly went ashore, and then quietly walked towards Yifan and his family's house. Just as the little yellow bird was about to call, Chiyibao covered its mouth and said, "Be good, don't call later, you can help me see what my parents are playing with." Chapter 253 Daddy, why are you suppressing Mom? The little yellow bird was so scared that it was shaking all over, and its little head was shaking as fast as a rattle. Chiyibao slapped the little yellow bird on the head and said fiercely, "If you don't help me, I will." He said something in baby language, which roughly meant that if the little yellow bird didn't help him with his work, he would pluck all the little yellow bird's feathers. A little yellow bird's head drooped. Chiyibao smiled and said, "Be good, I'll give you food when the time comes." As he spoke, Chiyibao gestured to something, which was a spiritual fruit. The little yellow bird looked very conflicted, but finally seemed to have made a decision and chirped twice softly at Chiyibao. Chiyibao smiled and touched its little head, saying with great satisfaction, "Good boy." A little baby in diapers with a little bird flying beside him quietly moved towards the window outside Yifan and his friend's house. At night, the loud crying of Chiyibao was heard in the room. The Bao and the others looked towards Yifan in his room in confusion. While eating, Erbio asked quietly, "Brother, what did 11th sister do? Why was she beaten so badly?" Dabao shook his head. "See Bao, I saw him bringing the little yellow bird to the window of Daddy and Mommy's room in the afternoon." Little Yellow Bird was the name the 11 babies finally gave to the two-headed bird's cub. San Bao, I saw my mother come out not long after and took away the 11th sister and the little yellow bird. While eating, Liu Bao asked, "Do you want to be spanked just for looking at me?" Qi Bao, 11th sister was beaten so badly. Baba, oh, I feel pain in my butt too. In the room, Su Longyu held a feather duster and pointed at Shi Bao. Shi Bao said to Su Longyu in a flattering way, "Mother, I know I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again, please don't hit me." Crying very loudly. The fight hasn't even started yet and he's already crying so loudly. Su Longyu looked at Yifan. "Look at your daughter, she is so bold. She even dared to sneak under the window of our house and peek." Fortunately, she and Yifan had not taken off their clothes at that time. Otherwise, it really is. This 11th daughter is really too bold. Yifan said soothingly, "Don't be angry. Don't be angry, you and Ian is just curious. You didn't see anything, did you?" When Shiyibao saw his father speaking for him, he immediately whimpered, "Mom, I really didn't see anything. I only saw Daddy pressing on you." The little yellow bird didn't see anything either. "Daddy is on top of Mommy, what is he doing?" Yifan's old face turned red and he turned his back. Su Longyu stood up quickly with a serious expression and raised the feather duster. Shiyibao had no choice but to close his eyes and stretch out his little hand. Su Longyu hit her little palm with a feather duster, controlling the strength just right so it would hurt, but not too much. Chiyibao immediately burst into tears. "While you Osmo other, I know I was wrong." He howled loudly, "I saw nothing, I didn't see Daddy pressing on Mommy." Su Longyu quickly covered Chiyibao's mouth. But it was too late. Bao came over with his brothers and sisters and asked curiously, "Mom, is Daddy on you?" "Second sister, that's not right. 11th sister said that she didn't see Daddy pressing on Mommy, so that means Daddy didn't press on Mommy." 10 little ones, each with a sentence. At this moment, Su Longyu just wanted to find a hole in the ground to crawl into. Yifan turned around, smiled and called the babies over, saying, "Babies, Daddy is on top of Mommy. This is a way for Daddy to express his love to Mommy. This method will make Daddy and Mommy happy and joyful." Erbio immediately asked, "Can we also express our love this way?" Yifan immediately said seriously, "No, this is not allowed. Only adults, and adults who are in love, can express love like this. Children are not allowed to do this. And when you grow up, if the other person doesn't want to, you can't do this either." Erbio seemed to be thinking about something. Sambo blinked. Sibao's eyes rolled around, and he asked, "Daddy, I saw you pressing down on Mommy before, and the bed was still moving. Why do you want to rock the bed to show your love? The little ones are full of curiosity and have excellent memory. Su Longyu kept her back turned and her face flushed as she was asked this question. I never thought there would be a day like this. Li Fan looked at the children's innocent and curious eyes, endured the huge pressure, and explained with a smile, rocking is also a way for daddy and mommy to express their love. You are not allowed to learn these. Also, this is a secret between daddy and mommy, please don't tell anyone, can you do that? When Su Longyu heard the last sentence, she suddenly had an urge to commit social suicide, as if she had already seen a day in the future when a little baby in her family would say in public that my father often bullies my mother. Next time, I must activate the fog formation, and not let the baby see what's going on inside the house. Also, you must not think that you can do anything just because the babies are asleep, they may be pretending to be asleep. You must go to a room without babies to play that. First lesson for new parents. Su Longyu remembered it clearly. Sure enough, there were too many babies, although Da Bao, Bao, San Bao, Wu Bao, Qi Bao, Ba Bao, Yu Bao and Shi Bao kept their mouths shut and didn't tell anyone about it. Si Bao sold the news to Chen Chuaner when he wanted to find her to eat the spiritual fruit. When Wen Shanqing came over, Liu Bao was talking to Wen Shanqing in a babble, gesticulating and telling her about this matter. When Shi Bao was taken out to play by Su Wanli, he accidentally revealed this matter. Hence, Chen Chuaner. When Shan King and Su Wanli all knew that daddy was pressuring mom. Chen Chuaner covered her mouth and laughed. You, I always thought you were the one who was suppressing others. When Shan King, you, don't be so impatient, next time you have to set a good example for the children. Don't be so impatient and do that to Yi Fan in front of them. Su Wanli asked out of pure curiosity. Sister, why is your brother-in-law pressing on you? Don't you feel heavy? What is it that needs to be suppressed? Sister, please don't hit me. I'm just curious. I won't ask anymore. The 1.5-year-old birthday party of Liu Bao officially began. When Shan King also sent an invitation to Shi Shaoban, and Shi Shaoban said that she just felt the opportunity to break through. It is not suitable for her to go out recently. She should concentrate on practicing and strive to break through to the third level of the early nascent soul stage in one fell swoop. She also expressed her best wishes to Liu Bao and the others on their 1.5-year-old birthday. Chapter 250. For shocking, 11 treasures broke through to the middle stage of key training. It was a sunny day with white clouds cutting through the azure blue sky. In the courtyard was sky blue and white as the theme colors. A flash of red light flew into the yard. When the red light dissipated, Tang Hongyui's figure was revealed. Tang Hongyui's cultivation level is shown to be in the initial stage of foundation building. Senior brother is here. When Shan King, who was enjoying watching her adorable grandchildren playing in the yard, saw Tang Hongyui coming and stood up to greet him with a smile. Then he called the babies over. Erbio recognized Tang Hongyui at a glance. Grandpa. Si Bao, Grandpa, you haven't given Yi any fruit yet. Liu Bao, Grandpa, Guo. Qi Bao, Grandpa. The glowing stone. Tang Hongyui first took out 1100-year-old red fruits and handed them to the little darlings one by one, and then took out 11 red high-quality spirit stones. One for each of them. Even though his flesh was in pain, he still had to keep a smile on his face. Who made Yi Fan so awesome in treating infertility? It can also allow people to have multiple births. This ritual must be performed. The money for 11 high-quality spirit stones is not much less than the money he paid Yi Fan to treat his grandson's illness. It really hurts. Although he is the grand elder of Lan Yu sect, 11 top-grade spirit stones are still very expensive for him. When Shanqing saw this scene, she was so happy that she taught the babies to say thank you, Grandpa. The 11 little ones thanked Tang Hongyui one after another. Afterwards, when Shan King let them play by themselves and told them not to eat stones, the 11 little babies ran to the side. And the 11th baby came to the 8th baby. Sister. He pointed with his little finger at the high-grade spiritual stone in Babio's hand that was emitting red light. Give me this, and I'll give you this. As he spoke, he took out a beautiful flower. Babao liked flowers, so he exchanged the glowing stone in his hand with Shi Bao. When Shi Bao saw that he had obtained a glowing stone so easily, he immediately followed the same method to find Yu Bai and Shi Bao, and exchanged the stones with his two brothers using the snacks and toys that they had hidden. When he was about to go find Liu Bao to exchange it, Wu Bao stopped him. Fifth sister, 11th treasure, called out naively. Wu Bao took a look at the red light emanating from Shi Bao's trouser pocket, and Shi Bao immediately covered his trouser pocket to block the red light emitted by the top-grade spirit stone. Wu Bao, enough is enough. Shi Bao looked at Wu Bao with a pure and lovely face. Wu Bao just glanced at her and then left. After seeing Wu Bao leave, Shi Bao looked at the stone in Liu Bao's hand with some envy, but finally left and returned to her small room. Then she took out the 4 top-grade spirit stones she had obtained, put them on the bed excitedly, and then drooled at the spirit stones. After the little guy drooled at the spirit stones for a while, He couldn't help it anymore. He picked up a spirit stone and carefully put it into his mouth. I know I can't eat this, but I feel my body craving it. After trying various methods, such as putting it in the mouth, on the ears, stepping on it, pressing it with the body, etc., none of them worked. She shook her head and placed the spirit stone on her belly button, trying to stuff it into the small hole. Suddenly, the red light turned into strands of silk threads and drilled into Shi Yibao's belly button from the spirit stone. She seemed to sense something and immediately closed her eyes. On Wen Shanking's side, Su Longyu and Yi Fan came out of the kitchen, and Chen Chuaner and Su Wanli also rushed over from outside. Ang Hong are you? I said to Yi Fan. Master Yi, congratulations. Does Master Yi still have the newly refined elixir you mentioned last time? The last time he left Wianexin Island, he forgot to take the pill. I regretted this a lot after I returned. Otherwise, his grandson would have recovered half a month earlier. Yi Fan took out a jade box and handed it to Tang Hong are you? After giving it to my grandson, you can bring him to Wianexin Island when you have time. I will check his pulse and see what's going on. Tang Hong are you? I took the jade box with a happy look on his face. Okay, thank you for troubling Master Yi. Su Longyu said, I'll bring the babies over and take a group photo. Tang Hong are you? I immediately waved his hand. No need for a photo. Took a photo together. If the fact that Yi Fan and Su Longyu were married and had children was exposed in the future, whoever got the photo and the group of people from the Lanyu sect, including the old man Shimen, knew about it, wouldn't they know that he was hiding it on purpose? Chen Chuaner smiled and said, Grandpa Tang, don't be shy, it's just a group photo. Today is the baby's birthday. What are you afraid of taking a group photo? Wen Chan King, that's right. Yi Fan is working so hard to treat your Fang Sun on T-spoil is fun. Su Longyu had already gone to call the babies. She didn't see Shi Yibao, but she didn't care because some things needed to be done quickly. She brought the 10 little ones outside to Yi Fan, then start manipulating the photo stone to take pictures. Tang Hongyue looked extremely embarrassed and wanted to run away in anger, but his grandson's illness had not been cured yet. He had originally planned to keep it a secret for Su Longyu and the others. And once his grandson's illness, or his own and his son's illnesses were cured, he would just walk away and pretend that he had seen nothing. Even if the affair between Su Longyu and Yi Fan was discovered by the people from Lanyu sect in the future, it would have nothing to do with him. He knew nothing anyway. But now that he has the photo, he won't be able to deny his connection with the matter in the future. Who came up with this genius idea of taking photos to commemorate the occasion? Su Longyu put away the photo stone and took Yi Fan into the kitchen. For this birthday party, Yi Fan cooked all the dishes himself in the kitchen. Su Longyu was worried that Yi Fan was too tired, so she went to the kitchen to help with chores. After entering the kitchen, Su Longyu remembered that she didn't see Shi Yibao when she was taking pictures to find the baby. She immediately sent out her spiritual sense, and suddenly, she exclaimed. Yi Fan, who was putting on an apron, asked, "What's wrong?" Su Longyu took off Yi Fan's apron, then took his hand, walked out of the kitchen, and soon came to the outside of Shi Yibao's room. When Yi Fan's spiritual sense entered the house, he saw the situation inside the house, and his brows raised in surprise. Is this the horror of the heavenly spiritual root? Oh shit. A little cub who is only 1.5 years old, he can absorb the spiritual power from the spiritual stone without any instruction. And he learned how to circulate the spiritual power to temper his body without any instruction. I saw that Shi Yibao, who was originally wearing clean clothes and was white and plump, now had his clothes, face, and exposed arms all black and covered with a layer of mud. This is to expel the dirt from the body. The most shocking thing is that this little girl not only broke through to the key training realm on her own, but has already reached the 4th level of key training, directly reached the middle stage of key training. This talent makes Yi Fan, his father, jealous and envious. This evil spiritual root. The spiritual roots are so awesome. Yi Fan immediately looked at the values of his top-grade spiritual roots. It seemed that he had to work hard. Chapter 255 Betting with My Wife. After a cup of tea, Shi Yibao opened his eyes. His black eyes were bright and he waved his little fists in the air excitedly. Then he tilted his little head and thought for a while, as if he had thought of something, and then he stretched out his little hand, and suddenly, a small fire appeared on his hand. She immediately babbled excitedly. But when she wanted to put out the fire, she found that she couldn't, and her little face suddenly became anxious. Then she reflexively slapped the bedboard, but the fire was not put out. Instead, the sheets started to burn. She was so scared that she jumped out of bed immediately. With my eyes closed, I tried various operations and then discovered that, the fire on the sheets was gone. That was because Su Longyu used her magic power to control and extinguish the fire, but the fire in Shi Yibao's hand was not extinguished yet. The little girl didn't dare to spread the fire in her hand to other places. But she was also anxious and jumped around the room. Finally, she closed her eyes, and somehow the fire went out. After she opened her eyes, she looked at her little hands that had lost their fire, her big eyes filled with pride. After that, he practiced some more operations, starting a fire and extinguishing the fire. After he became proficient in the operation, the little guy's eyes became brighter, and he immediately walked towards the door with a heroic and confident look. Yifan and Sulongyu jumped onto the roof. Yifan, wife, guess what Yuan wants to do? Sulongyu, he probably wanted to show off that he became a monk and mastered the fireball technique. Yifan, I guess Yuan will definitely go find Yin Ran and have a fight. Do you dare to bet with me? Sulongyu became interested. What are you betting on? Yifan, if I win, you will listen to me tonight. If you win, I will listen to you tonight. Sulongyu pinched Yifan's arm coquettously, and finally bit her lip and nodded. Inwardly I was looking forward to the evening. Whether she wins or loses, she wins. Sure enough, Shi Yibao went directly to the baby group to find Wu Bao. Moreover, the state of looking for Wu Bao this time was different from before. When she saw Wu Bao, Shi Yibao had a flattering smile on her face, but this time, she had a smile of victory on her face. He danced with joy and told Wu Bao that he wanted to compete with him. The other babies gathered around immediately. Erbiao, 11th sister, are you crazy? Do you want to challenge 5th sister? Sanbao, 11th sister, the 5th sister is very powerful. Fatty said that the 5th sister is already a cultivator, you can't beat her. Sibao, let's make a bet. I bet on the 5th sister to win. Who bets on the 11th sister to win? Let's bet on Guo. No one bet with Sibao. Liu Bao was shouting excitedly. Jie Bao and Shibao also shouted excitedly. They really liked watching the fight. The twins often fought with each other. Sulongyu exclaimed, and looked at Yifan. You win. Unexpectedly. Yifan guessed it right. It's obvious that I spend much more time taking care of Shi Yibao than Yifan does. Yifan chuckled. Wife, how about we make another bet on who will win between 5 treasures and 11 treasures? Sulongyu, it must be Wu Bao. Yifan, no way to gamble. Sulongyu glanced at Yifan and showed off her 2 fangs proudly, which was super cute. As Yifan and Sulongyu had guessed, Shi Yibao challenged Wu Bao, lost and was beaten up by Wu Bao. Moreover, Shi Yibao's hair was burned because she did not use the fireball spell properly. It was Wu Bao who used a rain spell to put out the fire on her head, but the hair on Shi Yibao's head had been burnt like it had been chewed by a dog, and her face was covered in dirt. After being beaten, Shi Yibao was not angry. Instead, he continued to smile at Wu Bao and called Wu Bao sister. Sister is so awesome. Wu Bao patted her head and said, be good. Yifan and Sulongyu on the house saw this scene. The couple looked at each other and smiled. And the two of them went back to the kitchen and continued cooking, chatting while cooking and talking about the babies. Inside the main hall, Tang Hong or Yui and others were shocked. The battle between the 11 treasures and the 5 treasures just now caused a small fluctuation in spiritual power, which alarmed them. They watched the battle from a distance. Suwanli, how did Shuowen suddenly break through to the 4th level of key training? She is a natural spiritual root. She is indeed fast when she cultivates, but not this fast. But it be that she cultivated a false spiritual root? Tenjuaner, why can't Xiao Yuan, who is at the 4th level of key training, beat Yin Ran, who is at the 1st level of key training? Yin Ran is too amazing. At such a young age, he knows so many spells. Do Yifan and you often teach Xiao Yuan how to practice? Oh my god, what should we do with those children in our sect who are running around naked and playing? They are too arrogant. Ang Hong or Yui looked at Wen Shan King. Junior's sister, I haven't accepted a disciple for many years. I see that your Shi Wuan is very talented, although she can't beat your Yin Ran. Her spiritual roots are definitely very good. I want to accept her as my personal disciple and bring her back to the sect to teach her carefully. What do you think? When Shan King was also surprised that her granddaughter, who had a natural spiritual root, was so talented that she actually broke through to the 4th level of key training on her own. But it be that her eldest daughter often pushes the children to be recognized by the sect in the future, putting a lot of pressure on the children? She touched her chin and said to Tang Hong or Yui, you have to talk to Yifan and Yu about this matter. I can't make the decision. Tang Hong or Yui personally went to the kitchen to find Yifan and Sulongyu, and told them that he wanted to take Shi Yibao as his personal disciple. Yifan said that the two of them needed to discuss it. After Tang Hong or Yui left, Sulongyu said to Yifan, not now. Yifan, I think so too. Shi Yibao has great talent, and we can provide her with the resources we have now. Besides, she is only 1.5 years old, so it is not appropriate for her to go to a sect. Genius, you have to protect him first. A genius must live a long life to be called a genius. Many sects and immortal cultivating families secretly hide and train their elite children, for fear that they will be killed by their enemies before they can be trained into talents. This is also why there are many geniuses in the world of cultivating immortals who die young, which is a cause for regret. It was almost time for dinner, and Fatty Wang brought Si Les Wang to Wienx Inju. Zila Shuang had an adventure in the Shaoshu Mountain ruins soon after he left the ruins and returned to the sect. He broke through to the late stage of foundation building. This time, she learned that Fatty Wang was coming to attend Yi Fan's children's birthday party, so she came with Fatty Wang because she wanted to ask Yi Fan to customize a second-level mid-grade spiritual weapon. The second-grade low-grade spiritual weapon that she had previously asked Yi Fan to customize was no longer enough for her. After the dinner, Fatty Wang sought out Yi Fan to chat alone. Tell him that he plans to attack the foundation building stage after returning to the sect this time. After Yi Fan asked the reason, he learned that the top leaders of the Southern Territory sect had already made a decision and were preparing to launch a surprise attack on Zongshu first, without waiting for Zongshu to gather troops to attack him. As one of the lower 7 clans, Qiyu Valley was summoned. Originally, Fatty Wang was on the first list of people sent to Zongshu from Qiyu Valley, but because Fatty Wang had a good friend named Yi Fan, and Zila Huang, the most beloved granddaughter of the sect elder, Oji Fan's cousin Wang Fuguai, a favor for saving her life, Zila Huang had Fatty Wang's name removed from the list. But despite this, Fatty Wang was still placed on the second list, which increased his pressure. Chapter 256, Immortal City Storm. Afterwards, Fatty Wang told Yi Fan that the immortal cultivation resources he had hoarded before were a good idea, as the prices of the immortal cultivation materials had begun to rise. By the time the first batch of cultivators are officially transported to Zongshu, and the subsequent war between the southern region and Zongshu and the world of immortal cultivation officially begins, there will be another round of price increases for materials for immortal cultivation. Fatty Wang, Yi Fan, don't worry about me. Although I am on the second list, that will be a few months later. I will strive to establish my foundation before going to Zongshu with the exquisite foundation building pill you gave me. If I still can't break through to the foundation building stage, then I am really a waste. If I succeed in building my foundation by then, I will go to Zongshu to fight. Although it will be extremely dangerous for me, it may also be a great opportunity. War is the plunder of resources by the victor from the weak. Yi Fan, be careful, staying alive is the most important thing. Fatty Wang nodded. Afterwards, Fatty Wang went to Yi Fan to buy some talismans, top-grade magical instruments, formation plates, pills and other supplies. After buying things worth 20,000 low-grade spirit stones, Yi Fan asked him to come to him again before going to Zongshu. Fatty Wang agreed. Afterwards, Zila Xuan also went to Yi Fan to buy a batch of supplies, totaling 400 medium-grade spirit stones. She also bought a second-level medium-grade monster puppet. This made Zila Xuan feel like he had found a treasure, and he couldn't close his mouth. Afterwards, she asked Yi Fan to customize a second-grade mid-grade spiritual weapon. She and Yi Fan discussed the appearance, design and functional use, and added some inscriptions in the end. Zila Xuan was very satisfied with the customization of this spiritual weapon. Of course, the price was also very painful, with everything included, and the price was 300 mid-grade spirit stones. Zila Xuan gritted his teeth and paid half of the advance payment, and came to pick it up a month later. When she left Yi Fan's room, her legs went weak. When you come, your pocket is full. When you leave, your pocket is empty. After buying the things, Zila Xuan was about to leave. Before leaving, she found Su Wanli and told Su Wanli, but there was about to be a war in the world of immortal cultivation. Su Wanli had no immortal cultivation skills, so she would definitely be recruited to the front line. She asked Su Wanli to choose Qiyu Valley when he was recruiting, so that she could take care of them then. After all, the two of them had forged a deep friendship during the battle against the Beast Tide. Moreover, her life was saved by Su Wanli's brother-in-law Wang Fuguai. Su Wanli, okay. The Lanyu sect would not let her go to Zongshu, so she could take the route to Qiyu Valley at that time, especially when she saw that Zila Xuan was already in the late stage of foundation building. She was stimulated again. Thinking that Shi Yibao, who also had natural spiritual roots, was only 1.5 years old and had already reached the 4th level of Qi training. If Yi Fan and her elder sister pushed the child day and night, Shi Yibao would surpass her, then her face would be completely lost. Therefore, you must participate in this immortal cultivation war and improve yourself in the battle. She was not allowed to enter the Shaoshu Shan ruins last time. Zila Xuan thought of something and asked in a low voice, Wen Li, is Yi Fan your brother-in-law? Su Wanli? Zila Xuan blinked. Isn't Dao Yu Wang your brother-in-law? Su Wanli blinked. Well, Yi Fan and Wang Fuguai are both my brothers-in-law. They were alone, so there was nothing wrong with what she said. Sister Li Xuan, I recently got a good spiritual weapon. I'll take you outside to try it out. Su Wanli changed the subject. Zila Xuan didn't think much about it. She was just curious just now. After the baby's birthday party, Yi Fan went to King Long Immortal City to deal with the matters of cultivation materials and land deeds. Now we can start selling some of the cultivation supplies that we had previously stockpiled. As for the title deed, when he bought the house in King Long Fairy City before, He bought the right to use the house, not the ownership of the house now that King Long Fairy City has changed hands. He needs to sign a new contract, of course. The house is still his, but he needs to sign a new contract because the previous contract was signed with King Long Mountain. And now he needs to sign it with the force that has taken over his house. This point was specifically mentioned in the communication talisman that Manager Fan sent to him. And they told Yi Fan that they had heard from Ying Zong that they felt that the price someone paid for a house in Xiancheng last time was too low, so they plan to unify the price when they changed the contract this time. If the price of the property is higher than the unified price at the time of purchase, the contract will be replaced directly without any subsidy. If the price of the house is lower than the unified price at the time of purchase, you will need to make up the difference when changing the contract. But this was not a problem for Yi Fan at all, because he had checked his land deed. Of the 50 shops and properties he purchased, only 2 were not within the scope of his title deeds, while the rest were all within the scope of his title deeds. After Yi Fan arrived at Yanyuju, Manager Fan said with a worried look on his face, "Master, what should we do? The prices of the shops you bought before were all purchased when the housing prices in Xiancheng were at their lowest. When we changed the contract, we will have to pay a large amount of the difference." Yi Fan took a sip of tea and said, "Calm down. Manager Fan, how can I stay calm? I roughly calculated that according to the current housing prices in Xiancheng, the 50 stores you purchased will require more than 20,000 mid-grade spirit stones. This is a whopping price. The store's stock of spiritual stones cannot be replenished at all. This is forcing us to give up part of our shops to them." This news has been officially released today, and many people are actually applauding and praising it, saying that it is a good idea to divide the clan from Ying Zong. You really like to gloat over other people's misfortunes. You just want to see people who bought properties at low prices lose money. What kind of people are these? They are so infuriating. Master, you bought the property at a low price. That was a good idea. Now they want to take it all back. I heard that the people from the Yingzong branch suddenly wanted to make a big move in real estate, because after they conquered King Long Mountain, they found that the treasure house of King Long Mountain was empty, and there was nothing in it. Is said that those things were taken away by the escaped King Long Taoist's eldest disciple Song Shiwei and a young disciple named Ji. I have been looking for these 2 people, but they haven't caught them yet. I guess they have fled to Zongshu. The Zongshu sect that accepts these 2 people will become rich. Yi Fan touched his chin, thinking about how after he killed Wu Shifeng, Ji and Song Shiwei came to Yanxinju to pay him a visit, and Song Shiwei also made about to be his younger brother in the future. Song Shiwei also handed him a key and said that she did not actually take away many treasures from King Long Mountain. Most of them were hidden in another place where there was a concealing formation with the key. He couldn't unlock the restrictions of the concealing formation and take out the treasures. This was arranged earlier by their master, Taoist King Long. Chapter 257. Shocked, the title deed is in Yi Fan's hands. On this day, an early Jindin cultivator from the Yingzong branch sect transformed into a beam of light and flew to the sky above King Long Immortal City, casting a sound amplification spell so that every word could be heard by people in King Long Immortal City. I am King Nei. The deacon of the Law Enforcement Hall of the Yingzong branch in King Long Immortal City. All cultivators who own property in King Long Immortal City can go to the City Lord's mansion and replace their property purchase contracts starting today. The rules for replacing contracts have been posted on the bulletin board at the entrance of the City Lord's mansion. The deadline is 2 years. If you do not come to replace the contract within 2 years, you will need to pay a late payment fee before you can replace the contract. After saying this, Kang Nei disappeared instantly. Yi Fan had already obtained the house purchase contract from his mother-in-law. When he took the contract, he knew what his mother-in-law was thinking, so he showed her the title deed of Xiancheng first, and then told her that Xiancheng needed to replace the contract. He said that he would return the new contract to her after he replaced it. This mother-in-law readily gave him the contract. City Lord's mansion. Many people came at this time. Most of them came to replace the house purchase contract, and a small number came to watch the fun. As expected of Emperor Yingzong, he is in charge of the Immortal City. His management method is different. It is fair and just. Since we all bought houses in Xiancheng, we should just adjust them according to the current market price. Although I paid a high price for the house in Xiancheng, and the City Lord's mansion won't refund me, I support this new policy. Many people who bought houses in Xiancheng at high prices are gloating, because they regretted it so much before and envied those who bought houses at the bottom during the beast tide. Now, they have not suffered any losses, but can see that those who bought houses at low prices need to pay more money. It feels so good. Anyway, as long as others are unhappy, they are happy. That's human nature. This is true whether in modern times or in the world of immoral cultivation. I wonder if the capable man who bought 50 shops at the lowest price in one go during the beast tide period has fainted in the toilet crying now. When talking about this matter, everyone was particularly interested and talked about it one after another. Of course, the money he wants to pay is a sky's price, he definitely can't make it up. He will probably have to give up a lot of houses. He was allowed to get a bargain during the Beast Tide and thought he was smart. Now that the immortal city is under the jurisdiction of Emperor Yingzong, these speculators will be forced to pay back the difference they made. It's refreshing. It's really cool. As soon as Yifan arrived here, he was spotted by the sharp-eyed Zhong Nanyang. Zhong Nanyang immediately squeezed next to Yifan and sent a telepathic message to him, saying bitterly, "Master, you really came here? I just came to check the situation. The people from the Yingzong clan are so abominable that they asked us to pay the difference. How can I afford it? The house I bought cost 420 medium-grade spirit stones. They are forcing me to give up the right to use my house. How abominable." Yifan patted Zhong Nanyang on the shoulder and said, "I can lend you 420 medium-grade spirit stones." Zhong Nanyang was stunned for a moment, then he replied with a voice transmission that was full of emotion, "Young master is so good to me, but I'm afraid I can't pay it back in this lifetime. 420 middle-grade spirit stones, not 420 low-grade spirit stones. Damn it, I heard that it's because Emperor Yingzong and his men didn't find a single hair in the treasure house of King Long Mountain. So they are planning to extort money from those of us who bought the house at a low price." While the two were chatting, suddenly, a voice with a sarcastic voice came. "Hey, isn't this Yifan, the boss of Yuliang Xuan? I heard that you bought 50 properties and shops in one go when the housing prices were at their lowest in Beast Tide." Yifan looked sideways and saw a man wearing a brocade robe and holding a folding fan, with two followers following behind him. The attendant was wearing a robe with the words Fran Chamber of Commerce printed on it. This is someone from the Fran Chamber of Commerce. A Fran Chamber of Commerce is one of the major chambers of commerce that attack King Long Mountain. It is composed of many families, among which the main force is the Shu family, one of the 7 major immortal cultivation families. The Shu family is stronger than the Wu family. Therefore, in this division of the territorial map of King Long Immortal City, the territory obtained by the Fran Chamber of Commerce is larger than the one in Yifan's hands. Zhong Nanyang came up to Yifan and told him that this was Shu Yuan, the son of the Shu family of the Fran Chamber of Commerce. He was a playboy and a frequent visitor to Ziyui's Yanlu. Ziyui's Yanlu is the largest den of gilded wealth in King Long Fairy City. Shu Yuan, cultivation, middle stage of foundation building. Yifan glanced at Shu Yuan inferently and ignored him. Shu Yuan saw Yifan being so arrogant, and immediately said unhappily, TSK, you are about to lose a lot of money. And you are still pretending like this. However, your third level Wienxin Island is really good if you can't afford the price difference. You can use Wienxin Island as collateral." Yifan ignored all those young men with mental problems. Shu Yuan was irritated. "Yifan, don't think you are so awesome just because you can kill the fake pill master. I tell you. That's because the fake pill from the Wu family is too weak. Try our Shu family's fake pill, then you will know what it means to be superior to others. People outside only know that Wu Jia and Idom Wienxin Island. But they are unaware that Wu Shifeng, the ancestor of the Wu family, died on Wienxin Island. The Wu family did not publicize this matter. I wonder if they were afraid to let people know that their family, a prominent immortal cultivation family, did not even have a Jindan cultivator, or if they wanted to wait for others to fall into Wienxin Island and die at Yifan's hands so that they could gloat over their misfortune. Yifan narrowed his eyes. "Are you looking for death?" Suddenly someone rushed over, kicked Shu Yuan on the back of the knee, then stepped on Shu Yuan's back, and apologized to Yifan in a flattering manner. "Friend Yi, my nephew does not know etiquette. Please forgive me." Shu Yuan screamed in pain, looked at the man in disbelief, and said, "Uncle San, what are you doing? You're going to break my legs." Julie Ha slapped Shu Yuan on the face and scolded him. "Why are you howling? You dare to contradict fellow Taoist Yi. I will cripple one of your legs now." As he said that, Julie Ha kicked Shu Yuan's right foot and broke it on the spot, causing the people around him to gasp in surprise and look at Yifan in shock. How powerful is the boss of Yuliang Xuan? He even made the third boss of the Fran Chamber of Commerce kick his nephew's legs and apologize to Yifan. Although Yifan has a master in the late Jindan stage behind him, the Fran Chamber of Commerce has the support of the Yuan Ying ancestor. Shu Yuan fainted from the pain after Yifan nodded. Julie Ha asked his men to take Shu Yuan away, then he walked up to Yifan and said with a smile, "Fellow Taoist Yi, please come in. Everyone is waiting for you." They never imagined that the territory allocated to the Wu family by King Long Immortal City did not show the Wu family, but Yifan. In addition, the Wu family suddenly abandoned the handover of this Yancheng industry, and the disciples rushed back to their family temples one after another, and there were rumors that the Wu family was closing the mountain. All this happened after the Wu family went to Yunshu County and provoked Wienxin Island. In particular, the land deed of King Long Fairy City should have been in Wu Shifeng's hands. However, it is no longer in his hands. What does this mean? This means that Wu Shifeng, the ancestor of the Wu family who is in the middle stage of the Jindan stage, has a 99. 99 chance of dying at the hands of Yifan from Wienexen Island. Chapter 258 Jind and Bureau Meeting. This is horrible. Yifan only has the strength of the middle stage of foundation building, but he was able to kill Wu Shifeng, who was in the middle stage of golden elixir. This means that Wienexen Island is not ordinary. Even Yifan's master, who was in the late stage of golden elixir, has always lived in Wienexen Island. However, among this generation of late Jind and cultivators, they really did not find anyone who was related to Yifan. After all, if a casual cultivator can cultivate to the late golden core stage, he will surely become famous. There is only one explanation. Yifan's master, who is in the late Jindan stage, is not a casual cultivator, but a member of the sect. In short, don't underestimate Yifan. Don't underestimate Wienexen Island in Yuliangshuan. Yifan and Shuli Che entered the city lord's mansion, leaving behind a group of shocked people. Even Zhong Nanyang was surprised. He felt deeply moved in his heart, thinking that he was so lucky to have become Yifan's neighbor, and then he formed a bond with Yifan. And now, he had become Yifan's subordinate. He raised his chin and felt particularly honored. He felt an indescribable sense of superiority, because he was Yifan's man. Some people who were good at socializing immediately came up to Zhong Nanyang with a smile and started chatting with him. Yifan entered the city lord's mansion, and was taken to the meeting hall of the city lord's mansion. This was Yifan's first time here, and the meeting hall was extremely spacious and grand. There was a long table in the middle, and 8 people were already sitting there. The one sitting in the first place was Yunchuan, the leader of the King Shu Fang branch of the Yingzong sect, a cultivator in the late Jindan stage. Sitting on his left and right were still people from Emperor Yingzong, to mid-stage Jindan cultivators, 1 male and 1 female. Next came the Shu family's late Jindan ancestor, Shu Xuan, a middle-aged beauty who still had some charm. Among the other 4, one is also from the Fran Chamber of Commerce, who was in the middle stage of the Golden Core. The other 3 are representatives of other chambers of commerce, and they are at least in the early stage of the Golden Core. Shuli Che himself is also a cultivator in the early stage of Jindan. This is definitely a Jindan game. As a foundation-building cultivator, if Yifan were an ordinary person, he would have felt the pressure and could not even walk steadily when he walked in here. However, he met with early and middle nascent soul ancestors on a daily basis, and he even slept with his late golden core wife at night. He had seen big scenes, so he looked normal and not afraid at all. When he came in, everyone looked at him. Some people frowned, some had smiles on their faces, some were curious, and some looked normal. Shuli Hai smiled and said, "I'm sorry, I'm late. I just happened to run into fellow Taoist Yi at the door, so I brought fellow Taoist Yi in with me." Everyone present already knew that the fiefdom that originally belonged to the Wu family now had Yifan's name written on it, which meant that it belonged to Yifan. Everyone had guessed in their hearts that if the Wu family did not close the mountain, they would naturally not easily let Yifan come to claim the fief. But the Wu family closed the mountain. The Wu family no longer cares about what happens in the immortal city, so naturally they won't do anything to offend anyone. After all, there is a late Jindan master in charge of Wienexen Island. Therefore, even though Yifan, who was only in the middle stage of foundation building, came in, no one deliberately pressured him not to sit down. After they sat down, Yunchuan, who was sitting in the first seat, spoke, "Everyone is here. Let's take a look at our respective fiefdoms first." As he spoke, a map of King Long Fairy City appeared in the center of the long table for everyone to see. On the map, Yinglong Immortal City was divided into 5 fiefdoms, and a name appeared above each fiefdom. From Yingzong King Shu Fang branch, Fran Chamber of Commerce, Yifan, Wo Xie Chamber of Commerce, and Kushui Chamber of Commerce. Yifan's land deed ranks 3rd among the 5 fiefs. This was ranked according to the contribution to the attack on King Long Immortal City at that time. Because the Wu family had a grudge against the King Long Immortal City, they fought fiercely in both the first and second battles with the King Long Immortal City, and even lost a member of the family who was in the early Jindan stage. So when the fiefdoms were distributed, he was given the 3rd largest fiefdom. The best location in the fairy city, the area around King Long Mountain, was all allocated to Emperor Yingzong. The Fran Chamber of Commerce was assigned to a prosperous area near the city gate in Xiancheng. Yifan was assigned to a less prosperous area. The other 2 properties he purchased were not in his own area, but happened to be within the territory of the Fran Chamber of Commerce. One was a very expensive shop at the city gate, and the other was also a very expensive shop located in a bustling area. Yifan bought these 2 shops at a very low price at the beginning. 50 medium-grade spirit stones for 1 set and 80 medium-grade spirit stones for 1 set. Now the price of these 2 shops has risen to 800 medium-grade spirit stones for 1 set and 1200 medium-grade spirit stones for 1 set. The sets of shops require a total of 1870 medium-grade spirit stones. After looking at their respective fiefdoms, everyone started talking. It turned out that they had also hoarded shops when the housing prices in Xiancheng were low during the Beast Tide period. Xu Liache smiled and took out a small map, which was exactly one of the areas where Yi Fan's fiefdom was located. Friend Yi, there are 8 properties on it. Our Shu family bought them when the property prices were low. I know you also have 2 properties in our Fran Chamber of Commerce area. How about we waive the price difference for each other? As he spoke, Xu Liache, I handed Yi Fan a price list, which was the difference between the purchase price of these 8 properties and their current prices. The locations of these 8 properties are not very prosperous and their areas are small, so the price difference between the 8 properties is a total of 1500 medium-grade spirit stones. This is less than the 1870 medium-grade spirit stones that Yi Fan needs to supply to the Fran Chamber of Commerce. Yi Fan glanced at Xu Liache, who smiled friendly. Yi Fan, okay. The Xu family is pretty capable, except for that dandy young man who loves to visit Zhui's Yanglu. Otherwise, the Fran Chamber of Commerce would not have grown so big. There were many people who discussed business with Yi Fan and the Xu family in this way, and others were also exchanging ideas. However, they had already thought about attacking Qinglong Fairy City before, so they did not hoard many properties at low prices, hoping to pick up bargains when the time comes. Although many properties in Qinglong's Yancheng have been sold, 60 of the real estate and shops are still in the hands of Qinglong Mountain, so once they conquer the Xiancheng, these shops will all be theirs. After all these matters were settled, they talked about some current affairs. It was Tian Xuan who brought up the issue, saying that the upper echelons of the Southern Territory's immortal cultivation world had decided to begin attacking Zongshu, and that the major sects had already begun arranging the first batch of personnel and supplies to be sent to Zongshu. It is said that the initial war will be fought in Zongshu, not in the southern region, and will not harm the interests of Qinglong Immortal City. However, we must still have a sense of crisis and propose to prepare to re-engraving the formation of Qinglong Immortal City and upgrade the 3rd-level defense formation to a 4th-level forbidden formation. Because during the First War, they had attacked the 3rd-level formation of the Azure Dragon Fairy City, and the monsters during the Beast Tide had also attacked this formation. Now the power of this 3rd-level formation has been reduced a lot. Moreover, if the people of Zongshu counterattack and extend the war to the southern region, Qinglong Immortal City, as a border city, will be the first to bear the brunt. Therefore, it is urgent to enhance the defense of Qinglong Immortal City. Chapter 259. Manager Fan and others were shocked. The young master has a fiefdom. Gu Fenghua, the president of Kushui Chamber of Commerce, asked where to find a 4th-level formation master to upgrade the 4th-level forbidden formation. Dianchuan said that he could invite people from the main sect of Yingzong, but the expenses would need to be shared by everyone. Fuyuan Xin, the vice president of Luoxia Chamber of Commerce, immediately asked with concern, how much does it cost? A 4th-level forbidden formation is not cheap, and it also includes the entire Qinglong Immortal City. The male cultivator named Jin Chengfu on Tianchuan's left smiled and said, outside. A 4th-level forbidden formation is indeed very expensive, especially the daily maintenance afterwards. However, this is the formation master I invited from our main sect. The price is naturally the internal price, which doesn't cost much. We will cover the small amount of money for daily maintenance. After all, we occupy the best location in Qinglong Mountain, and it is not appropriate for us to pay the same price as you. When Fuyuan Xin and the others heard this, they all looked at Tianchuan with sparkling eyes. And Tu Yanchuan nodded. Fuyuan Xin immediately smiled and said in a somewhat flattering manner, that's great, I knew that Master Tu was the most generous person. Okay, I agree to upgrade the 4th-level forbidden formation. Gu Fenghua also agreed. Yi Fan followed the local customs and expressed his agreement. He had picked up the Wu family's fiefdom for nothing, so this time, he could only make a profit from the price difference. Moreover, the shops and properties in Qinglong Mountain that the Wu family had been allocated were all on the Wu family's territory. All the members of the Wu family had evacuated, so naturally, all these properties and shops were under his control. It's no harm to spend a little money to upgrade the 4th-level forbidden formation. However, they don't have to pay for daily maintenance, which is terrifying if you think about it carefully. Because this also means that the situation of the forbidden formation is always in the hands of people like Tianchuan, and they will not get the latest information. The 4th-level forbidden formation allows you to enter, so you can enter. If you are not allowed to leave, don't even think about leaving without a 4th-level forbidden talisman. However, Yi Fan is not worried about this because he will not live in Qinglong Immortal City permanently. Moreover, although it seems that everyone has obtained a fiefdom in this fairy city, in fact, the ones who truly control this fairy city are still the descendants of Emperor Yingzong. Sure enough, Zhu family ancestor Zhu Shuang's beautiful eyes focused for a moment, then nodded in agreement. Seeing that everyone agreed, Dian Chuan's serious face relaxed a little. He then said that he had something else to do and that the meeting would end here today. Before leaving, the female monk next to Dian Chuan deliberately glanced at Yi Fan, then left with her graceful waist and hips twisted. Yi Fan, I am a married man. Besides, my wife is much more awesome and prettier than you, so don't even think about seducing me. After the people from Yingzhong left, Fuyuan Xin from Luoxia Chamber of Commerce came over to greet Yifan. Fellow Taoist Yi, our Luoxia Chamber of Commerce's new store in King Long Immortal City will open the day after tomorrow. I hope that fellow Taoist Yi will come and support us. Yifan, okay. Fuyuan Xin immediately smiled and gave Yifan an invitation letter, then bowed to Yifan and left. Gu Fenghua also came over to greet Yifan. Fellow Taoist Yi, I heard that you came from King Shufang. Coincidentally, I have also stayed in King Shufang for some time. Our fiefs are next to each other. It seems that we are destined to meet. Let's take care of each other in the future. After saying some polite words, Yifan walked out of the city lord's mansion. When they returned to Ynu Ju, manager Fan, Zhang Nanyang and Sun Guangda were already waiting in the yard. Seeing Yifan coming back, the three of them came over immediately. Master. After seeing Yifan reattach Zhang Nanyang's arm that could not be reattached, and what Zhang Nanyang told him during this trip to the Shaoxushan ruins, Sun Guangda expressed his loyalty to Yifan not long ago, expressing his willingness to serve Yifan forever and making a vow to his inner demon. Originally, manager Fan and his men called Yifan Master, but Yifan felt that this title was too old-fashioned, so he asked them to change it to Young Master. Master, how is it? Yifan, done. Manager Fan and the other two were immediately overjoyed, but Zhang Nanyang was a little sad. However, he had been renting a house before, and now he was just returning the house he had bought, and could get some money in exchange for the original purchase price, so he could still live on. As for asking Yifan to borrow 450 medium-grade spirit stones, he didn't dare to do so. He could not be sure that there would be a cultivator among his descendants, or that they would be able to pay back so much money, and he did not want to let his children bear such a heavy burden just for a house. The same goes for renting a house. Moreover, he earns a lot of money working for Yifan now, and maybe he will be able to buy a house in the outer ring in the future. Back in the hall, Yifan took out the sealed map. The closed map is suspended in Midra. Similar to the 3D version of the AMAP map, every house is displayed in 3 dimensions on it. But it is a smaller version. Zhang Nanyang, Master, what is this? Yifan waved his sleeves, sat down on the main seat, took a sip of tea, and said nonchalantly, My fiefdom in King Long Immortal City. Take a look, the houses marked in green need to be taken over, each of you choose one. And I will rent it to you for free. He was very generous to his loyal subordinates, providing them with food and accommodation. The three of them were shot on the spot. A fiefdom. The three of them had all kinds of doubts in their hearts, but they didn't ask. They first flattered Yifan and then started to choose a house. The three did not choose the best position, but chose the mid-range position. After choosing the house, Yifan told Zhang Nanyang that his house was also within his fiefdom, and he could write an IOU for 450 medium-grade spirit stones, and the house would still be his. Zhang Nanyang was not planning to lend money at first, but now seeing that Yifan had directly obtained the thief of King Long Immortal City, he was so awesome, and was so generous as to give the three managers a house in the city for free. He felt that if he followed Yifan in this life, he might really be able to earn 450 mid-grade spirit stones. So he gritted his teeth and wrote a promissory note to Yifan. Now that he had his own house, he told Yifan that he no longer needed the house he rented for free. Yifan said that it was a benefit, and if he didn't live there, he could rent it out and collect rent. After hearing this, Zhang Nanyang was so moved that his nose started to run with the location of the house he chose. He could earn 10 medium-grade spirit stones every year just by collecting rent. 450 middle-grade spirit stones means 45 years for a foundation-building cultivator like him. 45 years is just a blink of an eye. It also means that he has a chance to pay back the money. Yifan handed the matter of taking over the fiefdom to three people. He acted like an idle prince and sent a video call to Su Longyu. Miss the babies. I don't know if 11th treasure will continue to challenge 5 treasures. Before he left Wianxin Island, Shi Yibao had another fight with Wu Bao but was defeated by Wu Bao. The little girl did not get discouraged. She became more and more courageous and loved to study. She stuck to Wu Bao and watched whatever Wu Bao did. She didn't care whether it was useful to her or not. She wanted to do it. Chapter 260, The Protector of the 11 Treasures. As soon as the video was connected, Su Longyu was seen beating Shi Yibao with a rattan stick. Shi Yibao screamed loudly. It hurts, it hurts. Su Longyu, you still feel the pain? I thought you didn't feel the pain. How many times have I warned you not to jump into the deep pool? You still dared to jump in secretly. If it weren't for the sea below, you would have been eaten. You still have the time to cry out in pain? You just died. Shi Yibao. Mother, I know I was wrong. I won't hit you anymore. It hurts so much. The little girl may have seen Yifan in the video that appeared in the air. Her eyes immediately lit up, and she shouted, Daddy, help me, Mommy is going to beat me to death. Su Longyu's temples were throbbing. She turned around and looked at Yifan with resentment. Look at your daughter. She was so sad that she even said she wanted to beat her to death. Yifan secretly said that this video was not posted at the right time. That no matter what, it's right to coax his wife first. He immediately coaxed her. Wife. Children's words are not gentle, don't take it to heart. Then, he sternly educated Shi Yibao. Shi Woan, your mother beat you for your own good. How could you cry for help? How could you say your mother wanted to beat you to death? Do you know how much your mother is hurt by what you said? Apologize to your mother and tell her that you will never go to Xiantian to play again, not even close to it. As he spoke, Yifan put on a face. When taking care of the baby, Su Longyu played the bad guy and Yifan played the good guy when the problem was serious. Yifan would also be very fierce, so when he saw Yifan's face, Shi Yibao, who had been observing people's words and expressions since childhood, blinked his eyes, squeezed out a few drops of tears, looked at Su Longyu with tears, and said softly, Mom, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I made you sad. You and Ian will definitely not play in the deep pool anymore, and won't go near it anymore. Don't let mother worry. After hearing this, Yifan nodded in satisfaction, and then said to Su Longyu softly, Wife, you see Zhuoan has already known her mistakes. So just forgive her. She has been beaten and scolded, so don't get angry and hurt your health. I'd be heartbroken if you got sick from anger. The other babies also hugged Su Longyu and told her not to be angry. They said they would help supervise 11th sister and prevent her from running around. Dabao, in particular, felt very guilty about this matter and thought that he had not taken good care of his younger sister. In fact, each baby had a maid to take care of her, but Shi Yibao was very clever and was a cultivator in the middle stage of key training. In the blink of an eye, she jumped into the deep pool. The maid who was taking care of her had already gone to receive the punishment. Under everyone's persuasion, Su Longyu threw away the vine, but there was an extra vine beside Shi Yibao, which would give her a friendly smile with a bloody mouth no matter whether she was eating or sleeping. This vine is exactly the demon star vine. Yibao was so scared that she was shaking and knelt down to beg Su Longyu not to send her such an awesome personal bodyguard. Su Longyu refused. Shi Yibao didn't know how she stole Su Longyu's communication jade pendant, and secretly made a video call to Yifan, asking Yifan to help her get Su Longyu to take back the demon star vine. Yifan, well, Dax Sing is very powerful and qualified to protect you. Aman, Shi Woan, Daddy believes in you. Shi Yibao burst into tears. A two-headed bird that was recovering from its injuries on Wienexen Island was seen squatting around her. Day after day the magic star vine that was drooling at her suddenly disappeared, and she breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks to the blessing of the demon god, I finally got rid of this big Buddha. Otherwise, she was always worried that one day she would be eaten by the demon star vine. I will never see my little cub again. As for Yifan, he went to attend the opening ceremony of Luoxia Chamber of Commerce. Luoxia Chamber of Commerce is a comprehensive chamber of commerce that sells a variety of magical instruments, spiritual energy, magic weapons, fine talismans, high-level elixirs, formation plates, exercises, etc. Moreover, because they travel in the vast southern region, they hold auctions from time to time, and many extremely rare spiritual medicines and treasures will appear in the auctions. In the past, Luoxia Chamber of Commerce did not have a very good relationship with Taoist King Long, and had never come to King Long Immortal City to open a store, but had always coveted the traffic in King Long Immortal City. After all, King Long Immortal City is the largest city at the junction of Zongshu and the southern region. It is a certain distance away from Yingzhong and Qiuyi Valley. In addition, it is backed by the Lagu Mountains, which is very popular with the monster hunting team. The trade in King Long Immortal City has always been prosperous. This time, the Luoxia Chamber of Commerce opened the Luoxia Pavilion and invited many people to come and support it. When Yifan was handing over the invitation, he suddenly heard a voice behind him calling him, "Fellow Taoist Yi." Then, a green figure appeared beside him. It was the green fairy Sang Xianyu. Among the immortal cultivation families that attacked King Long Immortal City this time, the Sang family did not participate in the battle, because they did not participate in the war. The Wu family and the Zhu family both stayed in seclusion, and a lot of the assets that the Wu family and the Zhu family sold off were secretly swallowed up by the Sang family, which suddenly caused the Sang family's ranking among the 7 great immortal cultivation families to jump from the bottom to the middle. Fairy Sang. Yifan spoke distantly. Sang Xianyu smiled and said, "Congratulations to Brother Taoist Yi for obtaining the fiefdom in King Long Immortal City. What are you going to hold a banquet to celebrate?" Yifan, he didn't tell anyone about this, but many people knew that he had taken over the fiefdom, including the Shu family and several major chambers of commerce. The Sang family also had considerable influence in King Long Immortal City, so knowing this, they just needed to make some arrangements. Yifan. I like quietness, so I won't hold the party. Sang Xianyu took out a spirit beast bag, handed it to Yifan, and said with a smile, "I heard that fellow Taoist Yi's Taoist partner has given birth to a second child. Congratulations, this is a small gift from me to your baby." I hope fellow Taoist Yi will not dislike it. Yifan didn't take the spirit beast bag and narrowed his eyes. What do you want to say? This scheming girl wouldn't give anyone a gift for nothing. Sang Jianyu was no longer shy and said straight to the point. Fellow Taoist Yi, our Sang family has spent a lot of money recently and is a little tight on money now. I wonder if the difference in the price of the 11 properties in your fiefdom can be deferred for 10 years. Of course, we will pay the corresponding deferred interest, which is calculated based on the current interest, which is calculated based on the current interest rate of 4. We will definitely not let fellow Taoist Yi suffer any loss, okay? The late payment fee announced by the City Lord's Mansion is calculated based on the interest rate of the price difference, but the interest rate is unified there at an annual interest rate of 3, which is far lower than the market interest rate. Yifan didn't notice that the Sang family also had real estate on their own territory. As for the things raised by Sang Jianyu, he didn't think they were a big deal. You can send someone to the City Lord's Mansion to handle this matter. I have someone there who specializes in making up the price difference and paying the late payment fee. He didn't want to be involved with Sang Jianyu, a woman with secrets. Chapter 261. The small troubles of having many children and endless lawsuits. After saying this, he left. A voice sounded in Sang Jianyu's mind. Strange. Now that I have recovered some of my strength, I still can't figure out what kind of treasure he has that can allow him to kill a Jin, an early-stage cultivator. Sang Jianyu looked at Yifan's tall and elegant figure as he left, and squinted her eyes. Still can't see clearly. He is indeed becoming more and more curious. Suchan, she must have been killed by him. Wu Shifang, the ancestor of the Wu family, must have died at his hands, otherwise he would not have been able to obtain the fiefdom that should have belonged to the Wu family. It is also impossible that the Wu family would choose not to allow all the family members to return to the family dojo to seal off the mountain after spending so much manpower and material resources to finally conquer King Long Mountain, regardless of any benefits. The most important thing is that he always comes up with some weird things. The fertility and fortune pills he made are really effective. A voice sounded in Sang Jianyu's mind. I have checked that elixir. It is indeed amazing. Even if you refine it with the same medicinal ingredients, you can't refine it to have the same effect as his. It is indeed strange. Don't get close to him for now, so as not to arouse his suspicion. Sang Jianyu, yes. Many people took the initiative to talk to Yifan. They were either patriarchs of small families, high-level executives of chambers of commerce, as well as Jin and cultivators, third-level formation masters, alchemists, etc. Yifan received a pile of business cards, which was something that had never happened before and was a reflection of his greatly improved status. This trip to attend the opening ceremony of Luoxia Chamber of Commerce also allowed Yifan to see the management model of Luoxia Chamber of Commerce and the layout of the entire Luoxia Pavilion. It can bring some inspiration to his Moon Pavilion. It looks like I can organize an auction for my own Yuliang Xuan. Not only can you make money by auctioning some unused high-end treasures, but you can also make Yuliang Xuan famous. Yuliang Xuan also wants to develop into a chamber of commerce so that it can grow stronger. After attending the opening ceremony of Luoxia Chamber of Commerce, Yifan returned to Yinyu and began to draft the treasures to be auctioned at Yuliang Xuan. As I was writing, I received a video call from home. Su Longyu, let me show you your sons and daughters. As she spoke, Su Longyu switched the perspective, and Yifan saw that on the beach, 10 treasures were fighting each other, and only Wu Bao was sitting quietly drinking a big coconut. The sound is very loud. Su Longyu, Yifan, I listened to you. I saw them fighting each other, so I ignored them. They have been like this for half an hour. It's up to you whether to do anything or not. Her head was buzzing. She had always thought that the babies would become more sensible as they grew up, and would fight and snatch things less often, but who knew that they became more and more noisy. And not only did the babies of the same litter fight with each other, but the second baby also fought with the first. There are endless lawsuits and cases to be decided every day. Before, she often went to judge cases, but later Yifan asked her not to interfere, saying that he couldn't control it even if he tried anyway. After the fight, it wouldn't take long for them to become loving siblings again. But today, her brain was hurt by the noise and her blood pressure was soaring. Yifan, wife, thank you for your hard work. I'll be back in a few days. Tell them to stop fighting. Daddy will settle the case for them. First cut off the 3 treasures and the 11 treasures. Sanbao, Daddy, who is the most mischievous in our family? Yifan, you see? What do you think? Sanbao, 11th sister is the most mischievous. Yifan, why? Sanbao, because 11th sister is always disobedient. She doesn't listen to mother, big brother, or me. 11th treasure, I am obedient. I am obedient, I am not naughty. Yifan smiled lovingly and said, you see. Xiao Yuan, you are both babies now. It is normal for you to act naughty. Sanbao, Daddy, I'm not a baby anymore. I'm their third brother. I'm not naughty. Shi Yibao, I am not naughty, but my third brother is naughty. Sanbao, 11th sister, you are just naughty, you don't listen to us. Chi Yi Bao. I won't listen to you. San Bao, 11th sister. You are the most naughty, daddy, he cried in anger. Thanks to Yi Fan's eloquence, which made his mouth dry, he finally settled the lawsuit between the 10 babies. The 10 babies lit their tears and snot and went out to play hand in hand. Su Longyu, Yi Fan, I don't want a third child. After drinking a glass of water, Yi Fan Kwang nodded vigorously. Well, absolutely not. 11 babies would consume all the energy in his body. And I dare not imagine what the situation would be like if there were more babies. Su Longyu, however, when Da Bao and the others grow up, it is not impossible to have a third child, but I hope that we can only have one of the third child. Yi Fan, I listen to my wife. Yi Fan finished drafting the auction matters tonight, and then called Manager Fan. He handed the matter over to Manager Fan finally. Manager Fan told Yi Fan that he had found a girl at the 8th level of key training and 5 girls at the middle level of key training, all of whom were found according to Yi Fan's preferences. The child is between 12 and 20 years old, has a gentle, well-behaved, sensible and obedient personality, good-looking, is an orphan, and has experience in raising children. Because Shang Lingzan had rebelled before, when Manager Fan was looking for someone this time, he specially checked the other party's ancestors and confirmed that the other party was indeed an orphan with no living relatives. Only then did he confirm the other party's place. Because of the beast tide that happened before, there are many orphans in the past. It would be difficult to find female cultivators in the middle and late stages of key training, because after practicing to this level, they would no longer be willing to be maids for others, and would all pursue the path to immortality. However, due to the current popularity of Yu Yangxuan and Yi Fan's fame, Manager Fan's search for people is already his market, and he doesn't need to take the initiative to look for them as long as the news is released. His door will be broken. So he had the opportunity to make a careful selection and chose the 6 girls that he was most satisfied with and most trusted. After making the selection, he personally checked their ancestors for 18 generations. Otherwise he would not feel at ease. After all, the young master entrusted him with such an important matter, and he absolutely could not make the same mistake as Shang Lingzhen did last time. After meeting the 6 girls, Yi Fan nodded with satisfaction. After the 6 girls left, Manager Fan told Yi Fan that Yi Dayu had now advanced to a first-class intermediate grey talisman master, and the quality of the talismans he delivered every month was very good. Although Manager Fan did not know the relationship between Yi Dayu and Yi Fan told him that he could take care of this person, so he took it to heart. Yi Fan took a sip of tea and nodded. It seems that Yi Dayu has some attainments in the art of talismans. The next day, Yi Fan went to the place where Yi Dayu rented and brought some gifts to visit him. But I found that Yi Dayu was always absent when he spoke. Yi Fan thought of Yi Dayu's son Yi Xiaohu, who was in a big sect in Zongshu. Now that the southern region is about to go to war with Zongshu, the southern region is preparing to send cultivators to Zongshu in advance to start the war on Zongshu soil. But what will the high-ranking officials of Zongshu's cultivation world think? Will they get the news first and then choose to attack the southern region in advance? Yi Xiaohu is a monk from a sect in Zongshu. There is something mysterious here. He said to Yi Dayu, Uncle Dayu, there are some things you can do, and some things are best not to do. Life is so short, and being alive is the best blessing. Chapter 262, Shock. Making a fortune. Yi Fan didn't say much after saying this. He said goodbye to Yi Dayu. Yi Dayu said to Yi Fan, Xiao Fan, you should leave this border quickly and go to a place farther away. After a while, there will be war here. As a casual cultivator, you will probably be forced to go to the battlefield. Yi Fan, it's okay since the battle hasn't started yet. Uncle Dayu, do you want to leave? Yi Dayu, Xiao Fan, Uncle Dayu will remember what you said. Yi Fan nodded. After meeting Yi Dayu, Yi Fan concluded in his heart that Zongshu would not sit idly by and wait for the southern region to bring the war to Zongshu first. I guess they have planted a lot of spies in the southern region. I thought about what I saw from Wu Kiwi's memory when I used the soul-searching technique on Wu Kiwi, the Wu family's golden elixir seed. The Wu family has long been secretly cooperating with a sect in Zongshu. Try to cooperate with the sect in Zongshu during this great war in the world of immortal cultivation. However, because the ancestor of the Wu family, Wu Shifeng, died on his Wienexin island, the Wu family has closed the mountain, and the Wu family has lost its golden elixir. They absolutely dare not come out casually now, otherwise the Wu family's former enemies will definitely take advantage of such a good opportunity to wipe out the Wu family. However, if the Wu family had a new golden elixir during the war, the situation might be different. He had already informed Su Longyu about this matter. As for the rest, as a small casual cultivator, he was powerless to do anything. Not long after returning to Yuju, Tang Hongyui brought Tang Fang Xun over at the baby swing, and a half-year-old birthday party. Yi Fan gave Tang Hongyui a pill and told him to take it back and give it to Tang Fang Xun to eat. After eating, Remember to bring Tang Fang Xun over so that he could check his pulse. After Yifan checked Tang Fang Xun's pulse, he nodded and said, "You are recovering well." Tang Fang Xun's eyes now showed new hope for his originally hopeless situation. He smiled and said, "Thank you, Master Yi Dan. I heard from my grandfather that in less than 2 years, my infertility can be completely cured." Yifan nodded. Tang Fang Xun excitedly held Yifan's hand. "Thank you, Master Yi Dan, for your hard work. Master Yi Dan's medical skills are amazing." After flattering Yifan, Tang Fang Xun and Tang Hong Yui left. When the two returned to the mansion, Tang Fang Xun thought of something and asked Tang Hong Yui, "Grandpa, is the standard for our Lanyu sect to select a saint's son the same as before?" Tang Hong Yui, "Why do you suddenly ask this?" Tang Fang Xun, Guai Yanking from the Gu family is very popular and is very likely to be chosen as the holy son, so they came to me to ask. Tang Hong Yui glared at him. "Nonsense. The supreme elders haven't even discussed this matter yet. How dare you ask around?" Tang Fang Xun, "Yes, Grandpa is right. Grandpa, I have no choice. I owed the Gu family a favor. In fact, their Guai Yanking is really good. He is the best among the young geniuses in our sect. He asked me just to get something for free. Grandpa, tell me the truth, is the standard for selecting the candidates for the Holy Son this time more difficult or easier than before? I think it should be higher, right? According to her cultivation, the Moon Saint's talent is stronger than that of the Green Saint back then." Tang Hong Yui glared at Tang Fang Xun again, who said this time it's more difficult. Tang Fang Xun was surprised. Did the standard get lowered this time? Tang Hong Yui, is it not possible? If we lower the standard, more people will be selected. Moreover, in the path of cultivating immortals, there are many people who achieve success late in life. We cannot let the path of the candidates for the Holy Son be narrowed. Tang Fang Xun was surprised again. This Grand Elder went in the sect master. I don't think they will agree, right? Tang Hong Yui's inner thoughts. When Chen King is eager to lower the standards to the floor, so that Yifan will be qualified to choose a candidate. Tang Hong Yui said with a serious face, "Is this something you need to worry about? Take care of your own business and give me a big fat great-great-grandson as soon as possible. That's it, Grandpa is going to rest." After Tang Fang Xun left the hall, he scratched the back of his head in confusion. This is not right, this is very wrong. Grandpa has mentioned the Saint's son candidate issue at home before, but he always said that the Moon Saintess has extraordinary talent. The standard of this year's Saint's son candidate must be raised to avoid bringing shame to the Lanyu sect. Why are you suddenly saying you want to lower the standards now? Are there any late bloomers in the immortal world? Aren't there only a few geniuses of the younger generation in our sect? Tang Fang Xun shook his head in confusion. However, he had asked the questions he needed to ask, so he didn't think too much about it. He would just tell the Gu family when the time comes that there is a high probability that Guai Yanking will have a chance. As for Yi Fan, he was preparing to return to Wianxin Island, and Manager Fan and his men quietly came to Ynu residence overnight. Like a thief, he looked around and sneaked into Ynu Ju. Yifan. Zhang Nanyang closed the door, and Sun Guangdai immediately cast a layer of soundproof barrier for Ynu Ju. After that, he felt it was still not safe enough, so he cast 10 more layers, which consumed a lot of his magic power. After entering the house, Manager Fan took out a storage ring, handed it to Yifan, and whispered, "Young master, this is the difference in spiritual stones received in the city lord's mansion these days, as well as the real estate contract for returning the property to us after we can't pay the difference, and the property deed and detailed instructions for taking over King Long Mountain." Zhang Nanyang whispered, "So many spirit stones." Yifan took the storage ring and probed his spiritual sense into it. He had been mentally prepared, but when he saw the storage ring filled with piles of mid-grade and low-grade spirit stones like small mountains, he was shocked. So many? Is it that profitable? At a quick glance, there are at least hundreds of thousands of low-grade spirit stones alone, and at least hundreds of thousands of mid-grade spirit stones. Holy crap, which genius came up with this idea of making up the difference in property prices? He became a millionaire overnight. Even if he and Su Longyu wanted to have a third child, he could still pat his chest and proudly say, "Go ahead and have the baby. We can afford it. It's awesome to have a fiefdom." No wonder the Yingzhong branch, the Fran Chamber of Commerce, the Wu family and others all joined forces to attack the King Long Immortal City Dam. The winner of the war will make a fortune. This is under the premise that they have not looted the treasure house of Taoist King Long. This reminded him of Taoist King Long's treasure house. However, it isn't wise to take the treasure house at this time. I don't know if Emperor Yingzong will send a big man to secretly watch me. It is better to wait until the turmoil in the Immortal City is over before taking the treasure of Taoist King Long. That's definitely a lot of treasures. Ifan put away the storage ring and finally understood why Manager Fan and the others were so cautious if this storage ring was secretly stolen by someone. he would really not be able to explain himself. Chapter 263, The War Begins, Separation. Yifan took out 3 small bags of spirit stones and handed them to the 3 people. This is for your hard work these days. Each bag of spirit stones contains 20 medium-grade spirit stones. This made Song Nanyang and the other 3 very happy. They all expressed their gratitude to the young master and flattered Yifan in various ways. 1 month after Yifan returned to Wianexan Island with the 6 girls, Zielishuang went to Wianexan Island to get the spiritual weapon customized for Yifan, and also gave Yifan a letter written by Fatty Wang to him. Yifan opened the letter and read it, and smiled. Fatty Wang succeeded in building his foundation, but because it is wartime now, the first batch of cultivators from the southern region have been sent to Zongshu to fight. So Fatty Wang will not hold a foundation building banquet for the time being. He also said that after he had consolidated his foundation building strength, he would visit Yifan before going to Zongshu. Time flies, and 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Yifan received news from Su Lonyu that the situation of the southern region on the battlefield in Zongshu was not too good. And during this period of time, my sister-in-law Su only disappeared. It was not until a week later that news was received that Su only had quietly followed the people from Qiuyue Valley to the Zongshu battlefield. This made Wen Shan King angry, but at a time like this, everyone had their own place. So even though Wen Shan King was very angry, he did not chase after him. At this moment, Fatty Wang came over and told Yifan that the second batch of cultivators from Qiuyue Valley would start heading to Zongshu in half a month. Fatty Wang went to Yifan to buy a batch of supplies, as well as spiritual weapons, robes, etc. Yifan also sold a second-level low-grade flying monster puppet to Fatty Wang. In the storage bag of this puppet, Yifan placed a small second-grade top-grade teleportation talisman. This can save Fatty Wang's life at the critical moment. When Fatty Wang left Wianexan Island and was on his way back to Qiuyue Valley, he saw the small teleportation talisman in the puppet storage bag. His eyes turned red, and he clenched his fists and said firmly in the direction of Wianexan Island, "I will try my best to stay alive, wait for me to come back." A week later, before the southern region could transport the second batch of cultivators to Zongshu, the border between Zongshu and the southern region was suddenly attacked by cultivators from Zongshu. The second batch of troops from the southern region has not yet assembled, and there are many cultivators brought by Zongshu for the surprise attack, which seems to be a premeditated plan. Qiuyue Valley and Kongyingzong were closest to the border, and they immediately began to gather their forces and summon the nearby major immortal cultivation families and individual cultivators to go to the battlefield. Soon, people from Emperor Yingzong came to Yunshu County to summon them. "Hello, Island Master Yi." A deacon from Yingzong named Cheng Jingtao entered Wianexinju and greeted Yifan with a smile. Wianexan Island is different from other mountains and islands. There are people in the late Jin Dan stage in charge here, and Yifan has the strength to kill the fake Dan Ren. In addition, Yifan also has a fiefdom in King Long Immortal City. Therefore, after the deacon sent by Emperor Yingzong arrived at Wianexinju, he no longer had the arrogant sense of superiority he had outside, but instead was a little bit flattering. After all, the spiritual tools and robes sold by Yu Yangxuan are indeed of very good quality. Other stores cannot compete with them at all. Now is the time of the Great War for cultivating immortals. And spiritual weapons, magic tools, robes and other supplies for cultivating immortals are urgently needed. Yifan nodded. "Deacon Chang, please take a seat." Chang Jingtao didn't beat around the bush and told Yifan directly the purpose of his coming to Wianexan Island. He asked Yifan whether he wanted to go to the front line to fight or to refine spiritual weapons for logistics. If you do logistics, it only takes 2 months to refine a spiritual weapon, and will provide the materials for refining the spiritual weapon, and will also consider a certain success rate. They will give 2 more portions of the materials, which is equivalent to 3 portions of the materials for refining the spiritual weapon, and a spiritual weapon can be refined within 2 months. This is a piece of cake for Yifan, who is already a second-level top-grade weapon refiner. He can refine a spiritual weapon in a week, and as long as he doesn't engrave spiritual patterns, there is no failure rate. This means that not only does he not have to go to the battlefield, he can also earn 2 more materials. Not bad. Yifan, I don't like children to take care of at home. I won't go to the battle, I'll just do the logistics. Cheng Jingtao immediately smiled and said, okay. Then he gave Yifan 3 sets of materials for second-grade mid-level spiritual weapons. Hoping that they would be engraved with some instructions. While saying this, he took out a small bag of spiritual stones and handed it to Yifan, saying that this was a special instruction from above. There are 50 medium-grade spirit stones in this small bag of spirit stones. Yifan took the bag of spirit stones and chatted with Cheng Jingtao about the details for a while. Then Cheng Jingtao stood up to say goodbye before Cheng Jingtao left. Yifan took out a bag of spirit stones and stuffed it into Cheng Jingtao's hand. Cheng Jingtao left with a smile on his face. After leaving Wianexan Island, he said to the law enforcement team waiting outside, When you patrol next time, pay more attention to the situation in Yunshu County. Don't let those little thieves take advantage of the chaos to come to Yunshu County to cause chaos and rob. From the Yingzhong Law Enforcement Team. Yes, Deacon Chang. From that day on, the public security in Yunshu County became surprisingly good, which attracted many independent cultivators working in logistics nearby to run into Yunshu County to avoid disaster. Yi and Ling Wukun went to the front line. Shen Mialan lived in Wianexan Island. Now Yunshu County is under the control of Yifan, and he asked Yunyun to arrange these people. Yunyun has now cultivated to the 8th level of key training in the key training realm. She is already considered a great cultivator and can control the situation. Because Song Qiaozhi had no interest in cultivation and no talent for it, she only broke through to the 4th level of key training after taking the elixir given by Yifan, and she has been unable to advance since then. However, she spends all of her time researching food and taking care of her babies, and lives a happy life every day. That day, Su Longyu found Yifan, who was practicing, and told him that she would be away for a while. Yifan stood up and asked, "Go to the front line?" Su Longyu nodded. "The battle situation over there is not very good, but you don't have to worry about my safety. I will place the Demon Star Vine on Wianexan Island. Yunshu County is some distance away from the front line, farther away than King Long Immortal City, so it should be fine for the time being." Yifan, "Okay, remember to call me when the time comes and let me know your situation." Su Longyu nodded. Yifan, "I'll go pack your clothes." Su Longyu, "It's already been packed." Yifan, "I'll bring you some snacks. You don't know how long you'll be at the front this time. If you get hungry, you can have some snacks to satisfy your cravings." Su Longyu, "Not for now." Yifan then. Su Longyu spoke first, her beautiful eyes staring at Yifan Imli. "Don't you have anything else to tell me, or do to me?" Yifan was stunned for a moment, and suddenly thought of something. "You must pay attention to safety. Staying alive is the most important thing. My babies and I are still waiting for you to come back." As he said that, Yifan hugged Su Longyu. "Su Longyu, that's it?" This time, when Yifan saw her gaze fall on his lips, he suddenly understood. He pinched her chin, bent down and kissed her lips, and they had a half-hour exchange of ideas. Chapter 260. For Song Shui is critically ill. Su Longyu left, and Yifan stayed on Wianexan Island to take care of the babies, and took a trip to where the two-headed bird lived. Although the two-headed bird was recuperating on a third-grade superior spiritual vein, its body was severely damaged and it has only recovered a little bit so far, and its strength is still at the middle stage of the golden core. After seeing the situation of the two-headed bird, Yifan went to see Jizi and Song Shui. When I walked over, I happened to see Jizi scratching his hair with a worried look on his face. Only after seeing Yifan coming over did he put down his hand that was grabbing his hair and shouted, "Master." Yifan nodded and told him about the recent war in the world of immortals. Those people from Emperor Yingzhong must have relaxed their pursuit of the two of them. If the two wanted to go out for some fresh air or do something, they could take this opportunity to go out. Jizi shook his head bitterly. "I don't want to go anywhere now. Senior sister, am almost dying." Yifan was stunned. Didn't he start to recover last time? Jizi told Yifan that he had indeed started to recover, but after a month, he found that the toxicity that had been suppressed before had erupted again, and it was even more ferocious than before. And now he was almost at the end of his rope. Yifan asked Jizi to take him to see it. When I arrived at Song Shui's cave, I saw Song Shui's cave. I saw Song Shui lying on the bed with a pale and weak face and her eyes closed. Jizi said with a sad look, "She has been unconscious for 2 days. No matter how much I send her mana, she shows no signs of waking up. If this continues, given the extent of her physical damage, she won't survive for more than a few days." Yifan took Song Shui's pulse. He frowned slightly. "This is indeed a serious poisoning, but it is not untreatable. In fact, after the Taoist King Long passed away, if Song Shui only thought about herself, she could have led all the disciples to rebel and join Emperor Yingzong to obtain protection. She would not have to stand against Emperor Yingzong and be hunted by him and his men. This shows that Song Shui and Jizi have decent character and are not the kind of fence-sitters. Moreover, Song Shui and Jizi were both his accomplices. If Song Shui, who was in the middle stage of the Golden Core, died, Wianexan Island would lose a great fighting force. As for Song Shui's rebellion, the Demon Starvine is still on Wianexan Island, so Song Shui can't cause any trouble. Your senior sister can't die. After hearing this, Jizi looked at Yifan in shock. "Really? Yifan, well, but I need some herbs. I don't have them here at the moment. You need to prepare them yourself. And I will refine a detoxification pill that can partially detoxify her. After taking it for a year, the toxins can be completely removed. Ordinary detoxification pills definitely won't work, but when he refines it, he will add the magic power of King Yuan Cheng Sheng Gong into the detoxification pill. thereby greatly increasing the effectiveness of the detoxification pill. GZ was instantly excited. Okay. No problem, I will find those herbs even if I risk my life. The reason why his senior sister was poisoned by that old villain was because she was protecting him. Yifan nodded and wrote down 10 herbs and gave them to GZ. GZ was worried that it would take him a lot of time to find the 10 herbs, and that Song Shiwei would have died by the time he found them. Yifan told him that he could first give her a special detoxification pill to temporarily suppress the toxicity to her so that her life would not be in danger for at least a month. After hearing this, GZ was even more grateful to Yifan. He knelt down in front of Yifan and said that he would bring back the 10 medicinal herbs within a month and thanked Yifan for saving his senior sister. After Yifan fed Song Shiwei the detoxification pill, he also transferred a little bit of the power of the longevity technique, which was the real thing that suppressed the poison that had already erupted in her body. Ordinary detoxification pills are no longer able to suppress the toxicity in Song Shiwei's body otherwise. With the resources of the two Jindan cultivators, they would have a lot of detoxification pills. After GZ was sure that Song Shiwei's toxicity had been suppressed, he said goodbye to Yifan and left Wienexen Island, rushing to find the 10 medicinal herbs. More than half a month later, GZ returned seriously injured but brought back the 10 medicinal herbs written by Yifan. Yifan frowned slightly when he saw the injuries GZ had suffered, because that injury was not caused by an ordinary cultivator.